Thought it was just an ordinary folk song only when I heard Master Liu singing it originally. I could feel how full of emotion this song is. This is really the ceiling of the domestic entertainment industry. No one should be dissatisfied, right? While listening and watching Feng Zi and Wan Wan leaning on each other, I really want to cry. I want to use this song to make a CP mashup of Feng Zi and Wan Wan. There was a lively discussion in the live broadcast room, because this song is about Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan. So whether it was the fans of Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan, or the fans of Liu Mingyu, they were all quite addicted to it. Even after Liu Mingyu finished singing the song, some people still said they wanted to listen to it again. After Liu Mingyu finished singing, he handed the microphone to Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan and said, "You too, this song is for you. I wonder if you like it. Thank you so much." Shenfeng nodded sincerely at Liu Mingyu. After Shenfeng entered the entertainment industry, he actually didn't know many people. Apart from friends of similar age like Jian and Li Ting and some directors, perhaps the only big names he had actually met were Wen Hua, Liu Mingyu and Fu Yan. Apart from Fu Yan, who was no different from a stink bug in Shenfeng's eyes, Liu Mingyu and Wen Hua were very nice to him and Zhang Wanwan. It is the kind of care that comes from being a teacher, a friend and an elder. Shenfeng really feels lucky to be able to meet such a big shot on the show instead of someone like Fu Yan. Liu Mingyu patted Shenfeng on the shoulder and said, "No need to say thank you, just remember to send me an invitation to your wedding. I have no objection even if you let me be a free guest performer." Shenfeng smiled and said, "I will definitely invite you to the wedding. But you don't have to perform as a supporting actor. I'm afraid you'll turn my wedding into your concert." Zhang Wanwan then said, "In that case, we will have to sell tickets for our wedding. What if Feng Zi and I don't get the tickets? Wouldn't that be embarrassing?" Young people are really good at talking. Several people were chatting enthusiastically, leaving Director Tian no chance to interrupt. After they finished chatting, Director Chen came over and asked, "Shenfeng, Wanwan, who of you two plans to perform first? Or I'll go first." Zhang Wanwan volunteered. She wanted to sing a song as well. But when she went to find the program crew, she saw the barrage in the late broadcast room through the backstage screen of the program crew. The pressure is now on Zhang Wanwan. Both veterans performed so well. If Zhang Wanwan performs poorly, it will be too embarrassing. Even if she's not bad, can Zhang Wanwan, who is an actress, compare to professional singers Wen Ji and Liu Dashen? There is no harm without comparison. Only by comparing with these two great singers can Zhang Wanwan's fans recognize the gap between traffic stars and real singers. Is the person above trying to stir up trouble on purpose? Master Liu and Sister Wen have a good relationship with Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan. And they even write songs for them. Why do you always want to stir up trouble? We are not trying to cause trouble. It's just that some Feng fans and Wan fans are too arrogant. Always talking about all-round idols. Now we have to make you face the reality. Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan, where is there any real talent? They are nothing more than Tanu Fuyan as hyped up by Capital Operation. Indeed, especially Shenfeng, who has only sung 2 songs and has never acted in a movie. How dare he call himself an all-around idol? I think he is not as good as Fu Yan. A big tree attracts the wind. Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan got angry suddenly and quickly. Although they have attracted many loyal fans with their sweet CP and all-round idol personality, Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan are not money after all, and cannot be liked by everyone. It is inevitable that some people are unhappy that Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan are so popular now. Some people even know very little about Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan. They just see that they appear on hot searches too many times and think that both of them are hyped up. Some people just want to be different, to show that they are different and superior to others. Since everyone else is praising Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan, he has to criticize them to show his uniqueness. Zhang Wanwan knows this kind of person very well. Having been in the entertainment industry for 2 lifetimes, Zhang Wanwan has long since become indifferent to such rumors. But she could tolerate these people criticizing her. But that doesn't mean she is willing to see these people criticize Shenfeng. After thinking about it, Zhang Wanwan took out her cell phone and sent a message to Sister Lin, then turned around and returned to the stage, holding the microphone, standing quietly, standing for a long time. What is she doing? Borrowing the east wind? Are you scared? Don't know what to sing? Stop talking nonsense. If you hate Feng Zi and Wanwan, and you just get out of here. You hate watching it but you still watch it while cursing. Aren't you a jerk? Why, you won't let me watch it? Are you afraid that your master will embarrass himself in front of outsiders? Finally, Director Tian couldn't help but say, "Wanwan, what song are you going to sing? Tell us the title so we can find the accompaniment." "Don't worry, I'm not going to sing," Zhang Wanwan said. "I'm waiting for my performance props." Not long after, Liu Ye was seen walking over with a large tray. The tray was covered with a piece of cloth, which looked very mysterious. Zhang Wanwan took the tray and put it aside. Then held the microphone and looked at the camera. When it comes to singing, I really can't compare to Mentor Yu Mingyu and Mentor Wenhua. So I won't make a fool of myself. And as some viewers have said, I don't have any real talent, so I can only play some small instruments for you to see. As she spoke, Zhang Wanwan lifted a corner of the cloth covering the tray. He took something out from inside. It's a musical instrument. One violin. Chapter 229. I am cremated and I feel good. The sound of the violin rang out melodiously. Because there were no very good radio equipment, the contestants on the scene had to lower their voices in order to hear the melody of the violin clearly. The soft serenade floats out from the strings, the melody is gentle, as if carrying a hint of the beauty's sorrow, but more of it means sweetness and happiness. Just like the sweet words of a lover, the shy whisper in your ear. This is a very beautiful song. It is also a very classic violin piece. Ode to Love, Shen Feng said, a piece composed by Edward Elgar. Shen Feng's voice was neither loud nor soft, and it blended into the melodious violin sound of Zhang Wanwan. It didn't seem out of place at all, but it made the contestants on the scene and the audience in front of the live broadcast room all know about this violin piece. The piece of music was not long. Zhang Wanwan finished playing it after just over 2 minutes. With the final, slightly complex ending, the music fades away and ends. In these 2 minutes, it seemed that there were fewer people posting comments in the live broadcast room. Many people were immersed in this gentle music and were deeply moved. It was not until the end of the performance that someone could not help but send out a barrage of comments. Wang Ji is so strong. I thought he was already very good at playing the piano, but I didn't expect he can play the violin so well too. Elegant, classy, my tuxedo has automatically floated to me. Did some haters see this? Who said our Wanwan doesn't have real talent? How many of the popular stars in the entertainment industry have such talent? This girl is really good, much better than those who were recommended online before and only had pretty faces. Many passers-by who came to see Wenhua and Liu Mingyu also thought that Zhang Wanwan was nice and started to speak up for her. However, some anti-fans cannot be converted to fans by just a violin piece. Some of these haters are rather stubborn, and some really don't take this violin piece seriously. And some more just took the money. At this time, Fu Yan sat in front of the computer, looking at the barrage in the live broadcast room. The black men he hired are trying their best to fight back. Is it awesome to be able to play the violin? I can play 18 instruments. So if I enter the entertainment industry, wouldn't I be the best in the world? That's right, and I'm a professional. My performance of this piece is really not that good. Only laymen think it's good. Maybe this was just a temporary practice for today's performance. It has no technical content, just to fool you fools. Fu Yan leaned against the computer chair, with a hint of coldness in his eyes. Ever since Guan Heng contacted Chen Wei a few days ago and learned from Chen Wei that the plan was progressing well, Fu Yan also took new actions. In order to completely bring down Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, creating scandals against Shen Chen was one aspect. On the other hand, we also need to find a way to expose their persona as all-round idols. Let their CP image and all-round personality collapse completely. In this way, the more popular Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan are now, the more miserable they will be in the backlash later. How thoroughly confused it is. And now these black fans and water army he hired are just one step of the plan. Seeing that the progress was going smoothly, Fu Yan was in a good mood. It's just a display of a violin. It's naive to think that this can establish your image. He muttered, turned off the computer, got up and left the room, planning to go out and have some fun. So Fu Yan regretted not seeing Zhang Wanwan put down the violin and then put her hand into the tray covered with red cloth. But the other viewers in the live broadcast room saw it. What is Wanwan doing? Isn't the performance over yet? No way, I think this violin piece is pretty good. It's already perfect. Zhang Wanwan pulled her hand away. This time, she held a bamboo flute in her hand. The flute was slender and as black as jade. It looked in stark contrast when held in Zhang Wanwan's jade-white hands. Zhang Wanwan glanced at the lens and there seemed to be a smile in her eyes. Put the bamboo flute to your mouth, open your red lips slightly, and another piece of music flows out. As soon as this song came out, many people felt it sounded familiar. A Journey to Suzhou. The brisk and clear sound of the flute is like a ray of flowing sunshine. So bright, so alive. It gives people a completely different feeling from Ode to Love. The former makes people intoxicated, while the latter makes people feel uplifted and happy. The performance lasted for several minutes again as the flute sound ended. Some contestants began to applaud and cheer. Many of them don't know how to play the flute or the violin, but they just think they sound nice. Many viewers in the live broadcast room were the same as them. The violin and flute sound good, both Chinese and Western music are good. And those people who were complaining before come out and hang around again? You said the violin alone was not good enough and that it was just a last-minute rehearsal. So what do you say about this flute piece now? He rehearsed too. What's there to say? That's right, and I don't think this flute sounds that good. So I'll just fool you layman. The two groups of people in the live broadcast room seemed to be about to quarrel again. Zhang Wanwan on the stage didn't know any of this. She just put down the bamboo flute. Then he reached out and reached into the tray again. There won't be more. This time, some passersby were really shocked. If a musical instrument master can play 17 or 18 instruments, no one would think it is a big deal. But Zhang Wanwan is just an actor. A star. Many of today's popular stars became famous at the age of 17 or 18. Without even completing their studies, let alone playing a proper musical instrument. Many of them probably don't even understand music theory. And Zhang Wanwan not only knows how to play musical instruments, but also knows so many other skills. This time, Zhang Wanwan took out a flute. The music played was also a famous piece of music. Autumn Moon over the calm lake. But this is not the end. After playing Autumn Rain on the Lake, Zhang Wanwan took out the xiao, harmonica, shakuhachi, and ukulele. After playing several musical instruments in succession. Not to mention Zhang Wanwan's haters, even Zhang Wanwan's fans were a little numb. Seriously, how did she manage to fit so many things on that tray? Isn't the point how she learned so many things? She's only in her 20s. Fuck, what the hell am I a fan of? Isn't she just an actress? My baby, please stop acting. If you continue to act like that, mommy will be a little scared. Has Zhang Wanwan stopped? No, she didn't stop. After putting down another musical instrument, Zhang Wanwan reached into the tray again. And this time, she took out her suane. The sound of the suane, which seemed to make people's heads tremble, began to ring out. This time, it is a famous suane piece. Birds pay homage to the phoenix. When the suane sounded, a barrage of comments in the live broadcast room was about to explode. I'm awesome, how come you can even do this? Listening while lying down is the most basic respect for the suane. I am already lying down, can someone cover me with a white cloth? Ayeru plays for a lifetime, and the whole play ends with the sound of suane. When you first listen to it, you don't understand the meaning of the song. And when you listen to it again, you are already in the coffin. My head was buzzing after listening to this, and I felt like everyone was sent away. 1-1. I thought you would welcome me when I came to the live broadcast room. But I didn't expect you to want to send me away. I have been cremated and feel good. Wait. Or are those industry insiders who just said 1-1 was not professional enough and not good enough? Why aren't they speaking out now? Are they afraid to speak or have they been sent away? I am an insider. When I die, I will listen to 100 birds paying homage to the phoenix. I think I have a say. I think 1-1's statement is not acceptable, doghead. If those haters want to slander 1-1 now, should they say your bragging is not good enough to send me away? The real water army is really numb now. When Zhang Wanwan took out the fourth or fifth musical instruments, they felt that they were running out of words. Even if you are charging money to do the job, you have to be able to do it in a shady way. Zhang Wanwan plays one or two musical instruments, and they can say that she is not professional and that she just rehearsed it at the last minute. But now Zhang Wanwan plays 7 or 8 musical instruments. This is no longer something that can be rehearsed on the spur of the moment. And even if it is unprofessional, the quantity is enough to make up for the quality. Especially this suane now. Their fingertips were trembling as they listened. As for how great Zhang Wanwan brags, it's probably not that great. But the sound of suane is too harsh. In the end, many internet trolls lost the mood to type. And some even went to their bosses to ask for their money back. Brother, we really can't do anything about this, please ask someone else for help. Fu Yan, who was relaxing outside, received this news. He frowned, wondering if something had happened in the live broadcast room. He opened the live broadcast room and put on headphones for fear of disturbing others. Then, a high note from the suane almost blew Fu Yan's head off. Chapter 230. Choose me, choose me. Fu Yan was completely numb. What is all this? You started playing the violin more than 10 minutes ago. How come the performance isn't over yet? You even started playing the suane. He turned off the volume on his phone, then frowned and looked at the comments in the live broadcast room. In addition to many comments making fun of the suane, many viewers praised Zhang Wanwan. I used to think that Feng Zi was the only all-round artist. But now I realize that my brother is also so talented. It turns out that I can't find a boyfriend like Feng Zi because I'm not as good as 1-1. 1-GE is awesome. Slap those haters in the face. It's so satisfying. As for the trolls and internet trolls hired by Fu Yan, few of them dare to show their faces and speak now. When Fu Yan saw this situation, he couldn't help but start typing in the live broadcast room himself. What's so great about being able to play a musical instrument? And you be a star just by being able to play a musical instrument? Being able to play a musical instrument doesn't necessarily mean you can be a good star. But at least it proves that you have more talents and higher skills than other stars. Besides, one's acting is also professional, there is nothing wrong with it. Right? Do you have the ability to find a star in the current entertainment industry who has the same excellent acting skills and the same talents? Fu Yan gritted his teeth and typed 2 words. Fu Yan. Brother, are you a Fu Yan hater, or a real crazy fan? You don't really want to compare Fu Yan with Wan, do you? Listening to Wan's violin made me cry. Listening to the shakuhachi made me scared. Listening to the suone made me faint. And hearing the 2 words Fu Yan made me laugh. Fu Yan is comparing his head with Zhang Wan. Seeing these mocking comments, Fu Yan became even more angry. Is he so bad? Is Zhang Wan so good? Even if Zhang Wan's acting skills are a little better than his, and her talents are a little more than his, what does that mean? Does being a real top star require acting skills and talent? What is needed is heat. Do the viewers in this live broadcast room know what popularity means? No matter how popular Zhang Wan and Shen Feng are now, their fans combined are not even a fraction of Fu Yan's. Fu Yan has more advertising and box office appeal. What are these to people? Theft, brother, you really made me laugh, didn't he? The jewelry endorsed by Shen Feng and Zhang Wan so much faster than Fu Yan's. The more fans a star has, the better. This abnormal concept of fandom should have been eliminated long ago. There are still people who are proud of it as hilarious. Is this person here to show off his low IQ, or to showcase the diversity of human species? You are the busiest in the circus, the craziest in Gotham City. You stand guard in front of McDonald's, the big and small kings in the poker? Looking at these comments, Fu Yan smashed his phone. These guys are brain dead. Zhang Wan had no idea that Fu Yan was almost having a heart attack from being so angry. After she put down the suone, she finally stopped taking out other instruments from the tray. She bowed to the contestants, then took the microphone and said, "I'm sorry to take up a little of your time, my performance is over." There was immediate applause at the scene. Many contestants have already cheered and kept saying, Wan. The scene was no different from a star-chasing scene. Many contestants were initially concerned about the strength of Shen Feng and Zhang Wan, because they are generally about the same age as Shen Feng Zhang Wan, and some are even older. In addition, the two of them do not have many works, which makes many people think that they may be traffic stars with no real strength and were invited by the program team to increase popularity. I understood the program crew's approach, but they couldn't say they had much respect for Shen Feng and Zhang Wan, at least not as respectful as he treated Li Mingyu and Wen Hua. Although on the day of the audition, Shen Feng and Zhang Wan's duet guitar rock performance impressed many contestants. But because Shen Sheng was the one performing most of the time, many people only admired Shen Feng. As for Zhang Wan, the only evaluation is that she has some ability. But now it's different. Zhang Wan's performance fully proved her ability. The fact that she can play so many musical instruments at least shows that Zhang Wan has profound attainments in music theory. And there is absolutely no problem in teaching music knowledge. Zhang Wan waved at the contestants and said, "Keep a low profile. Keep a low profile, I'm just an ordinary little genius. Don't be so ostentatious." Having said that, Zhang Wan walked back to Shen Feng's side. Then he looked at Shen Feng with a smile and said, "How about me, am I awesome?" Awesome, my wife must be awesome." Shen Feng held Zhang Wan and turned around, and at the same time quietly turned off the microphones on both of them. Then he smiled and whispered to Zhang Wan, "Each instrument only knows one song. Right? How did you find out?" Zhang Wan's eyes widened. She didn't expect Shen Feng could actually see that. "Beside you, I can see that your techniques and fingerings for many instruments are very fixed. As if you memorized them just to learn a piece of music. But the live camera should not be able to see this." Unlike Zhang Wan, Shen Feng is truly proficient in these musical instruments. In addition, Shen Feng knew Zhang Wan well enough, so he could see through Zhang Wan's problems. Zhang Wan whispered, "In my previous life, I was filming a movie in which I played a music teacher. In the movie I had to lead students to play musical instruments. And I had to use many kinds of musical instruments. The director suggested using a body double, but I disagreed. I postponed the scene and spent time memorizing the playing methods of the representative pieces of each instrument. That was when she learned to play so many musical instruments. In fact, I can't say that I can, but it's enough to slap those haters in the face." These musical instruments on the tray were all found by Zhang Wan in the practice room of the training base. She had practiced them all over again on a whim, so today's performance was quite good. That's already excellent. Shen Feng kissed Zhang Wan on the ear. "If you want to learn a musical instrument, you can ask me to teach you. For example, playing the flute." Zhang Wan didn't understand what Shen Feng meant at first. After she realized what was happening, she immediately hit Chen Feng several times with a red face. Chen Feng smiled and turned on the microphone at this time. Director Tian was asking him to go on stage for the next talent show. In fact, Chen Feng had just seen the messy comments from the internet trolls. If Zhang Wanwan didn't show off so many musical instruments to embarrass the internet's online army, Chen Feng would have planned to do it himself. But since Zhang Wanwan acts faster than him, Chen Feng can save himself the trouble. After Shen Chen came on stage, he simply sang a song. The song sung was Liu Mingyu's famous song. Just as a courtesy to Liu Mingyu, Shen Chen's singing was still very good. But many viewers in the late broadcast room were still immersed in the shock of Zhang Wanwan's continuous performance of 8 musical instruments. Not just a live broadcast room. Now on Weibo, Zhang Wanwan's instrumental medley performance has become a hot search. Although Sister Lin spent some money to buy this hot search, it was pushed to the top 10 of the hot search list by real audiences not long after the purchase. As a result, more people were attracted to the Leaf broadcast room of Youth Group. Director Tian looked at the rapidly increasing number of viewers in the late broadcast room, and his mouth was almost grinning from ear to ear. When Shen Feng finished singing, Director Tian suppressed his joy and said, "Now the performances of the 4 chief instructors have all ended. Next, please ask the audience and the contestants on the scene to vote and select the performance you think is the best." Director Tian said this and put out the voting machine. As a result, within a few seconds of being released, the option of Zhang Wanwan was almost overwhelmed. The result of the game was no surprise. Zhang Wanwan won a landslide victory. The 3 rounds of challenges finally ended. Zhang Wanwan won the first place in the overall score and obtained the right to select guest mentors and contestants first. Zhang Wanwan had already decided who to choose. She walked in front of several guest mentors. Jayat Nan quickly said, "Wanwan, choose me first." Zhang Wanwan ignored him and chose the guest tutor who taught Sidiyu. Then she went a second time. Jayat Nam said again, "Choose me this time." Zhang Wanwan selected an outstanding contestant as a guest mentor. Then he walked a third time. Jayat Nam, pick me, pick me. Zhang Wanwan chose a very qualified and capable guest mentor. The fourth time, Zhang Wanwan finally stopped in front of Jayat Nan. Jayat Nan was delighted. "Wanwan, you finally choose me." Zhang Wanwan's performance just now impressed Jayat Nan. He has now become Zhang Wanwan's little fanboy. As a result, Zhang Wanwan glanced at Jayat Nan. Suddenly he took another step forward and walked in front of the mentor next to Jayat Nam. "I choose him." Jayat Nan looked very aggrieved. "Wanwan, why didn't you choose me? Is it because we are not familiar enough? Or do you think my level is not good enough? Do you think you would be more hurt if I said we were not familiar enough? Or if I said your level was not good enough?" Zhang Wanwan asked. Jayat Nam thought for a moment and said, "It's not cooked enough. Then we are not familiar enough." Jayat Nan. Jayat Nam. From pink to black. Chapter 231. Sorry, you are eliminated. After Zhang Wanwan selected her team members, the remaining 3 head mentors also chose their teams according to the rankings. Jayat Nan finally fell into Shen Feng's hands. Jayat Nam was on the verge of tears. "You are still loyal, you are much better than Wanwan." Shen Feng patted Jia Ten on shoulder. "After all, I can't make things difficult for teacher Wen Hui and teacher Liu Mingyu, right?" Jayat Nam, what do you mean? Shen Cheng didn't explain to Jayat Nan. However, Li Ting Ting on the side laughed out loud. This left Jayat Nam completely confused. In addition to Jayat Nan, Shen Feng also incorporated Chen Wei's team into his account. Chen Wei was quite happy and felt that Shen Feng still loved her. In fact, Shen Feng just wanted to keep her under his control to prevent her from causing trouble under the supervision of Liu Mingyu, Wen Hu on affecting the 2 teachers. When it was Liu Mingyu's turn to choose, he was somewhat conflicted. Liu Mingyu's eyes would occasionally glance at the team that Zhang Wanwan had already selected, which included Sidiyu. Sidiyu was someone he had his eyes on for a long time, and he had even discussed with Shen Feng before that he wanted Sidiyu to be his team member in the future. Now that he saw Sidiyu was chosen by Zhang Wanwan, Liu Mingyu's desire for talent was itching. Zhang Wanwan also saw what Liu Mingyu was thinking. She exchanged glances with Shen Feng. After thinking about it, he finally stepped forward and said, "Teacher Liu Mingyu, if there is someone in my team that you particularly like, I can give him up." When Liu Mingyu heard this, his eyes lit up. If it were any other star, they would definitely be polite at this moment, considering their image in front of the camera. But Liu Mingyu really likes Sidiyu, this rough diamond, and he is really eager to find talent. So he didn't care about his image and led the team that Sidiyu was in under his command. After several head mentors had selected their teams, Director Tian announced that the second round of grouping for Youth Group was over. Next, the second round of eliminations will officially begin. The 4 head mentors brought their selected guest mentors and contestants to the 4 large training rooms arranged by the program team. As experienced veterans, Liu Mingyu and Wenhua brought their players to the large training room, and the first thing they did was shout slogans to boost morale. Then, the training began. They planned to gradually discover the gaps and shortcomings of the players during training, gradually eliminate those players with weak strength, and finally select the strongest team. This is also the standard process designed by the program team. However, the 2 groups of Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan are quite different. After Shenfeng's group entered the large training room, Shenfeng just glanced at these people, then let all the contestants line up and stand in order. After the contestants stood in place, Shenfeng walked towards the crowd. You, and you. As he walked, Shenfeng reached out and patted some of the contestants. Many of the contestants who were photographed were confused. Some girls showed excited expressions, as if it was a very happy thing to be photographed by their idols. Shenfeng photographed a total of 7 or 8 contestants. Since the first round of eliminations, there are basically only 6 or 7 contestants left under each guest mentor. The chief mentor controls a team of 4 guest mentors, and each chief mentor currently has more than 20 contestants under his command. With this shot, Shenfeng captured nearly a quarter of the players in the team. Just when those contestants and the audience in front of the live broadcast room didn't know what Shenfeng was going to do, Shenfeng suddenly spoke up and said, "Those people I just photographed can now pack up and prepare to leave the training base. I'm sorry, you guys are eliminated." "No, really? Why? We just became your team members, we haven't done anything yet. Why are you eliminating us?" "That's right, that's not fair." When Shenfeng said this, it obviously caused a huge uproar. Not to mention the contestants' intense reactions. Even the audience was stunned. Is Feng Zi just giving up? Is she trying to please the production team? She eliminated so many people right after the start of this episode. Isn't this too unreasonable? What is Shenfeng doing? Why is he eliminating so many people at once? Isn't it just to attract traffic and attract attention? That would be too unfair to the eliminated contestants. I am a fan of Shenfeng, but I really don't understand what Feng Zi is going to do this time. If it is really to attract attention and deprive so many contestants of the right to record the show, then I will turn from a fan to a hater. No, can you trust Feng Zi? Has Feng Zi ever done anything unreliable? He must have his reasons. Yeah, is Feng Zi the kind of person who will do anything to gain traffic? Some viewers in the live broadcast room have begun to question Shenfeng's approach this time. Some even started conspiracy theories, thinking that Shenfeng did this deliberately to create such a hot topic at the beginning of the second round in order to stir up popularity and traffic. Some of Shenfeng's fans still believe in Shenfeng, but they were also waiting for Shenfeng's explanation. At this time, Director Tian, who was watching the live broadcast, hurriedly took the intercom and said, "Shenfeng, what are you doing? Why did you eliminate so many people at the beginning? Hurry up and say you were joking. Someone has already started to smear you in the live broadcast room." Shenfeng reached out, took off the earphone from his ear, and casually put it in his pocket. Director Tian's voice just cut off. Shenfeng looked at the contestants who were full of doubts and said, "You think it's unfair? Ask me why he eliminated you?" "Because that's the rule." Shenfeng said, "The rules of the show say that only 10 contestants can be left in each chief mentor's team, and the remaining contestants can be eliminated by the mentor at his discretion. Is there any rule that prohibits the head instructor from eliminating players immediately after the team is formed?" To the contestants, Shenfeng's words sounded like quibbling. An older male contestant stood up and said, "Teacher Shenfeng, I used to respect you very much, but now I am a little doubtful of my previous judgment. You didn't break the rules by eliminating us, but is there any reason for that? We are trainees just like everyone else, and we all survived the first round of eliminations. Why are you eliminating us without even watching our training?" After saying that, the male contestant looked at the other contestants who had not been eliminated and said, "Those of you who have not been eliminated should not just watch the show. He only eliminated 8 people today, and there will be about 10 people in the future. Aren't you afraid that you will be eliminated for no reason like us in the future?" This male contestant's words were obviously very inspiring. After saying this, some of the contestants who had not been eliminated and were only planning to be spectators looked at Shenfeng with questioning eyes. The male contestant took advantage of the situation and continued to accuse, "We are all good contestants who work hard for our dreams. But are you really a responsible mentor? You've never seen our performances. You don't know our names, and you may not even remember what we look like. And now you want to hastily eliminate us all? I don't accept your behavior. I don't accept it either. Meme 2. Teacher Shenfeng, please give me an explanation, otherwise I won't accept it." There was some confusion at the scene for a while. However, Shenfeng remained calm. He just glanced at the group of people. Finally, his eyes fixed on the male contestant. He said slowly, You just said that I have never seen your performance. I don't remember your appearance, and I don't know your name? Xiao Guangzhang, are these your own imaginations or did I say them myself? The male contestant was suddenly startled when his name was called. Chen Feng looked at the other contestants and said their names one by one. Song Tai Ma Huateng, Chen Erui, Lu Xiaobiu, Zhang Qianming, Chen Wei. He did not read out the names randomly, but read out the names one by one in the order of the team. He read out the names of more than 20 contestants without missing a single one. Does anyone else think that I don't remember what you look like or know your names? After reading it, Shen Feng said softly. But even if you can recognize us, that's not a reason for you to eliminate us. Many of us who were eliminated are better than those who were not eliminated. I dance better than Zhang Qianming. Why did you keep Zhang Qianming but eliminate me? Because his fans are rich. Because he is more popular than me? A male contestant named Xiao Guangzhang suddenly spoke again. He also specifically cited himself and Zhang Qianming as an example. Zhang Qianming, who was suddenly involved in the war, was confused. Chen Cheng walked in front of Xiao Guangzhang. He looked into Xiao Guangzhang's eyes and finally said slowly, "Want to know why he eliminated you? Okay, I'll tell you why. Chapter 232. You all, take care. Xiao Guangzhang, you used yourself and Zhang Qianming as an example. You think you dance better than Zhang Qianming, so you shouldn't be eliminated. But have you ever thought about what Zhang Qianming was doing during the 5-day training period for the first round of eliminations? And what you were doing?" Chen Cheng narrowed his eyes. The reason why you dance better than him is because he was a complete layman before he came to participate in the show. He has no foundation, no basis, and no professional training. It can even be said that he got in by relying on his looks. But in the first round of the knockout match, he won the game fair and square by defeating his opponent. It was a clean win. Because he worked so hard during that 5-day training period, his level improved by leaps and bounds. Zhang Qianming quickly said, "Keep a low profile. I didn't work that hard, it was all thanks to teacher Jiat Nan's good teaching." Jiat Nan went forward and hugged Zhang Qianming. "You are the good brother." Chen Cheng ignored the two of them and continued to talk to Xiao Guangzhang. "What have you been doing in the past 5 days, can you tell me?" Xiao Guangzhang's expression was confused and embarrassed for a moment. But in the end he still said, "I am also training." "Are you training your dancing skills or your interpersonal relationships?" Chen Feng's voice gradually turned cold. "Because you were in a boy band for a while and have a basic dance foundation, you don't take Jiat Nan's teaching seriously, and you spend all your training time dealing with other players. How many people in your class call you big brother in private? I'm afraid that except for Zhang Qianming and a few girls, everyone calls you that. You used Zhang Qianming as an example today because you have a personal grudge against him for not being sociable. You think you can definitely make it through the elimination rounds with your ability. You are trying to build relationships in advance because you want them to nominate you as the center position after the final team is determined, making you an instant star. Your mind is not on training. So why should I keep you, keeping a C position who lives off his old laurels and doesn't strive for progress, disrupting the whole team's atmosphere? You don't have to tell me that you will start working hard in the second round. We both know exactly what you are thinking." When Shen Feng said this, Xiao Guangzhang was unable to utter a word. Because what Shen Feng said was absolutely correct. He wanted to refute, but couldn't even find a reason to refute. Shen Feng saw that Xiao Guangzhang was silent, and walked to another eliminated contestant. "Zhu Yang, you are lax in training and have no motivation. You even bought PR articles to create a unique persona for yourself. Salted fish Zuzu, to attract fans. You also implicitly said on Weibo that you don't like the entertainment industry, and you were forced to participate in the talent show. You said that, but in order to ensure your advancement, you colluded with several teammates and asked them to let you complete the special tasks every day so that you could get more points. In the end, you advanced to the second round by saving your life with the points." Chen Feng smiled and said, "Although this is not against the rules, you are marketing your salty fish persona while trying to advance in every possible way. Isn't that a bit schizophrenic? Or should I say your agency Phoenix Entertainment is really good? Anyway, since you said you don't want to participate in the draft, I must follow your wishes and send you away early." Zhu Yang moved his mouth, and finally bit his lips and lowered his head. Next, Chen Feng recounted several things that these eliminated contestants had done overtly or covertly. Not to mention the contestants who were not eliminated. Even the audience and Director Tian were dumbfounded at this moment. Director Tian had no idea that so many messed up things were happening right under his nose. The audience was even more shocked. "I used to be a fan of Xiao Guangzhang. I thought he was originally from a boy band and had a solid foundation. I didn't expect that he would take advantage of his solid foundation to stop training and even start to build connections, hoping to use his connections to get the center position. How can this be fair to those contestants who work harder than him? I used to think Zhu Yang's character was pretty good. But I didn't expect it was all just a deliberate marketing hype. So disgusting. In order to ensure his own advancement, he deliberately turned on the air conditioner to make his roommate, who was better than him, catch a cold and lose his voice. He also poured cold water on him to make him have a fever the day before the competition. Is he really that ambitious? Isn't this too dark? I was wondering why our Ming Ming was eliminated. And why there is such a scheming expression, right? No wonder Feng Zi wanted to eliminate them. These two are really not good people. But how did Feng Zi know all this? Some viewers were confused. Even director Tian was confused. A female player who was pointed out to have deliberately poured cold water on her roommate, causing her roommate who was better than her to hate her before the competition and eventually withdraw from the competition, also raised such questions with a gloomy face. How do you know this? Shen Feng moved a chair and sat in front of them. He took out a palm-sized notepad from his pocket and handed it to the female contestant. Some of you may have had bad conduct or won unfairly. How many of the contestants you eliminated will accept the result with a sincere heart? They are all your teammates who spend every day with you. They are even the people closest to you in the past few days. I naturally have some information about you. This book records the information I have collected about you. You can take a look at it yourself. The female contestant only took 2 glances and threw the notepad to the ground. Teacher Shen Feng, you are amazing, but can you guarantee that we are the only ones with problems? Xiao Guanzin suddenly spoke again, and said in a deep voice, the 4 chief instructors each have more than 20 contestants under them now. You can only purge your own group, who will investigate and punish the misbehaving contestants under the other 3 head coaches? Are we the only ones who will be punished, while those others will be spared? I still think this is unfair. Unexpectedly, Shen Feng suddenly laughed. Silly boy, why do you think I specifically picked 4 of your players to be my teammates? Is it because I think you problem contestants are good looking? Because you are better? No, it's just because your 4 teams have the most problems. Shen Feng said, I have counted a total of 12 contestants with problems, 8 of whom are from your 4 teams, and the other mentors only have 4 in total. I will talk to the production team and other mentors about the problems of those 4 people later. So, Shen Feng made a gesture of invitation. You guys, take care. Chapter 233, Zheng Qianming, is a relative? I was wondering why a talent show would have so many problems. It turns out that Feng Zi has gathered all the teams with the most problems under her control. Feng Zi is a real detail. I actually doubted him before. I regret it. Repent 1. Don't be afraid, the kind and forgiving Feng will forgive you. Amen. Amen, Feng Men. Now no one in the late broadcast room questioned Shen Feng anymore. Director Tian, who had been staring at Shen Feng's live broadcast room, now breathed a sigh of relief. However, he still immediately asked people to buy trending searches, trying to guide public opinion in a positive direction as much as possible, to prevent someone from deliberately leading the conversation and saying that their program team was not responsible enough. The rest of the time is basically spent by the head coach arranging training for his contestants. Previously, many contestants only specialized in one skill, like Situyu, who could sing, but only knew how to sing. His guest tutor also teaches singing. As for the contestants under Jay Atnam, it is impossible for them to learn singing from Jay Atnam. They can only learn dancing. But if you really want to debut as an idol group, it is not enough to just be able to sing or dance. You must learn both singing and dancing. Therefore, the 4 head instructors are basically arranging new dance guest instructors for the contestants who have never learned to dance before. Arrange singing guest mentors for contestants who have never learned to sing. Ondic supplementary training. Because Zhang Wanwan's group has the most outstanding contestants. And Zhang Wanwan herself has attracted considerable attention because of her previous instrumental performance. So the number of viewers watching Zhang Wanwan's live broadcast room today is the largest. In the evening, after a day's training, Director Tian announced the elimination results of the first day of the second round of eliminations, because Shen Sheng's group had planned it in advance. They eliminated 8 contestants at one time, making them the group with the most eliminated contestants today. Liu Mingya's group followed closely behind. This old singing god was still very strict in training and eliminated 3 problematic contestants on the first day. 1 person was eliminated from Zhang Wanwan's group. Wen Hua might be kinder and did not eliminate any contestants on the first day. It has been a long time since Zhang Wanwan had such a high-intensity recording session since she last shot a commercial under Ningguang. From the game session in the morning, to the continuous instrument playing, to most of the day's training and instruction, Zhang Wanwan was exhausted. After the training and recording were finished in the evening, Zhang Wanwan walked out of the training room listlessly. As soon as she went out, she saw Shen Feng standing at the door waiting for her. What, tired? Shen Feng asked with a smile. Zhang Wanwan leaned limply on Shen Feng's body. Although I don't have to train myself, taking care of these naughty kids is more tiring than training myself. It's really too much trouble to teach students in accordance with their aptitude, to provide targeted training, and to pick out which players have problems, to think about which problems can be corrected and which cannot be corrected, and then to eliminate them. Shen Sheng gathered Zhang Wanwan's hair and hugged Zhang Wanwan and said, "Thank you for your hard work. I'll make you something delicious tonight. Aren't we eating in the cafeteria? When we were playing Truth or Dare this morning, didn't you say you wanted to eat sweet and sour pork ribs tonight?" Shen Feng said with a smile. "I asked Sister Lin to borrow some ingredients and a stove from the kitchen in advance. I'll make it for you later." It has been a long time since Zhang Wanwan had eaten the meal cooked by Shen Feng. When Zhang Wanwan heard Shen Feng's words, she was so moved that she almost cried. "Feng Zi, you're so nice." Shen Sheng moved his face closer, and Zhang Wanwan kissed him consciously. The two of them hugged each other, and without caring whether there were any other contestants watching them, they walked into the cafeteria together and then went to the kitchen. Because Sister Lin had already given instructions, the people in the kitchen had already prepared the stove and ingredients. Shen Sheng rolled up his sleeves and started cooking, and Zhang Wanwan thought about it, then suddenly took out her mobile phone, turned on the live broadcast, and started live streaming Shen Feng cooking. A lot of viewers soon poured into the live broadcast room. In fact, if Zhang Wanwan started the show normally, there wouldn't be so many viewers coming in at the first time. The main reason is that Zhang Wanwan's performance today was too eye-catching. Many fans were intensively following news related to Zhang Wanwan today. As Zhang Wanwan was live streaming, naturally many people heard about it. "Wanwan was great today, you really made us Wan fans proud. Wanwan is awesome, our all-round Wan brother." I slapped those haters hard on the face. It was so satisfying. Many fans who came into the live broadcast room started by praising Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan smiled and said, "Thank you for your support. Actually, I'm not that good, I only know a little bit about each instrument." "Wanwan, don't be modest. Such an excellent person is still so humble. While some traffic stars without real talent are so ostentatious. This is the pattern. Wan Ji, if this isn't impressive, then others shouldn't stay in the entertainment industry." That's right. Although Zhang Wanwan was considered thick-skinned, she couldn't help but lightly at this moment. To be honest, she really is not modest. She really only knows a little bit about each instrument. Okay, I'm not the main character in today's live broadcast. Can you guys pay attention to our chef Shen? Zhang Wanwan said. Feng Zi is cooking? I was wondering why it was a bit noisy. But the problem is that we don't want to pay attention to Chef Shen. Why don't you give Feng Zi a shot, in the live broadcast room? There is only your big face, Brother Wan, and we can't see anything else. Zhang Wanwan then realized that she seemed to have turned on the front camera and could only take a picture of herself. I was careless. Zhang Wanwan quickly turned the camera to focus on Shen Feng, who was cooking. After cooking for 800 years, Shen Feng's cooking skills are no longer able to be described by the word skilled. His movements when cooking were smooth and fluid, without any delay or hesitation. He was wearing the clothes he wore for the daytime show. And he wasn't wearing an apron, but not a single drop of oil splashed on him. Although the other chefs in the kitchen are also experienced in cooking, compared with Shen Feng, they all seem like apprentices who had just started. Watching Feng Zi cook is such a pleasure. It's been a long time since I saw Feng Zi cooking. I almost forgot that Feng Zi is a top chef. I think it would be more enjoyable to eat the food made by Feng Zi, but unfortunately we don't have this good fortune. A female celebrity named Zhang is excellent and has an awesome husband. Now look at me, not only am I a loser, I don't even have a husband. I know I'm single, but I still click into Feng Zi and Wang Yi's live streams every time. I'm a masochist, right? Some of the audience in the live broadcast room were envious, while others were wailing and barking. Some people are also giving gifts. For example, System Duke Zhangshao Supporters Club Lonely Cigarette sends a Super Rocket 1. System Duke Zhangshao Supporters Club Lonely Cigarettes sends a Super Rocket 1. System Duke Zhangshao Supporters Club Lonely Cigarettes sends a Super Rocket 1. System Duke Zhangshao Supporters Club Lonely Cigarettes sends a Super Rocket 1. I am so awesome, my boss is so generous. Isn't this Jiang Tianming's wealthy fan? He actually came to give Wan Ji gifts? What a cruel boss. Boss, why did you give so many gifts one by one? Didn't you know that gifts can be given in bulk? Zhangshao Fan Club Lonely Cigarettes, can it be sent in bulk? I really didn't notice it. A few seconds later. System Duke Zhangshao Supporters Club Lonely Cigarettes sent Super Rockets 30. Hold the grass? Do you have to be so cruel? Zhang Wanwan's eyes twitched when she saw the prefix Zhangshao Fan Club. Brothers, spend wisely, don't send me so many gifts. I don't rely on live streaming to make money, Zhang Wanwan said. Zhang Xiao Fan Club Lonely Cigarettes. I recharged some money to support Jiang Qianming before. And I happened to see my sister's live broadcast, so I sent it to her. Zhang Xiao Fan Club Lonely Cigarettes. Besides, Jiang Qianming's sister is our sister. Is it irrational to give a gift to your own sister? And I am still a die-hard fan of you and Brother Feng. Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan hadn't said anything yet, but the late broadcast room was in an uproar. What? Is Jiang Qianming Zhang Wanwan's younger brother? I'm so excited, I just got the news. Brother or cousin? Is he really related? Jiang Qianming's popularity is not low now. The wealthy Zhang Xiao fan club that showed up during the first round of eliminations brought him a lot of popularity. His outstanding performance in the first round of eliminations also won him over many viewers, especially female viewers. After all, Jiang Qianming has a good figure, and although his singing and dancing are not outstanding, his performance is above average among the contestants. It seems that he has an unusual background and has a group of very wealthy friends, with good looks, abilities, popularity, and topicality. It would be strange if she didn't attract traffic. The topic Zhang Xiao Fan Club on Jiang Qianming's Weibo has already received tens of thousands of followers. As the news that Jiang Qianming is Zhang Wanwan's younger brother came out, the topic of Zhang Xiao Fan Club also exploded. Chapter 230. Actually, I have a girlfriend. In the super chat. According to the news from the live broadcast room, Jiang Qianming is a fan of Wang Ji. I had long suspected that they both had the last name Zhang and seemed to be very close. I had always felt that they had a special relationship, but I didn't expect that they were actually siblings. Is Jiang Qianming a relative? Can this be called a relationship? Haven't you seen the video of Jiang Qianming's first round of eliminations? He won fairly and honestly, not by relying on connections. Yeah, when I was a fan of Jiang Qianming, I didn't know yet any relationship with Wang Ji, and he didn't benefit much from Wang Ji's influence. But I still want to wait for Jiang Qianming to respond himself. Otherwise he will inevitably be led by others. Although Zhang Wanwan didn't read the super topic, she understood this point. So seeing the messy live broadcast room, Zhang Wanwan immediately wanted to contact Jiang Qianming. Calling him over and letting him say hello to the audience is also an official announcement that Jiang Qianming is her younger brother. An official announcement is always better than rumors flying around. However, Sister Lin is obviously more sensitive to this kind of thing than Zhang Wanwan. So before Zhang Wanwan planned to contact Jiang Qianming, Sister Lin and Liu Ya had already brought Jiang Qianming over. For fear of delaying the work of the chefs in the kitchen, Zhang Wanwan and Jiang Qianming finally found a secluded place. Then he handed the live broadcast phone to Jiang Qianming. Jiang Qianming was not stage frightened, he just smiled casually and greeted the camera. Hello, I'm Jiang Qianming. One of my good friends in the live broadcast room seems to have exposed my identity. It seems that I can no longer keep a low profile. Indeed, I am Zhang Wanwan's cousin. Zhang Xiao Fan Club Lonely Cigarette. I thought everyone knew about this, I was careless. Jiang Qianming, please don't blame me. Jiang Qianming chuckled and said, give my sister another 50 super fires, and I'll spare your life. System, Duke Zhang Xiao Supporters Club Lonely Cigarettes, sends Super Rockets 50. Oh my god, how much money did he give as a gift today? Big brother, you gave my younger brother a gift and she didn't even thank you. Why don't you give it to me? I can call you daddy. Can you please have some backbone? Dad hates people like you the most. Hey, don't go off topic. Listen to Jiang Qianming. Jiang Qianming didn't say anything after seeing that Lonely Cigarette had given another gift. Then he continued to talk to other viewers. Actually, I think there's really nothing to say about the fact that I'm Zhang Wanwan's younger brother, so I never mentioned it. From the beginning of the show until now, I have never taken advantage of her popularity, nor have I been helped by her. She even didn't want me to be her contestant, and I have never planned to use this relationship to gain anything. At this point, Jiang Qianming smiled and said, so I think who I am is not important. Although my identity was accidentally exposed this time, I still hope that everyone will not pay too much attention to me, because of my relationship with Zhang Wanwan. Just treat me as before. This is also a positive response. And I think he is right. I have been following this show since the beginning. He did not rely on his relationship with Zhang Wanwan, but he really has the ability. It's not that he has the ability, but he really works hard. His dancing level was average at first, but he trained very hard by the end of the first round of eliminations. His improvement was obvious. I think it's okay to rely on connections, as long as you have the ability and are willing to work hard. This little brother is really nice. I've become a fan of him. I have been a member of Zhang Xiao's fan club for a long time, and my vision is correct. Come on, didn't you follow the fan club super topic just to participate in the lucky draw for the rich? Jiang Qianming didn't spend all those days as a playboy in vain. The tone of his voice is very particular, and the rhythm of his speech makes people feel very comfortable. casual, natural, unpretentious, yet organized and measured. This has led to many fans in the live broadcast room who had not paid much attention to Jiang Tianming before becoming his fans. After hearing on Weibo that Jiang Tianming appeared in Zhang Wanwan's live broadcast room, many of Jiang Tianming's true fans also came. Seeing that Jiang Tianming was broadcasting live, those true fans quickly greeted Jiang Tianming. Young Master's live broadcast. Young Master is so handsome. Master, you are running wild in my heart. What young master? This is my husband. Because Jiang Tianming's fan club is called Zhangshao Support Club. Many of Jiang Tianming's fans started to call Jiang Tianming young master. Some loyal fans even made up various rhymes. For example, the sentence just now, master, run wild in my heart. There are also things like my young master of the Jiang family has charmed thousands of young ladies. I'm rooting for you and going crazy for you, the young man of the Jiang family. Many of Jiang Tianming's fans took the opportunity to talk to Jiang Tianming and began to ask him various questions. For example, what does your family do and why do you have so many rich friends? For example, why should you participate in the competition? And whether you have to go home and inherit the business if you fail in your debut. Another example. Do you have a girlfriend? Do you need a wife? And so on. Not far away, Li Yuya was also watching Jiang Tianming's live broadcast on her mobile phone. Look at him on the scene and then look at him in front of the camera. Li Yuya seemed quite happy watching it. Especially when I see those weird rhymes, several of them were made up by her. However, when she saw the questions asked to her girlfriend, Li Yuya's hand couldn't help but clench the phone. She raised her head quietly and looked at Jiang Tianming. But she found that Jiang Tianming was also looking at her at this time. Li Yuya quickly shook her head at Jiang Tianming and winked at him. Signaled Jiang Tianming not to make their relationship public. Hanging out with Sister Lin these days, Li Yuya has also learned a lot of knowledge and insider information about the entertainment industry. She knew that for a trainee like Jiang Tianming, who was good looking and was planning to debut in a boy band, he would definitely have the most girlfriend and wife fans in the beginning. If Jiang Tianming tells others now that he has a girlfriend, he will definitely lose a lot of fans, and it will also have a great impact on Jiang Tianming's future development in the entertainment industry. Jiang Tianming saw Li Yuya shaking her head, and a smile appeared on his face, then nodded. Seeing this, Li Yuya secretly breathed a sigh of relief. It seems that Silly Radish understood what she meant. She is not in a hurry to make an official announcement with Jiang Tianming. Jiang Tianming is still participating in the show, and she doesn't want to affect Jiang Tianming because of her. But before Li Yuya could finish her breath, and I heard Jiang Tianming speaking at the scene and on the phone. Well, actually, I already have a girlfriend, and I love her very much. The reason I participated in the variety show was just for her. So even if I was eliminated, I might not go home to inherit the family business, but to go home and marry her. Click. The cell phone in Li Yuya's hand fell to the ground. This silly carrot, why doesn't he listen? Chapter 235 Love the fans. If you don't, get lost. Actually, I already have a girlfriend, and I love her very much. The reason I participated in the variety show was just for her. So even if I was eliminated, I might not go home to inherit the family business, but to go home and marry her. Jiang Tianming finished these two sentences. There was a noticeable silence in the live broadcast room. Whether they are fans of Zhang Wanwan and Shen Feng, or fans of Jiang Tianming, they were all a little dazed. A trainee on a talent show, a newcomer in the entertainment industry with a large proportion of female fans. He actually chose to announce that he has a girlfriend during a program that determines whether he can make his debut, at a time when he needs the support of female fans the most. And it was announced so high profile and openly. Doesn't he care that he will lose followers? Among those watching the live broadcast, quite a number of them are very familiar with the celebrity fan circles. Many of the female fans of male stars are so-called girlfriend fans or wife fans. These fans like to pretend to be the male stars' girlfriends and help them to rank on the charts, buy endorsements, and collect data. They have high stickiness and strong fighting power in the fan circle. But at the same time, they can be easily irritated. Once a male celebrity officially announces that he has a real girlfriend, a large number of his girlfriend fans and wife fans will become resentful and stop following him and turn against him. A few years ago, after a certain celebrity named Lu made his official announcement, he lost hundreds of thousands of fans overnight, and more than 100 fan club websites were closed. His popularity was greatly affected, and he was no longer as glorious as he once was. This is also the reason why many male celebrities nowadays, especially the young and handsome ones who debut through talent shows, dare not make official announcements or find partners. Being in love means being unemployed. Fans are money. Who wants to go against money? And now, after Jiang Tianming finished speaking, it was as if he was raising his hands and shouting, I can't stand money. After a brief silence, the barrage of comments broke out again. For a while, quite a few female fans who had previously shouted, "Young Master! Young Master, run wild," in my heart showed obvious dissatisfaction. Some people with good tempers will just say no longer a fan and that's it. People with bad tempers say all kinds of unpleasant things. You have a girlfriend but you still come out to sell your face? You come out to cheat us out of our money, right? I stayed up late every day to help you with your dating and fan group because you just debuted and had no fame, hoping that I could get in touch with you after I became a big fan. Now you tell me that you have a girlfriend, scumbag. Either you break up with her, or you wait for your fans to drop to the center of the earth. Geneva, give your money back. Looking at these words, Jung Tianming reached out and pinched his eyebrows. After a moment, he said to the camera with a smile, "First of all, I have to thank all the fans, whether they are normal fans or so-called girlfriend fans, for their support. Thank you for following me before. Secondly, I have something to say." Jung Tianming smiled even more. "If you like me, then I'll be your fan. If you don't like me, and get lost. I never said I need you to be my fan. My hard work in training and performing is never for the purpose of gaining a large number of fans. I work hard just to stay at the training base and be with my girlfriend every day. It's that simple. Whoever paid me to do the daily and help me get on the charts. If you want to get your money back, go find that lonely cigarette and send him the screenshots of your spending and ask him to compensate you. If you want to stop being a fan and want to curse me, please feel free to do so. This is your freedom. But some people who curse my girlfriend, I hope you die as far away as possible." After saying that, Jung Tianming directly closed the left broadcast room and returned the phone to Zhang Wanwan. He let out a breath, a look of relief appearing on his face. He was relieved. But Sister Lin next to her was already holding her head and wailing, "You really are Zhang Wanwan's younger brother. Why do you bother me so much?" Sister Lin was in agony. "Can you please let me know when you're going to make the official announcement? And you please not be so sudden?" Sister Lin felt that she was destined to be officially announced in this life. When Zhang Wanwan first announced the marriage certificate, Sister Lin was worried for a long time. Then Zhang Wanwan and Shen Feng officially announced their marriage and date, without notifying Sister Lin in advance. Now, Jung Tianming has perfectly inherited Zhang Wanwan's shortcomings and made another official announcement without any prior notification. Although Jung Tianming is not considered Sister Lin's artist, Sister Lin still treats him as one of her own. After wailing for a few sentences, Sister Lin thought about finding someone to cover up the incident. However, before Sister Lin went to look for someone, Director Tian had already come to her door. When Zhang Wanwan was doing the live broadcast, Director Tian was eating in the cafeteria. Watch Zhang Wanwan's live broadcast while eating. When Director Tian saw someone say that Jung Tianming was Zhang Wanwan's younger brother, he choked. But when he saw Zhang Tianming's official announcement and his criticism of fans, Director Tian immediately exploded. Then he hurriedly found Zhang Wanwan, Zhang Tianming and others. He pointed at Zhang Tianming for a long time. Do you know what you just did?" Director Tian's voice was trembling. Zhang Tianming said calmly, "I said I have a girlfriend and I chatted with my fans. What's wrong? You call that chattering? Also, do you know how bad the impact of this incident could be?" Director Tian said, "Not only will you be affected, but it may also discredit the entire program team and leave a negative impression on your fans. This will damage the interests of the program team." Zhang Tianming still smiled inferently. "How about I pay you some money? You tell me the amount. This is not a problem that can be solved by paying money." Director Tian was very angry. But then he said, "I'll tell you a number. And you really give it to me?" Zhang Tianming nodded. Director Tian held up 5 fingers. Then Zhang Tianming took out his mobile phone happily. I transferred 50 cents to Director Tian. Director Tian. Seeing Director Tian's speechless face, Zhang Tianming said, "Don't scare me with the trick of scaring children. I am destroying my own reputation to attract attention to your program. It's good enough that I don't ask you for money. By the way, Sister Lin, there's no need to bother you with this matter. People outside can say whatever they want, I don't care." After Zhang Tianming finished speaking, he walked over to Liu Ya, who had not yet recovered from her shock, and whispered, "Wife, what are you daydreaming about? Let's go back and eat." Liu Ya stared at Zhang Tianming in a daze, and then she came to her senses. She began to look nervous, and she held Zhang Tianming's hand and said, "Silly carrot, what stupid thing did you do? Not only did you make the official announcement, but you also scolded your fans. Don't you want to be in this circle anymore?" When Zhang Tianming saw the girl's appearance, he suddenly stepped forward. He stretched out his hand and pressed on the wall, and pushed Liu Ya against the wall. Zhang Tianming lowered his head and whispered in Liu Ya's ear, "Silly girl, did you listen to what I said to those fans just now? Do I have to repeat it to you myself? I came to participate in the show and trained hard just to stay here longer and be with you for a few more days. I don't care about that group of people's attitude towards me. I only care about your attitude. I have never thought about being a star unless it is a star for you alone. Understand? Jiang Yanming said this very seriously and with expression. Li Yuya blushed. Tears welled up in my eyes involuntarily. She was really moved by Jiang Yanming's words. Jiang Yanming couldn't help but laugh when he saw her cute look. Taking advantage of the right timing and the right atmosphere, he leaned over and was about to kiss Li Yuya. In the end, the kiss hadn't even landed yet. Jiang Yanming felt someone grabbing his collar and then pulling it apart. Jiang Wanwan stood on tiptoe, pulled Jiang Yanming's collar and said, "Jiang Yanming, can we kiss each other in a place where there is no one around? There are so many people watching. You have no shame, but Yuya still has some." Such a good opportunity was interrupted. Jiang Yanming looked at Jiang Wanwan with resentment. "Sister, why are you like this? I hate you." "Who do you hate?" Shen Feng's voice suddenly came from the side. Jiang Yanming immediately smiled. "I hate that my sister is too good, and I hate that I am not good enough." Chapter 236, Give you 1 million and leave my son? Shen Cheng was cooking in the kitchen before. When Jiang Wanwan left the kitchen, he only knew that the fact that Jiang Yanming was Jiang Wanwan's younger brother was exposed. He thought it was a small matter and didn't take it to heart. As a result, when I was halfway through cooking, I saw Director Tian passing by the kitchen in a hurry. Shen Cheng felt that things had gotten a bit out of hand, and even Director Tian couldn't sit still any longer. So he followed Director Tian and came to this corner. On the way here, he checked his phone and roughly understood what Jiang Yanming had done. To be honest, Shen Feng didn't have any special opinions on this matter. If there is, it might be support for Jiang Yanming. Because to some extent, Shen Feng's attitude towards being a star is the same as Jiang Yanming's. As long as he can be with Jiang Wanwan, he can do anything. So Shen Feng patted Jiang Yanming on the shoulder twice and said, "It looks good." After receiving recognition from his brother-in-law and elder brother-in-law, Jiang Yanming's smile became even brighter. Jiang Yanming quickly took Li Yuya and ran away. And he deliberately went out the back door of the cafeteria. Maybe he was afraid that there would be other people in the cafeteria watching the live broadcast while eating like Director Tian. Director Tian looked at the 50-cent payments, sighed, and left. Just as Jiang Yanming said, this incident actually brought some extra popularity to the show. However, whether this popularity is a good thing or a bad thing depends on the quality of subsequent programs. Shen Feng took Jiang Wanwan back to the kitchen, packed up the prepared dishes, and the two went back to the room to eat together. Sister Lin stood alone in the corner for a long time, looking quite melancholy. Finally, I took out my phone and called someone I didn't know. That night, Jiang Yanming did not return to the dormitory he shared with Sidiyu. Li Yuya, who originally slept with Sister Lin, did not return to her room either. There are quite a few empty rooms in the training base. The next morning, Jiang Yanming brought food back to Li Yuya. Li Yuya was still sleeping when Jiang Yanming went out to get food. But when he came back, Li Yuya had already sat up, rubbing her sleepy eyes. Then the girl seemed to have thought of something urgent and hurriedly picked up her mobile phone from the bed. "What's wrong?" Jiang Yanming asked curiously. "I have to check Weibo to see what your current reputation is like. If it's really bad, you might as well just withdraw from the competition, otherwise it will have a bigger impact on you." Li Yuya had a dream while sleeping. "I dreamed that a group of female fans chased Jiang Yanming and beat and scolded him. Jiang Yanming was beaten until his head was bleeding and his body was covered with bruises. She wanted to save Jiang Yanming, but she couldn't squeeze through the group of crazy girlfriend fans. In the end, she just watched Jiang Yanming lying motionless on the street covered in blood. So the first thing Li Yuya did after waking up was to see to what extent Jiang Yanming was being scolded online. If I was only scolded by that small group of fans, it wouldn't be a big deal. If the scope expands and many people scold you, it will be dangerous. If the incident escalates, Jiang Yanming's scolding of his fans will become known to the entire internet and everyone will condemn him. Then Li Yuya really wouldn't dare to let Jiang Yanming participate in the talent show again. As a result, when Li Yuya opened it, she began to tremble, because she actually saw entries like talent showstar official announcement and angrily criticized girlfriend fans on the hot search list. Although it's not among the top trending searches, this is not good news either. Li Yuya clicked on the trending search with some trembling. I even didn't dare to look at the screen. She didn't know how bad the words netizens would use to curse and insult Jiang Yanming. She narrowed her eyes into slits, carefully trying to peek at the words on the screen. Before she could see it, the phone was taken away by Jiang Yanming. "Hey, don't look at it yet." Li Yuya was startled. There are all kinds of people on Weibo, and you never know who will say something nasty. Li Yuya still didn't want Jiang Yanming to see those things. Jiang Yanming swiped his fingers twice, then raised his eyebrows and said, "So many people are praising me. You are confused." How could anyone praise you? Stop looking at it and give me the phone. Li Yuya thought Jiang Tianming was lying to her. So she stood up and snatched the phone from Jiang Tianming. But when she looked at the screen of her mobile phone, she was stunned. Because in the topic, there were really people praising Jiang Tianming. And there are quite a few. Even among 10 Weibo posts. You might not find one or two that curse Jiang Tianming. This surprised Li Yuya. I don't know what to say except that it's a good scolding. It is much better than those rubbish stars who dare not tell their girlfriends and live secretly with their girlfriends while making money from their female fans. I don't know when it became a mistake for celebrities to have girlfriends. This is just the rules and burdens that the so-called girlfriend fans wishfully added to their idols. After watching the live broadcast clip, I can only say that he is worthy of being Won Ji's younger brother. When he is lying down, he is no worse than Won Ji. Li Yuya was a little confused. Isn't this rhythm wrong? Could it be that Sister Lin hired some Navy soldiers? Feeling curious, Li Yuya checked Weibo again. Then, Li Yuya discovered something that surprised her. A celebrity named Lu, who lost a lot of fans after his official announcement a few years ago, actually retweeted a clip of Jiang Tianming's live broadcast last night. It was also accompanied by several like emojis. Later he posted another picture, which was a photo of the celebrity surname Lu and his officially announced girlfriend. In the photo, both of them smiled sweetly. Although he is no longer as popular as he once was, he looks extremely happy now. It is precisely because of these two Weibo posts that Jiang Tianming became popular. Although this star has lost fans, he was once a top-tier celebrity comparable to Fu Yan. A lean camel is still bigger than a horse. Many fans who still chose to support the star after the official announcement followed their idol to support Jiang Tianming and speak for him. On places like Weibo, the public will follow the lead of whoever holds the final say. If those girlfriend fans who cursed Jiang Tianming were numerous and powerful, and the public opinion on Weibo would definitely be cursing Jiang Tianming. But now there are more people supporting Jiang Tianming, and the mainstream opinion has naturally turned to supporting Jiang Tianming. Many passers-by who did not know the truth clicked on the hot search and saw that most people were praising Jiang Tianming. So they followed suit and started praising him. In addition, what Jiang Tianming said during the live broadcast was indeed manly and responsible. So although this wave caused Jiang Tianming to lose some female fans, he gained a large number of passers-by and male fans. Many older brothers, uncles and grandpas said that Jiang Tianming is more manly than most of the young handsome guys nowadays. Seeing this, Li Yuya finally breathed a sigh of relief. Then he hugged Jiang Tianming excitedly and said, "Silly carrot. Did you see that? You are really going to be famous this time? You gained tens of thousands of followers in one night. And that's even though you lost your girlfriend's fans." Jiang Tianming doesn't care about the number of fans. But when he saw Li Yuya smile, he also smiled. Only, before Jiang Tianming could say anything else, his cell phone suddenly rang. Jiang Tianming took out his cell phone. Li Yuya took a glance and found that the note seemed to be Mom. Li Yuya suddenly felt nervous again. Did Jiang Tianming's mother know about her situation? But she had never asked about Jiang Tianming's family before. Jiang Tianming's family seems to be very rich, so will she not be accepted by Jiang Tianming's family? Li Yuya's palms were a little sweaty. She felt that she had not considered it enough before. Jiang Tianming took his cell phone and walked outside the room to answer the call. Li Yuya really wanted to hear what Jiang Tianming and his mother would say, but she couldn't hear anything through the door. This made Li Yuya more nervous. It was about 10 minutes later that Jiang Tianming came back. And the expression on his face doesn't seem to be very good. Li Yuya became even more frightened. He asked in a trembling voice. "Yes, did something happen? Aunt, does she know about us? Well, it's such a big deal on Weibo, how could she not know about it?" That. Li Yuya pursed her lips, not knowing how to start. After a long while, he whispered, "Did she ask me about this just now?" Jiang Tianming nodded. Then he sat next to Li Yuya with a headache. Seeing Jiang Tianming's expression, Li Yuya almost wanted to cry. Is their love going to end, just because of the difference in their families? Jiang Tianming said sadly, "I told my mother about your situation, but she insisted on transferring 1 million to me and asked me to give it to you. I'll give you 1 million and leave my son alone." When Li Yuya heard this, she had already imagined such a scene in her mind. Her eyes turned red. But then, Jiang Tianming said again, "She asked me to give you 1 million as a gift to her daughter-in-law. She also asked me to withdraw from the competition and take you home to see them. She even started discussing when we should get married. I said I wasn't going back, and they said they wanted to come and see you in person. It seemed like they bought a plane ticket for today. And they'll arrive tomorrow at the latest." Li Yuya forced back the tears in her eyes. How come this is different from the plot in her mind? Chapter 237. Jiang Tianming is pursuing Chen Wei. When Jiang Tianming went to training today, He experienced star-level treatment. When he stepped into the training room, all the dozen or so players in the room fell silent. They all looked at Jiang Qianming strangely. Fortunately, Jiang Qianming is thick-skinned. At this time, he greeted everyone with a smile. "Good morning, Brother Jiang." Suddenly, Jietnam popped out from nowhere. He grabbed Jiang Qianming's waving hand and said sincerely, "I didn't realize it before, but I didn't expect you to be such a real man. I actually want to ask you why you didn't see that I'm a man before." Jiang Qianming asked back. Jietnan chuckled and said, "Although I knew you had a girlfriend, I didn't know you were planning to make it official. I thought you might be trying to hide the fact that you have a girlfriend to deceive your fans. At that time, I even despised you a little bit in my heart. But of course I don't feel that way anymore now." As a celebrity who has also announced his relationship publicly, Jietnam actually understands to some extent the impact of official announcements on celebrities, especially young idols. Fortunately, he became famous through a dating show. And most of his fans are CP fans, so even if he officially announced his relationship with Li Ting, his fans would be able to accept it. Otherwise, he would surely suffer a career setback. After John Wanwan started the late broadcast yesterday, Jietnan was also watching. When he saw that Jiang Qianming was willing to confront fans for Li Yuya, he really looked up to this guy. Except for Jietnan, the other contestants are now also very enthusiastic about Jiang Qianming. However, many of them are enthusiastic about Jiang Qianming not because Jiang Qianming is willing to officially announce their relationship. Mainly because I knew that Jiang Qianming was Jiang Wanwan's younger brother. Jiang Qianming was surrounded by a group of people and was not rescued until Shen Fang came to the training room. In fact, it's not just Jiang Qianming. Li Yuya was also very distressed today. No matter where she went, she always seemed to hear people talking about Jiang Qianming. Talking about Jiang Qianming's mysterious girlfriend. Because Jiang Qianming said in the late broadcast that he came to participate in youth group to accompany his girlfriend. So many people speculated that Jiang Qianming's girlfriend was most likely a female contestant who also participated in youth group. The free time of the show almost turned into a werewolf scene, with everyone guessing who Jiang Qianming's hidden girlfriend was, although basically no one would guess that it was her. Li Yuya always felt nervous and like a thief when she heard people talking about things related to her all day long. A few days ago, she dared to eat with Jiang Qianming in the cafeteria. Today she only dared to go to the cafeteria to get food by herself, planning to bring it back to the room to eat with Jiang Qianming. She didn't even dare to let Jiang Qianming come to get food. After all, there were too many people in the cafeteria. If Jiang Qianming was treated like a panda and surrounded by people, they would not have time to eat lunch. I heard that Jiang Qianming is not only Jiang Wanwan's cousin, but also a super rich second generation, richer than Jiang Wanwan. You are just talking nonsense, Don. You look at the rich people in Zhang Xiao's fan club. Can ordinary people make friends like them? The two people standing in front of Li Yuya were currently discussing matters related to Jiang Qianming. Hearing the words, super rich second generation, Li Yuya remembered the phone call Jiang Qianming received in the morning. And the 1 million that Jiang Qianming insisted on transferring to her. I don't know who Jiang Qianming's girlfriend is. She is so mysterious. Didn't everyone guess that it was a female contestant from our show? There are so many female players, the range is too wide. Hey, I have some reliable inside information. What news? Tell me now. I heard that Jiang Qianming's girlfriend might be. Some people nearby started talking about Jiang Qianming's girlfriend. And one of them seemed to say that he knew inside information. He spoke more and more quietly, which made Li Yuya, who was eavesdropping, a little nervous. She wanted to cover her face with the plate, but she couldn't help but prick up her ears to continue eavesdropping. As a result, the person who was discussing it whispered, I heard that Jiang Qianming's girlfriend might be Chen Wei. Li Yuya? Li Yuya immediately put down the plate and glared at the contestant who was talking nonsense. The contestant didn't realize that someone was glaring at him, and continued to talk to himself. Don't spread this news. This was told to me by a friend of mine in the internal department. It's 99 true. And I heard that it was Jiang Qianming who was pursuing Chen Wei. Although Chen Wei didn't have much money, she was very ambitious and didn't want to accept Jiang Qianming. Then Chen Wei came to participate in the variety show, and Jiang Qianming shamelessly pursued her. Oh my god. Chen Wei doesn't even like such a rich and handsome guy. Is Chen Wei's standards so high? The contestants nearby expressed their surprise. The contestant who claimed to have inside information said solemnly, who says it's not true? And I have inside information. Which is that Chen Wei has a very good relationship with Shen Fang and Jiang Wanwan's assistant. In order to be with Chen Wei, Jiang Qianming deliberately tried to get closer to that assistant. TSK. I didn't expect that a rich young man would have to go through so many twists and turns to pursue his girlfriend. Bend your uncle. Liu Ya finally couldn't help it anymore. Picked up the plate and hit the contestant. You know nothing. You're just talking nonsense. Her silly carrot obviously came to the show for her. And he obviously hates Chen Wei to death. How come Jiang Tianming is now the one pursuing Chen Wei? He even tried to get close to her in order to pursue Chen Wei. What does this have to do with anything? The contestant was hit. He covered his head and couldn't help saying, "Hey, girl. What are you doing? Why are you hitting me for no reason? You are talking nonsense, spreading rumors, confusing right and wrong, making up stories, fabricating things, and talking nonsense without any basis. Why can't I beat you up?" Liu Ya was also anxious and used all the idioms she had learned throughout her life to criticize the contestant. The contestant covered his head and said, unconvinced lie. "No, sister, how do you know that I'm talking nonsense and gossiping? Do you have any evidence? I am the assistant of Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan. Do you think I have any evidence?" Liu Ya stomped her feet in anger and said angrily. But after saying this, Liu Ya regretted it. Because all the other contestants in the cafeteria heard the sound and looked over. "Are you Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan's assistant? And do you have any inside information? Who is Jiang Tianming's girlfriend? I seem to have seen you having dinner with Jiang Tianming before. But it be that Jiang Tianming is trying to get close to you just to pursue Chen Wei? Is Jiang Tianming in love with you?" Although Liu Ya had shown her face before when she gave Zhang Wanwan a musical instrument, everyone thought she was a staff member of the program at that time. So many people really don't know Liu Ya's identity. When they heard Liu Ya introduce herself, the gossipers immediately surrounded her. Liu Ya said nothing. "Turn around and run." Chapter 238. Are you free tonight? Liu Ya ran all the way back to the dormitory building, but found that Jiang Tianming was not in the room. After searching for a while, I found that Jiang Tianming and Sister Lin were actually in Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan's room. Seeing Liu Ya coming over, Jiang Tianming stood up and asked, "What's wrong with you? Why are you sweating all over?" "Don't mention it, my identity has been exposed," Liu Ya said. "Others know that you are my girlfriend?" Jiang Tianming raised his eyebrows. "That's not the case, but others know that I'm Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan's assistant." Liu Ya sighed. "A bunch of people surrounded me and wanted to ask who your girlfriend is. So I ran away as a pity that I didn't get to eat." At this point, Liu Ya's expression was quite indignant. "I don't know what's going on, but today a lot of people are saying that Shou Wobo's girlfriend is Chen Wei. And they even say it with details. Even when I had dinner with Silly Radish before, those people interpreted it as in using me to get closer to Chen Wei. I really don't know how these rumors came about. It makes me so angry." Seeing this, Jiang Tianming couldn't help but laugh and said, "Are you jealous, you little jealous guy?" "Yes, I am a jealous person. What's wrong with that? Is it not okay?" Liu Ya glared at Jiang Tianming with a red face. Okay, from now on I will be your pickled radish in vinegar," Jiang Tianming said with a smile. Sister Lin coughed lightly, interrupting the couple's flirting, and then said, "Yu Ya, Jiang Tianming and I are actually here with Xiaoshen and Wanwan because of Chen Wei's matter. In fact, many contestants believe that the girl Jiang Tianming is pursuing is Chen Wei. And they have good reasons for saying so. It's not without reason." Liu Ya was stunned. "What does this mean?" Jiang Tianming explained to her. "What it means is that someone deliberately started a rumor that I was pursuing Chen Wei and exaggerated it. Once it's spread to 10 people, 10 to 100 people, and many people believed it. Then why did this person do this? What's the benefit of bringing Chen Wei and you into the rhythm?" Liu Ya was very confused. Shenfeng at the side said, "If someone else is leading the trend, then there is really no benefit. But if the person leading the trend is Chen Wei herself, things will be different." As Shenfeng spoke, he pushed the laptop on the table in front of Liu Ya. Liu Ya looked at the contents on the computer and her expression changed. Because of Jiang Tianming's official announcement and his response to fans yesterday, as well as the repost by a celebrity named Lu, Jiang Tianming is still very popular on Weibo today. Especially under Jiang Tianming's Jiang Shao fan club super topic. There is new news almost every time it is refreshed. What Shenfeng showed Liu Ya were a few Weibo posts from about an hour ago. The content of the Weibo posts is roughly what the contestant said. Jiang Tianming is actually pursuing Chen Wei. Chen Wei rejected Jiang Tianming. But Jiang Tianming persevered. Jiang Tianming got closer to Chen Wei through Shenfeng and Zhang Wanwan's assistants, etc. These Weibo posts do not seem to be posted by the same person. But when pieced together, they seem to form a complete story. The most important thing is that there was a Weibo post and a photo was released. When Liu Ya saw this photo, she was stunned. Because this photo is a photo of Jiang Tianming and Chen Wei. To be precise, it is a photo of Jiang Tianming a few years ago and Chen Wei a few years ago. In the photo two people are blowing the same birthday cake. This was one of the few times I met her when I was with her. I was studying abroad at the time, and I went back to China for her birthday. It's really hard for her to find photos from such a long time ago. I thought with her personality, she would have deleted them long ago. Jiang Qianming's voice also turned cold. But while speaking, he stretched out his hand and held Liu Ya's hand. Liu Ya pursed her lips and nodded towards Jiang Qianming. And he looked at the comments under the photo. In the comments, many people said that this photo could serve as solid evidence of the relationship between Chen Wei and Jiang Qianming. Now quite a few people on Weibo have already believed that Chen Wei is the girlfriend Jiang Qianming is pursuing. And they also know that Chen Wei did not agree to Jiang Qianming. And they are just friends. Shen Cheng said slowly. This incident not only brought great popularity to Chen Wei, but also established her as a cold and noble person. At the same time, there were also marketing accounts that wrote several articles specifically for her, which were probably saying that even a wealthy Jiang Qianming couldn't impress Chen Wei. So what kind of person does Chen Wei like? In the analysis of those articles, it was basically mentioned that Chen Wei's crush was likely me. This was also to build momentum for her future plans and lay the groundwork. To be honest, Liu Ya is quite angry now. She was angry that her love had become a tool for Chen Wei to gain popularity and achieve her goals. What made Chen Wei even more angry was that she had taken advantage of Jiang Qianming a few years ago, and now she wanted to take advantage of Jiang Qianming again. Are you treating this silly carrot as a soft persimmon? She looked at Shen Feng and asked, Brother, what should we do now? What do you want to do? Chen Feng asked Liu Ya a question in return. Although I want to keep her on the show to help me work, if you really hate her, I can also let her leave early. Liu Ya took a deep breath. Then he nodded and said, I hate her very much. Good. Shen Cheng closed his laptop. And I will let more people join you in hating her. Chen Wei is in a good mood today. Even though she had to wait in line for a long time to get lunch for Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, and then took the trouble to clean their room after the meal, she still felt very happy. Even, a little proud. She prides herself on her own calculations and tactics. After Jiang Qianming's live broadcast yesterday, Chen Wei heard some contestants discussing who Jiang Qianming's girlfriend was. This made Chen Wei realize that before this live broadcast, perhaps few people paid attention to Jiang Qianming, and even fewer people cared about who Jiang Qianming usually ate with. So these people couldn't guess who Jiang Qianming's girlfriend was. Chen Wei felt that this was an opportunity. A perfect opportunity that would allow her to gain popularity, increase her fame, and even help her fulfill her future plans. So she contacted Guan Heng and asked Guan Heng to hire some internet trolls to spread rumors in Jiang Qianming's superchat that Jiang Qianming was pursuing Chen Wei. A lie told 1,000 times becomes the truth. At first no one believed such rumors, but as more and more people spread them online, even those who didn't believe them gradually began to believe them. Even until the end, no one cared where the rumor that Jiang Qianming was pursuing Chen Wei came from. Many netizens just saw others saying this, so they followed suit. Chen Wei managed to find a photo of herself and Jiang Qianming taken a long time ago. This was one of the pictures she posted on her moments when she broke up with Jiang Qianming, mocking Jiang Qianming for being a rich guy. Now, in the eyes of netizens, this photo has become ironclad evidence of the relationship between Jiang Qianming and Chen Wei. And Chen Wei is very thoughtful. In order to prevent some contestants from seeing Jiang Qianming and Liu Ya being very close and guessing that Jiang Qianming is actually in love with Liu Ya, she also specifically asked her internet trolls to say that Chen Wei had a very good relationship with Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan's assistants, and that Jiang Qianming and Liu Ya became close because of Chen Wei. Perfect. Chen Wei felt that her plan could only be described by these 4 words. Chen Wei was browsing Weibo on her phone, and saw that her number of fans had increased nearly 5-fold in the past morning. She also saw that many fans were praising her for her integrity, for not bowing to money, for having character, and for being a female role model. She felt more and more proud. At this moment, Chen Wei suddenly received a call. The caller ID showed it was Shen Feng. Chen Wei didn't dare to neglect Shen Feng in the slightest. I quickly answered the phone and asked, "Hello, boss. What's going on?" As a result, Shen Feng was neither hurried nor slow. Just ask 6 words. Will you be free tonight? Chapter 239. Simply Fishing. At evening, Chen Wei wore the best burgundy evening gown she brought to the training base. She put on a charming and gorgeous exquisite makeup. She posed gracefully and knocked on Shen Feng's door elegantly. At noon, Shen Feng called Chen Wei and asked her if she was free in the evening. Chen Wei thought that Shen Feng might question the relationship between her and Jiang Qianming. Unexpectedly, Shen Feng said that Zhang Wanwan was not at the training base tonight, and he wanted Chen Wei to accompany him for dinner and drinks. Chen Wei almost jumped up with excitement. However, she still pretended to be reserved and declined. "Boss, Wanwan is not here. It's not appropriate for us to dinner and drink together as a man and a woman, right? Something's inappropriate. Shen Feng on the other end of the phone smiled gently. You know, there is a problem between Zhang Wanwan and me, right? Of course Chen Wei knew. She even cleaned the house for Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan for several days, prepared meals for several days, and washed countless pieces of clothes. Since she and I don't get along anymore, I have to find someone I can get along with. And you have been helping us clean, tidy up, and cook meals these days. I can see that you are kind-hearted, hardworking, and motivated. So how about having dinner with me tonight? I'll cook for you myself. Listening to Shen Feng's gentle words, Chen Wei was so happy that she went crazy. She resisted the urge to laugh out loud and accepted Shen Feng's invitation as ladylike as possible. After hanging up the phone, Chen Wei contacted Guan Heng and Fu Yan immediately. When Fu Yan heard that Shen Feng had taken the bait, he was naturally overjoyed. However, Guan Heng was cautious and asked Chen Wei if Shen Feng might be lying to her. But Chen Wei thought it was impossible. Because several days ago, Jiang Tianming, Liu Ya, and even Zhang Wanwan herself had said that Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan were not suitable to be together. Especially since Chen Wei performed well in front of Shen Feng a few days ago and gained enough favorability. So Chen Wei felt that it was not surprising at all that Shen Feng liked her. At this time, Chen Wei was standing outside Shen Feng's room. She took a deep breath and mustered up the courage to knock on the door. But the cell phone in my handbag started ringing. Chen Wei took a look and saw that it was a message from Liu Ya. The content of the message was basically questioning her about her relationship with Jiang Tianming and what the news on the internet was about. Chen Wei just smiled coldly after seeing this. If it was before today, perhaps she would have tried to deal with Liu Ya in a nice way. But now, Chen Wei directly blocked Liu Ya. She is just Shen Feng's cousin. Now that she is about to take Shen Feng down, what does a mere cousin mean to her? After deleting Liu Ya, Chen Wei elegantly put her phone back into her handbag and then planned to knock on the door again. Then her cell phone rang again. Chen Wei had no choice but to take out her cell phone again. This time, it was Sister Lin who sent her the message. The content of the message was roughly asking Chen Wei to go and meet her. Chen Wei sneered again and blocked Sister Lin as well. Just a manager, how dare you order her around? Chen Wei put her phone back into her handbag again. He reached out again, wanting to knock on the door. Ding ding ding. The phone's notification tone rang again. Chen Wei was a little annoyed and took out her phone again. This time, it was Jiang Tianming who sent her the message. Jiang Tianming asked Chen Wei if she had time now, and if they could come together to resolve the rumors about them that were circulating online. Chen Wei directly blocked Jiang Tianming as well. And this time, Chen Wei deliberately did not put the phone back into her handbag immediately. Instead, he held it in his hand for a while. Only after making sure that the phone didn't ring again did Chen Wei put it back into her bag. As soon as I put it back, the phone rang again. Chen Wei was so exhausted that she felt numb. What's going on today? Why are these news coming one after another, all at this time? She took out her cell phone again in frustration. This time the message was sent by Zhang Wanwan. This made Chen Wei take a closer look. Zhang Wanwan, I will not be at the base tonight, so you don't have to prepare food for me. Also, this is an opportunity for you and Feng Zi, you have to seize it. Chen Wei raised her eyebrows. After laughing twice, he blocked Zhang Wanwan as well. From now on, Zhang Wanwan is no longer of any use to her. Putting the phone away, Chen Wei reached out to knock on the door again. But this time she waited for several minutes longer. Just waiting to see if the phone will ring again. 3 minutes passed and the phone didn't ring. Chen Wei felt relieved and finally reached out and knocked on the door. Until then, Chen Wei's cell phone finally rang again. Chen Wei, who was almost annoyed, frowned and turned off her phone without even checking who the message was from. At Fu Yan's home. Because something big was going to happen tonight. Guan Heng and Fu Yan were sitting together, scrolling through their phones while waiting for good news from Chen Wei. As Guan Heng was scrolling, he saw a reminder for the show to start pop up on his phone. Ding, the show Zhang Wanwan you follow has started. Click to enter the live broadcast room. Guan Heng was stunned. Zhang Wanwan is live streaming? Didn't Chen Wei say that Zhang Wanwan will not be at the base tonight? Is she broadcasting live herself outside the base? Thinking about this, Guan Heng clicked into the live broadcast room. But the scene in the live broadcast room made Guan Heng's heart tremble. Isn't this Shen Feng in Zhang Wanwan's room? Didn't Zhang Wanwan say she wasn't at the base? What's going on? What was shown in the live broadcast room at this time was the room where Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan were in the training base. And judging from the perspective of the live broadcast room, Zhang Wanwan's phone should be placed in a relatively hidden corner that is not easy to be discovered, but has a good view. There was no one in the room now. Just a table full of dinner. Exquisite dishes were placed on the small dining table. A few candles were burning quietly, bringing a romantic glow to the slightly dim room. Fu Yan also came over at this moment, took a look at Guan Heng's phone, and then asked, "What is this? What are you looking at?" Zhang Wanwan's live broadcast. Zhang Wanwan's live broadcast? Isn't she no longer in the base? I don't know either. Guan Heng had such an ominous premonition in his heart that his voice was trembling even as he spoke. He swallowed and suddenly looked at the title of the live broadcast room. When he saw this, Guan Heng's heart skipped a beat. Simple fishing. Fishing? Who is the fish? When there was a knock on the door in the live broadcast room, Guan Heng understood who you was. This is a trap, arguing Chen Wei. Guan Heng hurriedly called Chen Wei, trying to remind her not to go in. But there was only a cold reminder tone on the other end of the phone. "Sorry, the number you dialed is powered off, please try again later." Guan Heng leaned weakly on the sofa. At this time, Fu Yan still hadn't figured out what was going on. He frowned and snatched the phone from Guan Heng's hand. And I reopened the live broadcast room and started watching. The other side. Chen Wei knocked on the door several times but received no response. But she found that the door didn't seem to be closed tightly. She gently reached out and pushed the door open, and what she saw was the empty room and a table full of exquisite candlelight dinner. A hint of surprise appeared on Chen Wei's face. No wonder Shen Feng was able to pursue Zhang Wanwan. Although Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan are no longer on good terms, it seems that Shen Feng still has some romantic feelings. Thinking of this, Chen Wei walked into Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan's room. Also walked into the live broadcast room. Chapter 240. It's like seeing a ghost. What's going on? Wanwan started broadcasting? Just fishing? When I saw the title, I thought Wan Ji and Feng Zi really went out fishing. But why do they seem to be in their room now? As soon as Zhang Wanwan's live broadcast room started, a lot of fans flocked into the room. These fans saw that the name of the live broadcast room was fishing. But when they clicked in, not only did they not see any fish or water, they didn't even see Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. I'm so awesome. Am I a fish? So it's too lure in the audience, right? Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, enough is enough. You treated the audience like dogs before and fed them dog food. And now you treat us like fish. I am angry now. I will stop being your fans for a second. 1 second has passed. Woo oh 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 Feng Zi and Wanwan. Where are you guys? Hurry up and show up. Many viewers thought the fish was themselves and started to make fun of it. And just when the live broadcast room was becoming more and more lively, in the originally quiet live broadcast room, there was a knock on the door. The knock on the door wasn't loud, but the room was too quiet. So the sound of knocking on the door seemed particularly abrupt. The audience who were posting comments and making memes were obviously calmer. They were all staring at the screen, wanting to see what would happen next. And they saw the door being quietly pushed open. A woman in a burgundy dress and with a nice figure pushed the door open and walked in. Isn't this Chen Wei? What a great figure. This is the first time I've seen Chen Wei dressed like this. Don't you know she's a model? Go search for magazines she shot in the past. Some are even hotter than this. But why is she dressed so beautifully and coming to Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan's room? I don't know. Is it because their studio is having a team building and they want to treat Chen Wei to a meal? You invited your employees to a candlelight dinner for team building. And it was for 2 people? When the audience saw Chen Wei come in, they started talking again. Some people are discussing Chen Wei's figure and appearance. Some people were wondering what Chen Wei was trying to do by coming here dressed like that. Chen Wei in the picture has already walked towards the dining table where the candlelight dinner is being served. As she walked, Chen Wei looked around. She was very curious as to why she couldn't see Shen Feng. Walking to the dining table, Chen Wei discovered that in addition to dinner, there seemed to be a small card on the table. There was a line of words written on the card. I have something to do outside, please wait for a moment when you come. The handwriting is very beautiful. Chen Wei rubbed the card in her hand. But her eyes involuntarily glanced at the prepared food and drinks on the table. The corners of her lips curled up slightly, and there was a hint of pride in her eyes. God really helps her. Chen Wei actually made a special plan this afternoon. I also made a memo on my phone. The content is roughly about how to get Shen Feng. Since Chen Wei came to the show for a purpose, she packed some special medicines in her luggage. She had written down in her plan how to use these drugs without anyone noticing, how to trick Shen Feng into bed, and how to use a camera to record it all quietly. But now, Chen Wei found that her plan seemed useless, because Shen Shen took the initiative to provide her with an excellent opportunity to commit a crime. Now that Shen Feng is not around, she can drug people and place cameras at will without worrying about being discovered. The day's luck is so good that it's perfect. Chen Wei murmured. A smile appeared on her lips. She reached into her handbag and took out a small paper bag. Then he opened the paper bag and poured the contents into one of the 2 glasses of red wine on the dining table and shook it evenly. After putting the cup away, Chen Wei walked to the bed again. She took out an inconspicuous-looking card camera from her handbag, started recording, and placed it where she could capture the bed. After repeatedly confirming that there was nothing wrong with the arrangement, Chen Wei elegantly sat down next to the glass of red wine without the drug, waiting for Shen Feng to arrive. What Chen Wei didn't know was, her actions were all recorded by the mobile phone camera in the corner, and now the live broadcast room is in an uproar. What's going on? What is Chen Wei doing? Did she just put drugs in the red wine glass? There is still a camera on the bedside that should be a camera. Am I seeing things? Wait a minute, my brain is a bit out of focus. Are Feng Zi and Wan planning to film a sitcom? Is there a script? This can't be true. The live broadcast has been going on for a while now, and there are many more people in the room than before. Tens of thousands of people simultaneously saw Chen Wei putting drugs in the red wine and placing a camera on the bedside table. Some people are wondering if they have seen it wrong. Some people wondered if they were filming a play or acting out a script. Of course, more people are thinking about the same thing. This can't be true, can it? And anyone contact Feng Zi and Wan? Ask them what's going on. If this is acting, it's fine. But if this is real, something bad will happen soon. I have sent private messages to Wan and Feng Zi. And also to Zhang Tianming. I don't know if they can see it. If you ask me, you are just too nervous. This must be fake. Didn't you see the title of the live broadcast? I'm just fishing for a bunch of stupid fat-eat fish? Yes, look at the angle of view in this live broadcast room. It is obviously staged, it is definitely not real, that's why I am worried. While the audience in the live broadcast room were still arguing with each other and discussing the issue, the door of the room was pushed open again. Chen Wei originally thought that since she had nothing to do while waiting for Shen Feng, she wanted to open her phone and check Weibo. But before I could turn on my phone, the door opened. Chen Wei didn't turn on her phone again, but stood up and looked towards the door of the room. And Shen Feng pushed the door open and walked in, wearing an apron and holding a tray in his hand. Sorry for the wait. Shen Feng nodded at Chen Wei, then took the plate and placed it on the candlelight dinner table. Chen Wei looked over and saw a piece of lamb leg that looked very appetizing. Even Chen Wei couldn't help swallowing when she saw it. However, she still said to Shen Feng with a shy look on her face, "Boss, I'm really sorry to bother you." Shen Feng smiled and responded, "What's the trouble? Since you said you want me to treat you, of course I have to treat you." Chen Wei was stunned. She really wanted to say, "Didn't you ask me to come over for dinner tonight? When did it become my turn to ask you to treat me?" However, Chen Wei, who prides herself on having high emotional intelligence, thinks that this might just be a slip of the tongue by Shen Feng. Some men would feel embarrassed if a woman corrected a man when he said something wrong. Chen Wei didn't know whether Shen Feng could be considered somewhat manly. But to be on the safe side, she chose not to correct Shen Feng's slip of the tongue. She just said with a smile on her face, "The boss's cooking skills are really good. Just looking at this dinner makes me salivate. It would be great if I could eat the boss's cooking every day in the future." Chen Wei's words were both explicit and subtle. On the surface it sounds like just a compliment from the heart, but in fact it is a confession. Chen Wei had already planned it out in the plan she made in the afternoon. Since she had put on such heavy makeup and wore such charming clothes tonight, she had to take the initiative to launch the attack. Try to capture Shen Feng as soon as possible to avoid any more trouble. Thinking of this, Chen Wei picked up the wine glass in front of her, and then picked up the glass of added ingredients red wine in front of Shen Feng. He handed the red wine to Shen Feng's lips and said softly, "Boss, how about we have a drink first?" Shen Sheng took the wine glass with a smile, took a few sips of the red wine in the glass, and then said, "Such a good red wine should be savored slowly, it would be a pity to drink it all up. Come, sit down first, we'll eat, drink and talk." Shen Feng said this and put down his wine glass. And he stood up and helped Chen Wei back to her seat. Moreover, his hands openly rubbed Chen Wei's waist and buttocks twice. Chen Wei looked at Shen Feng with 3 parts cocoousness, 3 parts shyness, and 4 parts resentment. But I was secretly delighted in my heart. This Shen Feng usually pretends to be very serious, but I didn't expect him to be so dishonest. If I had known his personality earlier, maybe I wouldn't have needed to drug him. Shen Feng's action of touching Chen Wei's butt was also captured by the mobile phone hidden in the corner. Seeing this scene, countless viewers were about to collapse. "Oh my god, someone tell me this is fake. My Feng Zi can't possibly be like this. Feng Zi is not going to cheat on me, is she? How is that possible? Feng Zi is definitely not that kind of person. Wan Ji, what are you doing now? Come out quickly, your house is about to be robbed." Damn, I didn't expect Shen Feng to be such a disgusting person. He's addicted, damn it. Fuck it, just pretend I was blind before. Some people even planned to post on Weibo to curse Shen Sheng and expose the true face of the hypocrite Shen Feng. But just when everyone in the live broadcast room was excited, The barrage of comments suddenly popped up very conspicuously. Chen Feng, just watch the fishing and don't make any noise. The audience, who had been crying and shouting, or cursing before, were all dumbfounded. I could all see that the Chen Feng who posted the barrage was the real Chen Feng who had been verified with a VED. But this is also what makes them feel most confused. Isn't Chen Feng currently on the live broadcast screen and has just touched Chen Wei's butt? Who posted this barrage? Is there a Fruit 13 built into Chen Wei's butt? Can you send comments by just touching it? Is this really reasonable? All the audience looked at the screen in shock, where Chen Feng was sitting and having dinner with Chen Wei. It's like seeing a ghost. Chapter 241. The person who asked you out was Chen Feng. What does it have to do with me? When the audience was confused. Chen Feng and Chen Wei have already sat down to eat. Chen Wei ate the exquisite candlelight dinner with dignity. Although it was so delicious that she couldn't help but want to finish the plate, she still pretended to be elegant and ate slowly. On the other hand, Chen Feng, the speed of eating is a bit scary. When Chen Wei just cut the steak on the plate, Shen Cheng had already finished the whole steak. And the way he eats isn't that bad actually. Even though Chen Wei was watching with her own eyes, she still couldn't understand how Chen Feng could eat at such a fast pace and yet not look at all like a wolf. Just when Chen Wei was surprised at Chen Feng's eating speed. After finishing his steak, Chen Feng had already extended his knife and fork to the lamb leg on the table. After cutting off a piece of meat, Chen Feng stuck the meat on a fork and asked Chen Wei, "You want to eat?" Looking at the perfectly presented piece of lamb leg cut by Chen Feng, Chen Wei swallowed lightly. Then she smiled charmingly and shyly, leaned forward and opened her little mouth. She knew that Shen Cheng was going to feed her. Then, she saw Shen Feng eat the piece of meat himself. Chen Wei, leaning forward with her mouth open, was embarrassed for a moment. But Shen Cheng looked at her incomprehensibly. "Why, is there something you want to get that you can treat?" "Oh, no." Chen Wei quickly sat down, smoothed her hair, and said softly, "I." Her tone deliberately sounded aggrieved and coquettish. Based on her many years of experience in attracting rich men, she knew that speaking like this was the best way to make men fall in love with her. As a result, Chen Feng looked at her in surprise. "How old are you? Do you still need to be fed?" Chen Wei. The expression on Chen Wei's face froze again. No wonder Zhang Wanwan said before that she couldn't live with Shen Feng anymore. Fortunately, she had seen Shen Feng preparing this candlelight dinner before and thought Shen Feng was quite romantic. Now that she had been in close contact with Shen Feng for a while, Chen Wei finally understood that this guy was a straight man who was both greedy and lustful. Chen Wei took a sip of red wine to hide her embarrassment. Then Shen Feng picked up the wine glass and said, "Why are you drinking alone and not inviting me to join you?" "Excuse me, boss, I toast to you." Chen Wei had no choice but to pick up the wine glass again and want to clink glasses with Shen Feng. Shen Cheng did not pick up the wine glass, but said while eating, "This lamb leg I made must be eaten while it is hot. It will not taste good if it gets cold." It's strange to say, but Shen Cheng was chewing and talking at the same time. And his voice was not vague at all. Could it be that Shen Feng has practiced it specifically? Although she was a little confused, Chen Wei still put down her wine glass and followed Shen Feng's instructions, planning to cut the lamb leg first. But when she was about to put her knife and fork on the lamb leg, Shen Feng stopped her again. "Wait a minute, you can't cut this piece." "Why? This leg of lamb is made in the Eskimo way. In Eskimo culture, this part of the lamb leg is used as a sacrifice to the gods." Chen Wei had no choice but to cut another part. But Shen Feng stopped her again. "You can't cut this one either. Is this also a sacrifice to heaven? This is for ancestor worship. If a living person eats it, it will bring bad luck." Chen Wei turned around and started to cut another piece. "This piece won't work either. This piece is for offering sacrifices to the kitchen god." Shen Feng quickly stopped Chen Wei. Chen Wei was confused. Do Eskimos have a kitchen god? Of course not. Eskimos have to cook too. Shen Feng's point makes sense. Chen Wei had no choice but to look at Shen Feng and ask, "Then which piece can I cut?" Shen Feng took out a knife and fork and cut off a large piece of meat from the lamb leg. Chen Wei's eyes lit up. "This piece looks cooked to the right degree and should taste good too." She picked up the plate and waited for Shen Feng to put the meat on her plate while she said, "Thank you, old." She hasn't finished her words yet. Shen Cheng put the piece of meat into his plate. Then he started eating. Not to mention Chen Wei, the audience in the Leap broadcast room were almost stunned. Although I don't know whether this Shen Feng is real or fake, this wicked spirit is indeed quite similar to Shen Feng. When I saw Chen Wei, I seemed to see the former Xiao Jia. I don't care who this Shen Feng is, I just want to know where the Eskimos got their sheep from. Raising sheep in the ice and snow? What made Chen Wei tremble with anger the most was that Shen Feng did not forget to introduce it to her while eating. A roasted lamb leg of the Eskimos is a must-eat dish during the Spring Festival. Most of the lamb leg is used for sacrifice, and only this part can be eaten by humans. This piece of meat tastes the best, with soft and tender meat and excellent taste. In foreign countries, such an authentic old Eskimo lamb leg can be sold for thousands of dollars. I'm here to have a candlelight dinner with you, not to listen to you talk about Eskimo on the tip of your tongue. Chen Wei really wanted to complain like this, but she still held back. No matter how delicious the food Shen Feng cooked, she had no appetite to eat it now. She just wanted to quickly establish her relationship with Shen Feng and go to bed and have some sleep. She really didn't want to have any more small talk with this straight guy. I took a deep breath and calmed myself down. Chen Wei looked at Shen Feng, chuckled and said, "Boss, well, I'm almost done eating." Shen Feng responded and continued to eat the lamb leg. "I'm not full yet, wait a minute." Chen Wei rubbed her face and tried her best to put on a charming smile. He rubbed Shen Feng's legs with his legs and whispered, "Then, boss, do you want to eat me? I've never eaten a human before. How well done is usually appropriate." Chen Wei felt that if she carried quick-acting heart pills with her, she could take a bottle in one go. It was clearly this guy who called her to ask her to come. Why is he acting like an idiot now? How did this guy become so popular in variety shows before? What a good script the director wrote for him. Since the soft approach didn't work, Chen Wei decided to use a hard approach. She simply stood up, leaned against Shen Feng, and whispered in Shen Feng's ear, "Boss, let's stop joking, okay? I actually have always liked you." When Chen Wei approached Shen Feng, she could also smell the scent of women's perfume on Shen Feng. Chen Wei couldn't help but frown again. The grown man actually sprays women's perfume. "Did you steal Zhang Wanwan's perfume?" After Chen Wei said this, Shen Feng finally put down the knife and fork in his hand. However, he did not speak immediately. Instead, he distanced himself from Chen Wei and said, "I didn't expect you to be so anxious. But it's strange. I feel a little hot now, so why don't we just..." Chen Wei knew that this was probably the effect of the medicine. She curled her lips slightly, walked to the bed, and was about to undress. But at this moment, Shen Feng suddenly walked to the bedside and picked up the card camera that Chen Wei had placed. "I didn't expect you to have this hobby of taking photos while playing, but I don't really like it." Chen Wei's heart skipped a beat. She didn't expect that Shen Feng would find the card camera she placed so easily. But she soon began to comfort herself. "It's okay, the effect of the medicine on Shen Feng is about to take effect now. Shen Feng will be unconscious soon, then she can take pictures of him however she wants. Right?" Thinking of this, Chen Wei forced a smile and wanted to defend herself and delay time until the effect of Shen Feng's medicine took effect. Before she could even open her mouth, Shen Feng suddenly asked, "Are you trying to stall for time and wait for the effect of my medicine to take effect?" Shen Feng's words made Chen Wei's pupils shrink. How could he know? Chen Wei looked at Shen Feng in astonishment, but Shen Feng started laughing. "Don't be surprised, why know this also, you'd better not wait for the medicine to take effect. Because the package of medicine you prepared is with me." Shen Feng took out a paper bag from his pocket, which was exactly the same as the paper bag containing medicine that Chen Wei had taken out of her handbag before. "How is that possible? Then the package I put there before. I discovered your plan to drug you from your phone when you were training this afternoon. So I found your drugs in advance and replaced them with white sugar," Chen Feng said. "So don't wait for my medicine to take effect. After all, I don't have diabetes." Chen Wei's face had turned pale. Shen Chen changed her medicine in the afternoon? Then wouldn't her plan have been exposed long ago? Looking at Chen Wei lying on the bed at a loss, Shen Feng moved the chair and sat in front of Chen Wei. He crossed his legs, looked at Chen Wei and said, "You want to drug me and take secret photos of me? You are really brave. Let me tell you this, if this matter gets out, not only will you be held legally responsible, but you will also have to pay a huge amount of liquidated damages for causing a negative impact on the studio and violating the contract. So, are you ready to lose money? If you're ready, I'm going to call the police." As he spoke, Shen Feng seemed to be about to take out his cell phone. Shocked, Chen Wei hurriedly shouted, Don't call the police. I haven't accomplished anything. Can you give me another chance? And it was you who called me first to make the appointment. I am responsible for this matter. Don't you have any responsibility? If it really gets out, it will not be good for either of us." When Shen Feng heard this, he suddenly laughed. "I asked you out? When did I ask you out? The person who asked you out was Shen Feng. What does that have to do with me?" As he spoke, he turned on the light in the room. When the light in the room became brighter, Chen Wei almost collapsed when she looked at Shen Feng again. The room was dimly lit only by candlelight. Therefore, Chen Wei could only vaguely see the general appearance of the Shen Feng in front of her from beginning to end. But now that the lights were on, Chen Wei could see clearly that the Shen Feng in front of her was actually just wearing makeup that looked like Shen Feng. It was hard to see in dim light, but now Chen Wei could tell that this face. It's Zhang Wanwan. Chapter 240. She's finished. How is this possible? Even though the room was too dark before and I didn't see your face clearly. What's wrong with your voice? Chen Wei is beginning to doubt her life. How can a woman pretend to be a man so well? Especially the sound. Zhang Wanwan's voice just now was exactly the same as Shen Feng's. Even if Zhang Wanwan could fake her voice, it was impossible for her to imitate it so closely. Zhang Wanwan shrugged and said in her own voice, "Do you know why we are preparing a candlelight dinner? It's not because a candlelight dinner is romantic, but because the light is dim enough to confuse your eyes. It can make you unable to see the makeup I put on. And it can also make you unable to see the mismatch between my voice and lip movements." As Zhang Wanwan spoke, she took out a button-type speaker specially used by the program team from her collar. And Shen Feng's voice was also heard from inside. "Hello, Miss Chen." From the beginning to the end, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan were just playing a double act. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan know each other well enough. And Zhang Wanwan has superb acting skills, so her imitation of Shen Feng is very similar. In addition, the light was dim, so even if there was an error, it would be difficult for Chen Wei to detect it. In fact, Shen Feng's original plan was not that troublesome at all. He just wanted to lure Chen Wei out by himself. As a result, Zhang Wanwan, the jealous little girl, strongly opposed Shen Feng having a candlelight dinner with another woman, and finally came up with this bad idea. Chen Wei covered her head. She finally understood that this was a complete trap, but she had already lost when she answered that call at noon. No, that's not right. Chen Wei suddenly remembered how Zhang Wanwan, Li Yuyan and Jiang Tianming had helped her to pursue Shen Feng. Now that I think about it, all that help must have been fake. She was exposed a long time ago. She was like a clown, having been fooled by this group of people for a long time without realizing it. Chen Wei's eyes turned red. She felt so wronged that she wanted to cry. Zhang Wanwan walked to Chen Wei and patted her on the shoulder. "Don't be too sad. I know you definitely didn't want to seduce Feng Zi on your own. Someone instructed you to do this, right? Tell us who that person is. And we will go after that person. As for you, we won't hold you responsible." Zhang Wanwan's smile was very gentle. Looking at the face that looks a bit like Shen Feng and a bit like Zhang Wanwan, Chen Wei swallowed trembling lie. He asked in a low voice, "You really won't hold me responsible?" "Of course not. Only you, me and Shen Feng know that you wanted to harm Shen Feng today. No one else knows, so as long as you listen to me, I will definitely let you go." Zhang Wanwan's expression was very sincere when she said this. Chen Wei believed it. She rubbed her eyes, sat up on the bed, and then said honestly, They gave me money to seduce Shen Feng, break you up, and create a scandal. Because you have been marketing your CP image all along. As long as one of you cheats, your image will collapse and you will be completely forgotten." Zhang Wanwan nodded and asked, "Do you have evidence to prove that they instructed you to do this? Words are not enough. We can't just rely on your one-sided words to accuse a good person." "Yes, we signed a contract. The copy of the contract is in my suitcase. I can take it out." Since he had been exposed, the mission would definitely not be completed. So Chen Wei felt that it would be better for me to die than for my fellow Taoists to die. If she could avoid being held accountable by throwing Fu Yan out, then of course she would choose to sell Fu Yan out to save herself. After listening to Chen Wei's words, Zhang Wanwan said softly, Okay, since you are so honest, I will not hold you responsible. There is nothing for you to do here, so go back first. Remember to have a good dream tonight." Chen Wei nodded trembling lie, and hurriedly got out of bed, tidied her clothes, and left Shen Feng in Zhang Wanwan's room with her handbag. She ran all the way back to her dorm because her previous roommate was eliminated and now she lived alone. After returning to the room, Chen Wei on the bed to relax for a long time before she took out her cell phone trembling lie, wanting to call her relatives to tell them that she would withdraw from the competition and go home tomorrow. But the moment her phone turned on again, a flood of messages, text messages, WeChat messages, and missed calls flooded her phone screen. The incessant notification sounds made Chen Wei almost unable to hold her phone. And at this moment, another phone call came in. Chen Wei is very familiar with this number. It belongs to Guan Heng. Feeling guilty, Chen Wei swallowed her saliva, and finally hung up the phone and blocked Guan Heng's number. Anyway, she had already betrayed Fu Yan and Guan Heng, so there was no need to contact them again. However, just as she blocked Guan Heng, Chen Wei received another call. This is the number of a sister with whom she has a very good relationship. Chen Wei's fingers trembled slightly. Looking at so many messages and so many missed calls, she had a bad feeling in her heart. Finally, she answered the phone. "Hey, you, what's wrong?" Chen Wei asked in a low voice. On the other end of the phone, Chen Wei's sister's voice was excited. "What's wrong? Don't you know what happened? You're done. You were deceived by Jiang Wanwan. Now the whole internet knows that you drugged Shen Feng and wanted to secretly film him and finally betray Fu Yan. What? Chen Wei suddenly sat up from the bed. Jiang Wanwan clearly promised me that she would not hold me responsible. She didn't pursue it. Chen Wei's sister's voice was about to collapse. Because before you entered their room, she had already started a live broadcast, broadcasting your every move after entering the room to the entire network. Go check Weibo, you've already topped the trending search list. Everyone is scolding you, you're done. Chen Wei hung up the phone numbly and opened Weibo. After taking a few glances, she lay back on the bed numbly. She no longer knew what to say or do. She just knew that her sister was right. She's finished. Chapter 243. There is a technical problem that needs to be solved urgently. The uproar caused by Chen Wei's incident was quite big. Because this matter not only involves Chen Wei, a little star who has recently gained some fame. Most importantly, this incident also implicated two popular stars, Shen Feng and Jiang Wanwan, as well as Fu Yan, a top star who has disappeared for more than a month but is undoubtedly still very influential. Fu Yan and Shen Feng Jiang Wanwan are not on good terms. And everyone actually knows about this. After all, Fu Yan had competed with Shen Feng and Jiang Wanwan in shooting a jewelry commercial before. And in the end he was pinned to the ground and rubbed by the Quan Suo couple. It was after that incident that Fu Yan gradually began to disappear. Many people said that Fu Yan was scared by Shen Feng and Jiang Wanwan and became inferior. But Fu Yan's fans insisted that their brother would not be frustrated by such a small matter and must be busy with something important. And now, everyone knew that Fu Yan was busy with something important. Busy framing Shen Feng and Jiang Wanwan. It can be said that after the live broadcast ended, people all over the internet, whether they paid attention to the entertainment industry or not, started discussing this matter. Top stars pay people to frame and discredit their competitors on a moral level. The impact behind this is too bad. Fu Yan's crazy fans are trying their best to speak up for him. Our brother is not that kind of person. Besides, Shen Feng and Jiang Wanwan are still not as popular as our brother. Are they worthy of our brother using such means to deal with them? That's right, I think these two people wanted to take advantage of our brother's popularity and hired someone to direct and perform this drama. Disgusting. I am a pure passerby, not a fan of either party, but I think Mr. Fu Yan is very popular and well known. At least I have never heard of Shen Feng and Jiang Wanwan. But I have heard of Mr. Fu Yan, so from an objective point of view, I don't think Mr. Fu Yan would do such a thing. Love him, trust him, wait for him, and be the best brother to protect the world. If it hadn't happened today, the fighting power of these crazy fans of Fu Yan is still very strong, and almost no fans of any celebrity can match them. But after what happened today, the entire network started targeting Fu Yan, especially those celebrities who already had a bad relationship with Fu Yan, also took this opportunity to add insult to injury. Fu Yan's fans were overwhelmed by so many enemies, until Fu Yan posted a Weibo. Fu Yan, in response to various false information on the internet, I have sent a lawyer's letter to Weibo and the marketing account suspected of defamation. I hereby clarify that I do not know Chen Wei, have never signed any contract with her, and have never instructed her to do anything illegal. Regarding this matter, I and my agency will conduct further investigations, and I hope netizens will be patient. Picture. At the end of the Weibo post, Fu Yan posted a photo of the lawyer's letter. Once this Weibo post came out, it was like a shot in the arm for Fu Yan's fans. Fu Yan's fans all became excited again and started to use this lawyer's letter to fight back against those who criticized Fu Yan. Did you see that? Our brother has sent a lawyer's letter. If you dare to speak nonsense again, you will be held responsible. That's right, the lawyer's letter is right here. Can't you see it? Our brother is innocent. Apologize to my brother. Many netizens actually don't quite understand what a lawyer's letter is. However, when they hear high-sounding words like lawyer and letter, they subconsciously think that this thing should be very formal and have legal effect. For a moment, many netizens really thought that Fu Yan might be innocent. As a result, it hadn't been long since the lawyer's letter was sent out. A screenshot was posted on Weibo. The content of the screenshot is the chat record between Chen Wei and Guanheng. And the content is roughly Guanheng explaining some task requirements to Chen Wei. It was clearly written in it that Guanheng asked Chen Wei to seduce Shen Feng. Afterwards, another genuine lawyer stood up and stated that a lawyer's letter is just an act of the client entrusting the lawyer to act as an agent. It only has a declarative function and does not represent the court's recognition. In other words, anyone can send a lawyer's letter as long as they can hire a lawyer. It cannot prove that Fu Yan is innocent and that others are slandering him. Now, those who didn't dare to criticize Fu Yan have the confidence again. At this time, Fu Yan slumped on his sofa, scrolling through his phone. Red bloodshot eyes. When he saw the screenshot of the WeChat record between Guanheng and Chen Wei, Fu Yan suddenly stood up. He rushed to Guan Heng, pushed him down on the sofa, and yelled, "You're fucking betraying me, aren't you? You're crazy." Guan Heng was startled by this sudden move, but quickly pushed Fu Yan away. He rubbed his neck, glared at Fu Yan and said, "We are on the same boat. Think about it with your conscience. When have I ever done anything to let you down? I've also seen this screenshot. It's indeed a screenshot from my phone. But it was definitely not sent by me. Besides, if I send a screenshot of my communication with Chen Wei, wouldn't I be doomed too? Can't you use your brain to think about it?" Normally, Guan Heng would never speak to Fu Yan in such a harsh voice. But now, both he and Fu Yan were feeling a bit abnormal. Guan Heng himself was also very surprised when he saw the screenshot. It was true that the screenshot was the real chat record between him and Chen Wei, but he had never taken a screenshot like that. Who made this picture and how? After pushing Fu Yan away, Guan Heng held his head with his hands and began to think. Fu Yan stood beside Guan Heng, looking up and taking a deep breath. Half a day later, Guan Heng suddenly picked up his mobile phone, hesitated for a moment, and entered a number. Fu Yan looked down at him, calmed down as much as possible, and asked, "Who do you want to call?" "Chen Feng." Upon hearing this, Fu Yan snatched Guan Heng's phone away and said, "Are you crazy? Why are you calling him? Are you trying to give in to him?" Guan Heng frowned. "I'm not crazy, that's why I want to call him. This screenshot is indeed a screenshot of my phone's screen. It is very likely that Shen Feng hired a hacker to hack into my phone. If that's the case, Shen Feng will definitely be able to find other things in my phone, especially the electronic version of the contract you signed with Chen Wei." Guan Heng sighed in despair. "If Shen Feng releases this thing, all your explanations will become pale. All we have to do now is to find Shen Feng and discuss a private settlement with him. Then we can try to push the blame onto some other celebrity and say that the other celebrity wanted to harm both you and Shen Sheng at the same time. If Shen Feng wants money, we will give him the money. If he wants an apology, we will apologize to him as long as he is willing to let us go. You can continue to be a star. But if you insist on not looking for Shen Feng and let the incident ferment, not only will you not be able to become a star, you may even end up in jail." Guan Heng still saw it very clearly. At this point, or in other words, from the moment the live broadcast began, Guan Heng understood that he and Fu Yan were no match for Shen Feng. They can't deal with such an enemy, and the only thing they can do now is to try their best to turn the enemy into a friend. Fu Yan was silent for a long time. Finally, the phone was returned to Guan Heng. Guan Heng then dialed Shen Feng's cell phone number again. The call was answered quickly. "Hello, Brother Shen. I'm Guan Heng, Fu Yan's agent." Guan Heng said as humbly as possible. Shen Feng hummed, and asked calmly, "What's the matter?" "It's about that thing on the internet. Now if Fu Yan and I would like to apologize to you first. We are really sorry, we were bewildered. So, can we settle this privately? Whether you want money or resources in the entertainment industry, we are willing to give it to you." When Shen Feng heard this, he suddenly laughed. "So good? Sure, let's do it privately." Guan Heng's face lit up with joy. He didn't expect that Shen Feng would agree so readily. But before Guan Heng could be happy for a few seconds, he heard Shen Feng exclaim, in surprise. Then, Shen Sheng said helplessly, "Although I also want to settle it privately, it seems that there is a technical problem that needs to be solved urgently." "What's the problem?" I can help you," Guan Heng said quickly. But Shen Feng's next sentence made Guan Heng dumbfounded. "I forgot that Brother Wan was still live streaming next to me. And I was on speakerphone when I answered your call. So now all the viewers in the live streaming room heard your conversation with me. If you say so, can we still be private?" Chapter 244. I forgot the second half of the sentence. What is a solid hammer? This is called a solid hammer. After Guan Heng finished the call, the entire process was broadcast led by Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. The evidence of Fu Yan and his agent Guan Heng's actions against Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan is irrefutable. Even many of Fu Yan's fans were speechless at this moment. Only a few particularly determined fans still insisted that Fu Yan was innocent and that the phone call must have been a fake act staged by Shen Feng. However, these particularly loyal fans basically disappeared after midnight. It seems that their parents have taken their cell phones away, and they are forced to go to bed. Anyone who is rational and mature, regardless of whether they were Fu Yan's fans before, now understands it. Fu Yan really did something wrong this time, and it really is over. The next day, Youth Group announced that it would stop broadcasting for one day. That afternoon, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan officially released on Weibo lawyer's letter certified by the court, as well as a written document on the police filing a case regarding Fu Yan and Chen Wei. In fact, many netizens understand that even if this matter is reported to the court and a verdict is made, Fu Yan may not be considered to have committed any serious crime. However, Fu Yan's reputation is completely ruined no matter what. He will never be able to return to the entertainment industry, and the title of top star will never appear on him again. Fu Yan was already confused to the core of the earth. Netizens who didn't like Fu Yan in the first place were now eager to pop champagne to celebrate on Weibo. Netizens who used to be fans of Fu Yan were deleting Weibo posts and photos about Fu Yan, expressing regret and demotion. And some of the brainless fans who are still supporting Fu Yan, they may still be in school now and have no time to support their brother. In addition to the lawyer's letter, the official Weibo account of Wan Fenglan Studio also announced the cancellation of cooperation with Chen Wei and announced that Chen Wei would withdraw from the recording of Youth Group. Sister Lin was responsible for all of this. At this time, Chen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, they are eating hot pot. Authentic Sichuan beef hot pot. Also eating around the table were Li Yuya, Zhang Tianming, Li Tingting, Jia Ten and a few others. Congratulations, Brother Shen, you have solved a major problem. Jia Tenon picked up the wine glass and toasted Shen Feng first. Shen Feng smiled and raised the cup, then said, "Who do you think is the biggest threat? Chen Wei or Fu Yan?" "Of course it's Fu Yan," Jia Nan chuckled. "Although you two have been very popular recently and Fu Yan has disappeared for a long time. In the final analysis, most netizens still think that Fu Yan is more famous than you two. But it's different now that Fu Yan is gone. You two will be the big brothers and big sisters in the entertainment industry. The next generation of top stars." Jiat Nan was still very happy for Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan on the side shook her head and said, "It's not that easy to be a top star. And Fine Fengzi doesn't have any works to show for himself. So many netizens don't recognize his current fame. Hey, do you have any plans to make a TV series or movie now? Someone should have approached you, right?" Li Tingting asked curiously. The acting skills that Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan demonstrated in previous jewelry commercials, and their current popularity, it is impossible that no one would ask them to film a movie or TV series. "Yes, there are, but I turned them all down," Shen Feng said. "Why?" "Because we have plans to shoot a drama, but it hasn't been finalized yet. Before that drama is finished, we probably won't take on other dramas." What Shen Feng was referring to was, of course, the movie that Zhang Wanwan's principal Wang Shenxuan wanted to make. This is Song Xian's last script, and neither Shen Feng nor Zhang Wanwan wants it to be forgotten. But it is not easy to plan and prepare to shoot a movie from scratch. We have to wait for Wang Shenxuan's notification as to when we can start shooting. Li Tingting and Jia Ten and are also people in the circle. When they heard Shen Feng say that it had not been finalized yet, they knew that this matter was probably in trouble. But Jay Yatnam did not ask any further questions. Several people were eating hot pot. Zhang Wanwan was eating the meat when she suddenly asked, "Have you ever heard of hot pot fortune telling? It seems to have become popular in the island countries. It is said that by the floating state of the ingredients in the hot pot, various fortunes can be calculated. For example, if I put fish balls, potato slices, meat slices and hot pot noodles in a bowl, if the fish balls float up first, it means the fish balls are cooked." Shen Feng said. Zhang Wanwan rolled her eyes at Shen Feng. Then he said, "If the fish ball floats up first, it means that today's luck will be good. If the potatoes float up first, it seems to mean that today will be a bad day or something." Liu Ya became interested and put a piece of potato and a fishball into the pot. Everyone gathered around to watch, and after a while, the fishballs really floated up first. Liu Ya chuckled. "It seems that my luck is pretty good." Li Tingting is also a little girl and is quite interested in things like fortune. So she followed Liu Ya's example and added 2 ingredients. Sure enough, the fishballs floated up first. Afterwards, Shen Feng, Zhang Wanwan, and Zhang Tianming all tried it. It seems that the fishballs float up first. Dayatnam, the only one who didn't try it, couldn't help but say, "What kind of fortune telling is this? The fishballs here must be well cooked. So the fishballs will definitely float up first." Jayatnam said as he also threw a fishball and a piece of potato into the pot. Not long after, I saw the potato chips float up first. Jayatnam silently pressed the potato slices back with his chopsticks, and the potato chips broke in half again and floated up. Jayatnam wordlessly scooped the potatoes into his own bowl. "Who said the fishballs would float up?" Li Tingting looked at Jayatnam with a playful look. Jayatnam coughed lightly and fished in the hot pot with his chopsticks. Finally he found out that his fishball was stuck to the edge of the pot. Seeing this, Jayatnam hurriedly defended himself. "It's not that it didn't float up. It just stuck to the pan. It was just a coincidence. It will definitely not happen next time." As he spoke, Jayatnam threw in another piece of potato and fish balls. Not long after, the potatoes floated up again. And the fish balls stuck to the pan again. The Jayatnams were numb. Zhang Tianming on the side couldn't help but patted Jayatnam on the shoulder. Brother, everyone knows your luck, there is no need to prove yourself through fortune telling. Li Ting also comforted him. Yes, you have been unlucky for a long time. Don't take it too seriously. Jade Nan, if you don't know how to comfort someone, don't comfort them. As they were talking, Jade Nan suddenly heard his cell phone ringing. He took out his cell phone and took a look, only to find that it was a message from Shen Feng. The message was simple, just one sentence. Shen Feng, the reason why I'm unlucky now is because I've used up all my luck since I met you. Jade Nan's eyes lit up. Shen Feng is teaching him how to say sweet words to pick up girls. Jade Nan gave Shen Feng a grateful look. Good brother. Then, Jade Nan turned off his phone and looked at Li Ting affectionately. As soon as he opened his mouth, he wanted to say the love words that Shen Feng had taught him. But it is true that Jade Nan does not have a photographic memory or a romantic heart. As soon as he opened his mouth, he forgot what the original sentence Shen Feng taught him was. After thinking for a while, he vaguely said based on his memory. My luck is bad because I met you. Shen Cheng rubbed his temples with a headache. The corners of Li Ting's mouth twitched. You mean, your bad luck is all my fault? Jade Nan also felt that what he said was not right, and hurriedly looked at Shen Feng for help. Shen Feng was helping others to the end. Before Jade Nan looked over, he sent a message to Jade Nan. Jade Nan also took the time to steal a glance. Shen Feng, indeed, it's all your fault if it weren't for meeting you. How could I have used up all my luck in this life? Jade Nan immediately said to Li Ting. Indeed, it's all your fault. Li Ting. Shen Feng sighed and sent another message to Jade Nan. Shen Feng, what about the second half of the sentence? Why don't you say the second half? Jade Nan looked at Shen Feng helplessly. I forgot the second half of the sentence. Chapter 245. She is the best. After eating hot pot, the young couple Jiang Qianming and Li Yuya went to play games. Li Ting took Jade Nan back to kneel on the washboard. As for Shen Feng and Jiang Wanwan, they planned to enjoy the remaining half-day holiday. As a result, not long after, Li Yuya and Jiang Qianming, who were playing games, came to find Shen Feng and Jiang Wanwan again. The expressions on his faces were quite complicated. What happened to you two? Did you lose the game? Jiang Wanwan asked. No, it's my parents just called and said they have arrived in Sichuan and are asking where our training base is. Jiang Qianming said helplessly. Ever since the day when he announced on live broadcast that he had a girlfriend, his parents called and interrogated him. He also said that he would come to Sichuan City in person to see his future daughter-in-law. At that time, Jiang Qianming also told Shen Feng and Jiang Wanwan about this. But Jiang Wanwan said it was nothing. Jiang Qianming's father is Jiang Ziyi's younger brother, and Jiang Wanwan's uncle. Jiang Wanwan still has an impression of this uncle. He is wealthy and kind, including his wife, Jiang Wanwan's aunt, who is also a person with a nice personality. This couple's attitude towards their future daughter-in-law is much better than Jiang Ziyi and Su Yan's attitude towards Shen Feng. So Jiang Wanwan didn't think it was a bad thing for Jiang Qianming's parents to come. Come on, are you still scared? Jiang Qianming shrugged. I'm not afraid, it's just the crescent moon. Jiang Qianming is thick-skinned and a dead radish is not afraid of boiling water. But Li Yuya is still a little girl. It was the first time in her life that she met her parents-in-law as a daughter-in-law. And she was really a little scared. Li Yuya looked at Jiang Wanwan and Shen Feng and whispered. I know Wobo's family is well off, so I'm afraid it's not good for me to meet them like this. Then, shall I do your makeup? Jiang Wanwan understood what Li Yuya meant. Ever since Jiang Wanwan did makeup for Li Yuya last time, Li Yuya has trusted Jiang Wanwan's makeup skills. Jiang Wanwan took Li Yuya away, and Shen Feng and Jiang Qianming squatted at the door of the room. The two of you looked at each other. Brother-in-law? Brother-in-law, do you smoke? Jiang Qianming reached into his pocket, pulled out a pack of cigarettes, and asked. Shen Feng shook his head. No, and Yuya doesn't like people who smoke. Yeah. So I haven't smoked for a long time. I haven't touched this box of cigarettes. Jiang Qianming put away the cigarette inside. I started smoking after being deceived by Chen Wei. After returning to China, I often would to bars with a few friends and smoke several packs a day. At that time, I felt that I might not be able to quit. But after I saw the crescent moon, I smoked less because I saw her say in the group that she didn't like the smell of cigarettes. So after that, I only smoked one when I was particularly unhappy. Shen Feng glanced at him and said, Then how many times have you been particularly unhappy? Not many times, Jiang Qianming smiled. I always feel happy when I'm with her. Brother-in-law, do you feel the same way when you're with my sister? Shen Feng nodded. Jiang Qianming squatted against the wall, looking up at the ceiling. She said somewhat melancholy. Actually, brother-in-law, I always feel uncomfortable in my heart. If possible, I really want to erase the past with Chen Wei. So that I am Yuya's first love, and Yuya was also my first love. Now when I think about what happened with Chen Wei, I feel a little sorry for Yuya. Chen Cheng did not respond to this sentence. Instead, he asked, what do you think of Chen Wei's fate this time? Jiang Qianming said honestly, to be honest, I didn't pay much attention to it. How did she end up? It's only been a day since the incident, so it's too early to say what will happen in the end. But in the future, whether it's modeling or acting, she should forget about getting involved in any industry related to the entertainment industry. In addition, she may be held legally responsible, Chen Feng said. That's great, Jiang Qianming said with a smile. In fact, I didn't really care what would happen to Chen Wei before, but she showed up in your studio, next to Yuya, and you even said she would help me get revenge. I, the real victim, had almost let go of that hatred. But Yuya's revenge on Chen Wei actually made me feel a sense of solidarity with the enemy again. Speaking of which, I have to thank Chen Wei if she hadn't used it as a common topic for Yuya and I. I'm afraid our relationship wouldn't have developed so quickly. He still remembered that he once told Li Yuya how Li Yuya comforted him online after he was cheated on by Chen Wei. Even though they were separated by a cold phone screen, he seemed to still be able to feel the warmth of the words. It was great to meet her. Chen Cheng glanced at Jiang Qianming and smiled after a moment. He patted Jiang Qianming on the shoulder and said, treat her well. She has been living with relatives since she was young. And she has been without parents since she was young. She was said to be a relative, but few of them could really raise her as their own child. Some families raised her for a month or two, and then gave her away to someone else. Because of this, she was unable to continue her studies. In the eyes of many people, she was disabled. She has very few friends and no relatives she can really trust. Perhaps in the past, your group and you netizens who share the same language with her were the only one she could confide in. Chen Feng said slowly, like you may have had a rich and wonderful past. And for you, that group was just one of your pastimes. But for Yuya, it may be her only hope. I am her older brother. But to be honest, she has not been in our house for a long time. It was during this period that I really started to take care of her. As her older brother, I cannot make up for the childhood and happiness she lacked. All of these will be handed over to you. Jiang Qianming nodded. He smiled at Chen Feng and said firmly, I will. As long as I can give her something, as long as it can make her happy. I will not be stingy even if it means I have everything. And brother-in-law, I've always wanted to say that I don't think the help I've given Yuya is as much as the help she's given me. Without her who is willing to comfort me, help me get revenge, play games with me, tell me stories when I cried, and fall asleep first, I might still be hanging out in a bar, living a life of debauchery. Some people may think she is flawed, but in my heart, she is the best version of herself. In the room, Li Yuya, who was planning to ask Jiang Qianming to help her choose a lipstick shade, put her hand on the door handle. After a moment, he tiptoed back to John Wan's side. Sister 1WN, excuse me, can you put some makeup on me again? She wiped her tears with a sobbing voice and said, I'm sorry, I think I ruined your makeup. John Wan pulled Li Yuya to sit down and gently held her in her arms. At this moment, Li Yuya finally couldn't help crying out loud. Chapter 246, starting from 1 billion, or else I will kill you. Because Li Yuya's makeup was ruined by crying. So Jiang Wan comforted her first, and when she stopped crying, she helped her remove her makeup and put it back on. She was busy for a full hour. Chen Feng and Jiang Qianming's legs were numb from squatting outside. During this period, Jiang Qianming asked Shen Cheng a lot of gossip. As we chatted, we happened to talk about the script written by Song Xian that Principal Wang Shenxuan wanted to film. When Jiang Qianming heard that it was Song Xian's script, he also became interested. The reputation of screenwriter Song is still very loud. Especially when I heard that the crew seems to have not yet attracted suitable sponsorship in terms of funds. Jiang Qianming immediately said, tell me about this kind of thing. I will be the investor. Chen Feng glanced at him. Do you know how much it costs to make a movie? Jiang Qianming shook his head. Do you know how much risk you will end up taking when investing in a movie? Jiang Qianming shook his head. Do you know how much money is needed just for publicity and promotion in the current market? Jiang Qianming shook his head again. Chen Feng said, so you should not get involved in this business easily. Besides, how much money you can invest is just a drop in the bucket for a movie. 50 million, probably. Jiang Qianming said, don't think it's too little. This is all my wealth. Chen Feng, be reasonable. He has been pretending for more than 800 years. This is the first time that someone has pushed me. Chen Feng was silent for a long time, and finally said, I'll send you Wang Shenxuan's number, you can go talk to him later. Even Shen didn't expect that the film's funding problem would be solved in this way. In fact, Shen Feng had thought about it before. If Wang Shenxuan couldn't solve the funding problem, he would get some black money, gambling on stones, gambling, and collecting antiques, it was easy for Shen Feng to raise enough money for a movie with his ability. As a result, before he started to raise money, Jiang Tianming helped him solve the funding problem. In fact, for a high-budget big-budget movie, 50 million may not even be one-tenth of the cost. However, this money is crucial to Wang Shun Xun's crew. With this startup capital, Wang Shun Xun can really start arranging the affairs of the actors, directors and crew. Once the crew is on the rise, it will be much easier to attract investment. After Zhang Wanwan finished putting makeup on Li Yuya, Jiang Tianming took Li Yuya and left first. Jiang Tianming's parents arrived about half an hour later, and it seemed that they had informed Director Tian in advance, and Director Tian went out personally to bring the two of them in. After that, Jiang Tianming's parents went to find Jiang Tianming and Li Yuya. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan didn't know what they talked about exactly, and they didn't plan to eavesdrop. Anyway, after Jiang Tianming's parents came out of Jiang Tianming and Li Yuya's room, the old couple couldn't stop smiling on their faces. It can be seen that he is very satisfied with Li Yuya as his daughter-in-law. Jiang Tianming's mother also said to Li Yuya, "From now on, you will be my own daughter. I will not let you suffer so much in the future." This made Li Yuya feel quite embarrassed. Although Li Yuya is sometimes naughty, she is always well-behaved and sensible in front of her elders. Otherwise, Shen Xiaoji Yuo and Tangping would not have praised Li Yuya in front of Shen Feng before. She is well-behaved and sensible, she is cute and pretty. She has a loving relationship with Jiang Tianming, and her past experiences are so heartbreaking. In addition, Jiang Tianming's parents are not powerful people, and they care more about Jiang Tianming's happiness than about being well-matched. So it was natural for me to accept Li Yuya. That night, Jiang Tianming's parents stayed at the training base for dinner. Shen Feng, as the nephew-in-law of Jiang Tianming's parents, personally cooked a table of delicious dishes. At the dinner table, Jiang Tianming also told his parents about his plan to invest in a movie. When Jiang Tianming's father heard about investing in a movie, he immediately became serious. Jiang Tianming's father is much richer than Jiang Zhe. His businesses are spread across most provinces in the country. He is the kind of person who can rank high on the rich list. Such a business giant is naturally very rational and cautious when it comes to investment. He asked Jiang Tianming earnestly, "Tianming, do you know how much it costs to make a movie?" Jiang Tianming shook his head. "Do you know the investment risks of making movies?" Jiang Tianming shook his head again. "Do you know how unstable the entertainment industry is right now?" Jiang Tianming shook his head again. Jiang Tianming's father said earnestly, "So you'd better not get involved in this business easily. Understand?" Jiang Tianming, however, the script of this play is Song Xian's posthumous work. The leading actors are my sister and my brother-in-law. The person in charge of coordination is Wang Shun Xun, the president of Suzhou and Hanghouse Drama Academy. Many of the actors we have contacted so far are veteran actors of that generation. Jiang Tianming's father glanced at Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. Then he smacked his lips and said, "How much did you say you wanted to invest?" 50 million, and I'll put a few of my cars on the table as collateral." "Too little, 200 million. Jiang Tianming's father said. "I'll pay for it." Jiang Tianming looked at his father silently. "Dad, the entertainment industry is unstable and investment risks are high. Are you teaching me how to do things? I don't dare." Later during dinner, Shen Feng heard Jiang Tianming's parents talking about how they used to be fans of Song Xian. Even when Song Xian died, these two went to the funeral. Moreover, Jiang Tianming's father also believes in the box office appeal of Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, as well as the level of Wang Shun Xun, a veteran in the entertainment industry. This investment will definitely pay off. After dinner, Shen Feng asked Zhang Wanwan to call Wang Shun Xun and tell him that they had obtained an investment. And they are the kind that only invest money and do not interfere with the filming. Ever since Shen Sheng and Zhang Wanwan agreed to play the leading roles, Wang Shun Xun has been busy looking for suitable investors and crew members. Many of the investors we found either wanted to invest money to get involved in the filming of the movie, or had selfish motives of sending their artists to join the crew with money. All of this goes against Wang Shun Xun's original intention of not wanting the film script to be interfered with. After being busy for so long, Wang Shun Xun finally only found 3 or 5 suitable investors, and the total amount of funds raised was only a few million. This money is definitely enough, or even more than enough, to make a low-budget movie. But Wang Shun Xun really didn't want Song Xian's posthumous work to become just a low-budget, small production movie. He wanted to let this movie go out of the country and into the world in the name of Song Xian, so that the name Song Xian could resound throughout the world film industry for the last time. When Wang Shun Xun heard Zhang Wanwan say that she had attracted another investment, he did not feel very happy. Wang Shun Xun has seen investors who are willing to invest money but will not interfere with the filming. But not many of these investors who basically have no purpose are willing to pay large sums of money. Having one or two more investors like this will not solve the funding problem at all. So while Wang Shun Xuan was drinking the porridge cooked by his wife, he said symbolically, "Oh, how much is he willing to invest?" 200 million. Zhang Wanwan said. "Oh, that's normal. It's hard to expect someone to invest a lot of money without any intention. 200 million is not bad weight. 200 million? When Wang Shun Xuan realized what was happening, he choked. "I almost coughed up all the food I drank last night." After coughing for a long time, Wang Shun Xuan glared at the phone and yelled, "What did you say? 200 million? Yes. They also promised not to interfere with the filming of the movie. Yes. Didn't you and Zhang Wanwan put a gun to someone's head and force them to invest? Yes, how is that possible?" Zhang Wanwan said with a smile. "Principal Wang, in your heart, is your beloved disciple that kind of person? Yes, you are all good children." Wang Shun Xuan said this and drank some porridge to calm himself down. Then Zhang Wanwan said, "If we really force them with a gun, well, we only ask for 200 million, we will definitely start with 1 billion. And if they don't give us, we will kill them." The porridge that Wang Shun Xuan had just put into his mouth was sprayed out all at once. What their school teaches is how to be an actor or a gangster. Chapter 247. I love watching the young couple fight. The next morning, Zhang Qianming's parents left. Zhang Wanwan also asked Zhang Qianming why Zhang Qianming's parents did not take Zhang Qianming with them. Zhang Qianming said honestly, "I wanted to go with them and take Yuya home with me. But my dad wouldn't let me. He said that I finally got something serious to do and he wanted me to finish what I started. He also said that if I was eliminated, he would cross my name out of the family tree, adopt Yuya as his adopted daughter, and let me be his son-in-law." "That's good too." Zhang Wanwan nodded. "Then let Fengzi eliminate you today." Zhang Qianming. Today, Youth Group resumed broadcasting. Because of the gossip a few days ago, the popularity of Youth Group has been soaring recently, far exceeding the popularity that a variety show should have. Due to the increased popularity and the increase in audience, the contestants of Youth Group have become more interested in training. They all knew this was an opportunity. An increase in the audience means an increase in exposure. As long as you work hard enough, are good enough, and show yourself in front of the camera, there is a chance that you will become famous. It is in such an atmosphere of positive work that time passes day by day. The second round of the knockout stage has come to an end. Each chief instructor now has only 10 contestants left. There are only these 40 contestants left in the entire Youth Group program. After a few days of live broadcasts, these 40 contestants have also built up a sizable fan base. For example, the most popular Zhang Qianming, Situyu, and 3 other outstanding contestants, basically each of them has close to 100 fans. The ability to attract so many fans is ultimately due to the popularity and audience that the gossip from the past few days brought to the program team. After a short break of 2 days today, Youth Group finally ushered in a new round of competition. This competition is more formal and brutal than the previous 2 rounds. Next, the 4 head mentors will work together in pairs and be divided into 2 groups. A and B group, A and B, will send 1 contestant to battle on stage in each round. The audience will vote and score. The contestant with the most votes will stay, and the contestant with the fewest votes will be eliminated. After the competition, the remaining contestants from groups A and B will form groups and perform. After the performance, the group with the most votes will officially debut and become the strongest group of our first season of Youth Group. In front of the camera, Director Tian announced the rules for the 3rd round. If the fate of the contestants in the first 2 rounds was decided by the program team or the mentors, then in this round, it was the audience and fans who decided the life and death of the contestants. Some people may think that such a competition system is unfair to those players who are very talented but have few fans. But idol auditions are so cruel and realistic. Next, Director Tian began to prepare the 4 chief instructors to form groups. In order to ensure fairness, the grouping will be done by drawing lots. So, among the 4 head instructors, who do you plan to draw the lots? Director Tian asked with a smile on his face. There are 4 people in total. As long as one person draws lots, the remaining group will naturally be determined. According to convention, the drawing of lots would naturally be done by Wenhua. This time was no exception. Wenhua took a step forward, and Director Tian waved his hand, signaling a staff member to come forward. The staff member was holding a box in his hands. Wenhua rummaged through the box and finally took out a card. There are 3 words written on it. Zhang Wanwan. Director Tian smiled and read out the names above. Then said, "Oh my, it seems that this time the Penghu Bei group will not only be separated, but also become each other's enemies. Teacher Zhang Wanwan. Teacher Wenhua, you 2 will be assigned to Group A. Teacher Shen Feng, Teacher Liu Mingyu, you will work together in Group B." The audience who were watching the live broadcast became excited when they saw this grouping. I thought Feng Zi and Wan Wan were supposed to be in one group, while Yu Mingyu and Wen Hua were in another group, but I didn't expect them to be separated. Awesome. I love watching young couples fight. With this grouping, Feng Zi won't let Wan Wan off, right? Why aren't you worried that Wan Wan will go easy on Feng Zi? The above person is obviously a fake fan. Wan Wan never shows mercy to Feng Zi. Zhang Wan Wan was also quite surprised. Before the recording session started, she hadn't heard that the groups would be drawn by lot. Originally, she also thought that the program team specially invited her and Shen Feng to be on the show together because they wanted to rely on her and Feng Zi's CP to create popularity, so she always thought that she and Feng Zi would be assigned to the same group. Even 2 days ago, she was still discussing with Feng Zi her idea of creating a Hanfu idol group, and they had almost finished the discussion. Unexpectedly, they were separated this time. Zhang Wan Wan was still surprised when Director Tian started talking to himself. Okay, do the 4 head coaches have any opinions on the grouping? If not, we will start the 3rd round. Wait a minute. I have a problem. Zhang Wan Wan quickly raised her hand. Okay, it seems that the 4 chief instructors have no objections, so I will announce the rules of the 3rd round. Director Tian continued to speak to himself. Wait, I have a problem with that. Zhang Wan Wan jumped up with her hands raised. And the 3rd round will be held by audience voting. Director Tian continued to speak to himself. Zhang Wan Wan rolled up her sleeves, picked up a mineral water bottle and walked towards Director Tian. Director Tian quickly took 2 steps back and said with an awkward smile, Teacher Zhang Wan Wan, what can I do for you? If you keep playing dumb and ignoring me, you'll be the one in trouble. Zhang Wan Wan stared and said, I said I have an opinion, didn't you hear me? Director Tian coughed and said, well, what do you think? I think it's too hasty to just draw lots to group the contestants. Isn't the ultimate goal of this show to create a perfect idol group? The basis for the grouping should be the compatibility of the contestants under each mentor. I think the players under my command and those under instructor Shen Feng have similar styles and levels. After forming a team, they will definitely be able to achieve the effect of 1 + 1 being greater than 2. Is it appropriate to divide them into groups based on a simple draw? What Zhang Wan Wan said makes sense, but it seems that she just doesn't want to be separated from Shen Feng. Director Tian couldn't help but complain after hearing this. The contestants you picked are either classical dancers or ancient-style ballad singers. Shen Feng has a guest instructor named Jia Tenan, and most of the contestants he taught are street dancers. You call this similar styles? Before choosing the draw-in grouping, our program team had already made detailed considerations and determined that the contestants under your 4 chief mentors all have their own characteristics. No matter who they are grouped with, the results will be similar. So, Mr. Zhang Wan Wan, do you still have any opinions now? Zhang Wan Wan didn't expect that Director Tian could explain it more clearly than she did. She was just thinking about what reason to find to refute when she saw Shen Feng walking up to the staff member holding the box. He reached out and touched it, then took out several cards. So, this is the result of your production team's consideration. Shen Feng said this and pointed the cards in his hand at the camera. The name on several cards is Old Zhang Wan Wan. You must not have watched, date, carefully, right? Director Tian's expression froze. He looked at Zhang Wan Wan beside him. I only saw the smile on Zhang Wan Wan's face, which was extremely kind. Chapter 248. This is not called pretending, this is called acting. Director Tian is in great pain. Although he was not really beaten up by Zhang Wan Wan in the end, he was still very distressed. Originally in Director Tian's plan, he deliberately designed to separate Zhang Wan Wan and Shen Feng and turn them into enemies. From loving each other, to loving and hating each other. This will definitely increase the popularity of the show. And increase discussion and ratings. If Shen Feng and Zhang Wan Wan could create some tit-for-tat at intense atmosphere, the heat would definitely be even higher. So Director Tian came up with this idea and staged a fake lottery. He wanted to force Wen Hu and Zhang Wan Wan to be in the same group, and Shen Shang and Liu Mingyu to be in the same group. Who would have thought that Shen Feng would actually see through his ingenious design? Now Director Tian keeps blaming Shen Feng and Director Chen in his heart. Director Chen, who was watching the live broadcast, suddenly sneezed. After rubbing his nose and wiping the snot off the screen, Director Chen looked at Director Tian with contempt. How naive of you to use this trick on Shen Feng and Zhang Wan Wan. If they were so easily fooled, would I have been humiliated by them when I was filming date? I told you not to offend them, but you didn't listen to me. Now you're barbecue. At this time, the barrage was full of black curtain. Is this the dark side of talent shows? It's really dark. The director is really dirty. Did he learn this from Director Chen? Fortunately Wan Wan insisted. And fortunately Feng Zi was smart, otherwise she would have fallen into the director's trap. This director must be a hater of the couple and wants to break them up. I suggest a thorough investigation. Don't investigate too strictly. Just shoot him directly. But as they chatted, some different voices suddenly emerged in the barrage. But to be honest, I really want to see them fight. Indeed, I want to see how Feng Zi can release water. The couple is forced to turn against each other. Love and hate each other. This plot seems to be quite exciting. It's best if we are not divided into groups this way. One won't compete with me for my husband. Feng Zi, my husband. Feng Zi, my husband. Put on some pants. Director Tian glanced at the barrage and suddenly had an idea. Teacher Shen Feng, Teacher Zhang Wanwan, how about this? You don't draw lots, but let the audience vote if the audience wants you to be in a group. And you can be in a group if the audience wants you to be separated. Then you can be separated, is that okay? No. Zhang Wanwan was very determined. Who knows if you will tamper with the voting machine? Director Tian spread his hands helplessly. Look at what you said. Am I that kind of person? Zhang Wanwan didn't say anything. Instead, he looked at the several cards in Shen Feng's hand, all of which had Zhang Wanwan written on them. Director Tian. Well, he really is. However, Director Tian still doesn't want to give up this love-hate script. So he simply moved a chair over and planned to sit down and discuss the terms with Zhang Wanwan. As a result, the chair was moved over, but Zhang Wanwan sat down directly. Director Tian had no choice but to move it again. Then Shen Feng sat down again. Director Tian silently brought over the third one and finally sat down. The three of them sat opposite each other, staring at each other. Director Tian spoke first. Teacher Zhang Wanwan, let's discuss this. If I insist that you and Teacher Shen Feng be divided into two groups, how can you agree? 1 billion. Why don't you go and grab it? I'm grabbing it now. Zhang Wanwan said seriously. Director Tian. He felt that it was impossible to reason with Zhang Wanwan and Shen Shen because these two people were simply unreasonable. So Director Tian decided to take a detour. He smiled as much as he could and whispered to Zhang Wanwan. Teacher Wanwan, we are already acquaintances, how about you just do me a small favor for the show? When is my birthday? Zhang Wanwan suddenly asked. Director Tian was speechless for a moment. He didn't know the answer. Nor did he know why Zhang Wanwan asked this question. Zhang Wanwan then asked, what's my zodiac sign? Director Tian still couldn't answer. When I eat hot pot, do I prefer the dip with more chili or more cumin? Director Tian still couldn't answer. What are the first 3 lines spoken by the male protagonist in my favorite TV series? Director Tian was completely silent. Zhang Wanwan rolled her eyes. If you can't answer any of them, how can you call me an acquaintance? No, forget about the first few questions. Who can answer this last one? Even if I know what your favorite TV series is, I can't remember the third line of the male lead. Right? Director Yan couldn't help but complain. Zhang Wanwan sneered. Then looked at Shen Feng. Feng Zi. Our favorite TV series is Journey to the West. The first 3 lines of dialogue of Sun Wukong after he appears on the screen are. And Shen Feng said. Director Tian looked at the two of them speechless for a long time. I even planned to give up and just let these two work together. But Shen Feng spoke again at this time. He smiled and said to Director Tian. But Director Tian, if you really want us not to be in the same group, it's not impossible. But you have to agree to one condition. I can't afford 1 billion, Director Tian said hurriedly. Don't worry, we don't want your money, but since you interfered with our grouping, you can no longer interfere with what we will perform during the performance. Shen Feng said. The final performances usually have to be reviewed by the program team. After all, they are big stage performances that are truly for the audience. Director Tian shook his head when he heard this. That won't work. What if you choose some messed up programs and the final performance fails? Then don't even think about separating the two of us. Shen Feng said while crossing his legs. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan have been discussing the final performance for the past few days. In addition to Zhang Wanwan's plan to form a traditional Chinese costume group during the performance, the two also planned to create a brand new song and dance based on Song Xian's posthumous works for the contestants to perform. Considering the popularity of youth group on the entire internet, the attention to the final performance will definitely not be low. It is equivalent to using the stage of youth group to provide an excellent promotion for Song Xian's posthumous work. Nowadays, the publicity costs of a movie can even cover the cost of the movie itself. Why not take such a perfect opportunity to promote the movie? However, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan were worried at the time that if they did so, a program crew might disagree. That's why Shen Feng chose to negotiate terms with Director Tian now. Director Tian always felt that Shen Feng had bad intentions, but he looked at Zhang Wanwan next to him again. I noticed that Zhang Wanwan's face didn't look good. It seems that he doesn't quite approve of Shen Feng's conditions. This made Director Tian's mind active again. Since the young couple disagree on this issue, of course he has to seize the opportunity and make things bigger. So Director Tian chose to agree to Shen Feng's conditions. Okay, as long as you don't do anything outrageous in your final performance. I won't interfere, is that okay? Make a deal. After Shen Feng finished speaking, he stretched out his hand. Director Tian thought Shen Feng wanted to shake hands with him. He also stretched out his hand. As a result, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan high-fived each other. Zhang Wanwan, who had been looking depressed before, was now smiling happily, completely devoid of the depressed mood just now. Were you pretending just now? Director Tian's eyes widened. Zhang Wanwan elegantly lifted her hair and smiled slightly. This is not called pretending, this is called acting. Chapter 249, A Great Plan. Zhang Wanwan was actually acting when she strongly requested to be in the same group with Shen Feng from the very beginning. She pretended to be very angry and deliberately made things difficult for Director Tian, forcing him to negotiate terms with her and Shen Feng. Finally, we managed to gain autonomy over the performance program from Director Tian. Director Tian has figured it out now, but it's a little late. Now Director Tian can only pray that Zhang Wanwan and Shen Feng don't really put on some messy show during the final performance. Because Director Tian agreed to Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan's conditions, the final grouping was also based on Director Tian's requirements. Chen Shang and Liu Mingyu are in one group, and Zhang Wanwan and Wen Hui are in another group. After the grouping was completed, Youth Group finally officially started the third round of eliminations. The two groups will take turns sending out one contestant each to battle on stage. And then the audience will vote to decide which contestant will stay and which will be eliminated. The remaining players can be said to be elites, each with their own strengths. This also made the third elimination round of Youth Group become more stalemate and exciting. Because the contestants' stage performances and audience voting take a relatively long time, the third round of eliminations will only be held 4 times a day. Before the competition officially started, Director Chan gave the head coaches time to discuss and decide who would be sent on stage first to face the first round. Liu Mingyu looked at the contestants behind him with some confusion. Half of them are elites carefully selected by him. He would feel sad no matter which one was eliminated. Liu Mingyu couldn't help but ask Shen Feng, Xiao Chen, who do you think is better to send for this first match? Shen Feng glanced at Liu Mingyu, but asked in return, have you ever heard of the story of Tianji's horse racing? Sun Bin told Tianji to use inferior horses against the King of Qin's superior horses, to use medium horses against the King of Qin's inferior horses, and to use superior horses against the King of Qin's medium horses. In the end, Tianji won a great victory. Liu Mingyu's eyes lit up. You mean, we should do the same thing to ensure a stable win of the games? Unexpectedly, Shen Feng shook his head again. Then he said, I haven't finished yet. The King of Qi is Tianji's boss. But Sun Bin and Tianji are sworn enemies. The reason why Sun Bin helped Tianji win was to harm Tianji, because Tianji used this little trick to defeat the King of Qi. The King of Qi would hate Tianji, and Sun Bin would benefit from it. What do you mean? Liu Mingyu asked Shen Shang in confusion. What I mean is that I don't intend to offend my King Qi. So it's up to you to decide who to send to the competition. Shen Shang said with a smile. Liu Mingyu, I thought this kid was trying to come up with some plan after talking for so long. You just don't want to take the blame? Zhang Wanwan and Wen Hua on the other side could not hear the conversation between the two people, but the audience heard it clearly. A word's family younger brother position were constantly appearing in the barrage. I've seen it all. Who has the final say in this family? Feng Zi is in a difficult situation to which she loses. It will be hard to explain to Liu Mingyu if she wins. It will be hard to explain to Wanwan in the evening. If it were me, I would also learn to be a non-stick pan like Feng Zi. After all, this is related to whether I sleep in bed or on the keyboard at night. Feng Zi, you have a lot of courage, and you show your manlines. Send the most powerful one over there. First, dampen the enthusiasm of my brother. Since Shen Sheng was unwilling to offer any advice, Liu Mingyu could only make the decision himself. After thinking for a long time, Liu Mingyu finally decided to send out the trump card in his hand. Make sure you win the first round first, then make other plans. What he didn't know was, Zhang Wanwan and Wen Hu also discussed this result and decided to send out their strongest men first. So in the end, the first game of the third round of eliminations of Youth Group is the highlight. Team consisting of Shen Feng, Liu Mingyu and Situ Yu, against Zhang Wanwan, Wen Hua Group, Xiaozu. This Xiaozu is a player under Wen Hua. Apart from Chen Wei, who became famous because of a scandal, she is also the female contestant with the most fans in Youth Group. Moreover, Xiaozu's popularity is not only due to her good looks, but also her real strength. Xiaozu is a truly professional singer and has even participated in youth singing competitions. Not only that, after participating in the show, she has been practicing dancing even more diligently and has made rapid progress. Now she can be considered a good singer and dancer. A video clip of Xiaozu singing and dancing during the second elimination round is still circulating on Weibo. Not to mention Situ Yu. From the beginning of the audition, City conquered the audience with a terrifying song number 2. His fan base has been growing, and now he has become the second most popular male contestant in youth group. The one with the most fans is Jiang Tianming. One reason is that Jiang Tianming has been on the hot search list. And the other is that there is always a group of rich people participating in the lottery in Jiang Tianming's super topic. Many passers-by who don't like Jiang Tianming, or even watch the show, pretended to follow Jiang Tianming in order to win the lottery. The private messages that Xiaozu's fans sent to Xiaozu all said, "Sister is so beautiful. I love you so much." The private messages that Sidiou's fans sent to Sidiou were all Sidiou Hanan. "Take it easy, mom loves you." And the messages Jiang Tianming's fans sent to him were all, "When will I be picked? Is there a lottery today? Can I get a prize just by following you? Brother, I'm an elementary school student, can you give me a hellfire?" And other nonsense. Therefore, Jiang Tianming's fans are very inflated. Apart from Jiang Tianming, the most popular male contestant of youth group is undoubtedly Sidiou. Seeing that both sides have selected top players with both popularity and strength, the audience in front of the live broadcast room became interested. Especially the fans of Sidiou and Xiaozu, who have already started to confront each other. "Baby Sidiou, go, mom will always support you. Top-notch soprano Sidiou, handsome and elegant Sidiou, incomparably silly Sidiou. Love love love. I've always been taking it easy. Go go go. Zoer, fly bravely, snowflakes will always be with you. Come on Zoer." Crazy cheers for my all-around singing and dancing little sister. Director Tian was also very happy as he saw the atmosphere in the live broadcast room becoming lively. After clearing his throat, Director Tian announced that the competition officially began. The first to come on stage was Xiaozu. Xiaozu also knew that she was given high hopes, and she also knew that her opponent was quite strong. So Xiaozu chose the most difficult song and dance that she currently knew. As the music started, Xiaozu opened her mouth softly, and her singing was as melodious and pleasant as a lark. Xiaozu's dance moves are synchronized with the singing. Although she was wearing casual clothes, it was still difficult to conceal Xiaozu's graceful figure. The dance and song were perfectly coordinated, which made Xiaozu's fans even more excited. Watching Xiaozu's dance, Shen Feng approached Liu Mingyu and asked, "Do you think Sidiou can beat her? Sidiou's high notes are pretty good, and under Liu Mingyu's guidance, he's now also quite good at singing ordinary songs." But Xiaozu was also good at dancing, and Shen Feng didn't really expect Sidiou to perform this dance. Shen Feng thought it was a great success that this guy was able to walk onto the stage intact without falling. Liu Mingyu was also a little worried. Sidiou's singing ability is definitely better than Xiaozu's. But Xiaozu's song and dance were indeed perfect. And it was obvious that she had put in a lot of hard work. If Sidiou just sang, the visual effect would be a little worse than Xiaozu. But just when Liu Mingyu was worried, suddenly, Jiang Tianming walked to Sidiou's side. "I don't know what this guy," muttered to Sidiou. Then he sneaked away again. Shen Feng called Jiang Tianming over and asked, "What did you say to him just now?" "A great plan," Jiang Tianming said mysteriously. Chapter 250 let him take off. By the time Xiaozu's singing and dancing performance was over, the comments were all full of positive reviews. The only regret is that Xiaozu herself is a bit gentle. And no matter the songs she sings or the dances she dances, they are all a bit gentle. Although it was amazing when shown on the battle stage, it lacked a bit of shock. But in the minds of many viewers, they think that Xiaozu's performance is already professional level and is fully qualified to be performed in some evening parties. A pressure came to Sidiou's fans. Many of Sidiou's fans looked at Sidiou with worry before he even went on stage. And they saw Sidiou walked towards the program crew. I whispered a lot of things to the program crew. It seemed that some things were not made clear. So Jiang Tianming finally went over, explained to the staff, and operated the computer himself. Sidiou then came on stage. Thus, looking at this somewhat protracted preparation, the common comfortable feeling that Xiaozu had before is gone. This made many passers-by subconsciously feel that Sidiou was a little weaker in momentum. After Sidiou started singing, many old viewers of youth group, especially Xiaozu's fans, started posting in friendly comments. "It's opera too. Again, this is the only song Sidiou knows, right? Although the singing is indeed quite high. I am tired of just listening to it. Yes, yes, it seems that Sidiou will be eliminated this time. Xiaozu is still stronger. Although Xiaozu's singing and dancing is a bit old-fashioned, it at least has some of the feel of this kind of idol group. Sidiou's is really not that good. Where can an idol sing tenor all day long?" Some of these comments may be more targeted, but a lot of what they said is correct. Sidiou's high notes are very powerful and perfect, but singing a song over and over again will always make people feel bored. At least it makes people feel that Sidiou only has this ability and nothing else. Liu Mingyu also looked unhappy. He had planned with Situ a long time ago to have Situ sing a more explosive modern boy band style song during the elimination round. Even if Situ can't dance, he can still save some ground with his explosive singing. In the end, no one knew what Jiang Qianming said to Situ, but he actually made Situ sing Opera 2 again. If Liu Mingyu originally thought that Situ could surpass the gentle Xiaozu with his explosive modern songs, now even Li Mingyu felt that Situ was really going to lose. Situ's perfect high note fell quietly as the chorus ended. Logically speaking, the next part should be the interlude in the second half of Opera 2, but at this moment, the accompaniment of Opera 2 suddenly stopped. Before the audience, or even director Tian, could react, they realized what was happening. A rock-style accompaniment with a metallic texture suddenly sounded. This is a rock song that is very popular abroad. It has an explosive rhythm and is a famous masterpiece of a foreign boy band. This was also the song that Liu Mingyu asked Situ to practice before. And I don't know if it was because of what Situ and Jiang Qianming had just said to the staff. But when this song came in, it skipped the prelude and the main song and went straight into the most passionate and exciting chorus. Situ, who had been singing Opera 2 like a gentleman before, suddenly had a low voice, as if he had turned into a wild beast with heavy metal rock blood. Although the beast's expression was a bit silly, and none of the English lyrics it sang were standard, but against the backdrop of his near-perfect pitch and musical tension, these minor flaws seemed to disappear. What's even more explosive is what happens after the chorus ends. When the violent chorus is finished, the song will enter a slightly calmer interlude. Because even the original singer of this song needs to take a break after singing the first half of the chorus on stage. But Situ's voice is like a monster. After just finishing a piece of explosive rock music, he actually sang the climax of Opera 2, with the accompaniment of dolphin sound again. The audience felt like they were on a roller coaster. I thought the original Opera 2 was all there was to this roller coaster. But the sudden insertion of rock music makes the roller coaster suddenly speed up. The dolphin sound that sounded again seemed to push the roller coaster to the highest point of the track without leaving any room for maneuver. The audience's nerves have been on edge from the beginning until now. Situ finished singing the dolphin sound again, and the audience felt that their tense nerves could finally relax this time. But Situ seemed to have no intention of stopping at all. After the outrageously high dolphin sound, the interlude of the rock song ended and the chorus sounded again. Situ continued the song almost seamlessly and sang this wild rock song again. Fuck, what the hell is this? Is this guy's throat made of flesh? Is he lip syncing? No, doesn't he need to breathe when he sings? I thought I was already very excited just now, but now I can do it again. What the hell is this guy I'm a fan of? He never told me he's that fierce. He must be cheating. Many audience members were almost stunned by what they heard. Nothing can stir people's emotions better than a piece of explosive rock music. If there is, it would be a rock song followed by a roof-shaking high note and then another rock song. Never mind the audience. Even Liu Mingyu was confused at this moment. I don't remember teaching him to play like this. He's a professional singer and knows how much demand this kind of singing places on the vocal cords and breath. Jiang Qianming was quite proud at the moment. He whispered to Liu Mingyu and Shen Feng. Actually, this is what I rehearsed with him privately. Before Jiang Qianming slept with Li Yuya, he had always been roommates with Situ. As a good brother of Situ, Jiang Qianming would ask Situ to sing for him when he had nothing to do. Situ had sung Opera 2, and the rock song that Liu Mingyu taught him before. At that time, Jiang Qianming felt that Situ had a very strong voice, as he could actually sing the songs of completely different styles in a row. So on a whim, I asked Situ to continue singing the dolphin sound of Opera 2 in rock and roll. Unexpectedly, the effect was quite good. Is this your secret plan? Shen Cheng raised his eyebrows and asked. As a result, Jiang Qianming actually shook his head and said, No, this can only be regarded as a small trick. The real trick is still to come. Speaking of, Situ, who was singing happily, suddenly looked in Jiang Qianming's direction. After Jiang Qianming nodded, Situ lifted up her clothes while singing. He simply took off the short-sleeved shirt that was soaked with sweat, revealing his well-defined muscles. Although Situ looks quite simple and thin, he can't even walk steadily when he is nervous. But his family lives in a mountainous rural area and he grew up doing farm work. Plus, he seldom eats unhealthy food, so even though his physique isn't as good as that of professional bodybuilders, it's still much better than many ordinary people. Especially now. Situ Gang was singing at a high intensity and was sweating a lot. The muscle lines are more obvious against the backdrop of sweat. The comments in the live broadcast room froze for a few seconds before suddenly exploding. My baby, you are so handsome. Who said my hand and doesn't have the feel of a boy band? Are you going to flirt with me? You got to flirt with me to death. I wanted to treat you as my son, but now you force me to be your wife. Husband, don't show it to other women, just let me see it. Okay, Bauer. I'm dying over these silly muscles. I really want to bury my face in their silly chest muscles. For a while. I don't know how many interjections and exclamation marks there are in the live broadcast room, and countless accounts that triggered sensitive words and were banned by the system. Jiang Tianming smiled triumphantly at this time and said, "This is my best trick. I've noticed that he has a nice body. Even though he's not a very good dancer, I believe that this will definitely drive those female fans crazy. What do you think, brother-in-law? Is my idea no-brainer?" Chen Cheng looked at him, then at Sidiyu. Then he asked, "When you gave Sidiyu a great plan, did you tell him that he only needed to take off his shirt?" Jiang Tianming, "It seems not. I just told him to take off his clothes." Jiang Tianming, "But he shouldn't be that stupid. Right? Right?" Jiang Tianming, "He shouldn't be that stupid. Probably." Jiang Tianming. Jiang Tianming looked at Sidiyu on the stage. Sidiyu, who had just taken off his shirt, was actually planning to untie the belt on his pants. Jiang Tianming's face almost turned pale with fright. He quickly rushed onto the stage and stopped Sidiyu. As a result, the barrage was still unhappy at this time. A sentence was swiped out in unison. "Let him take it off." Chapter 251. He is really stupid. The ancients said, "Food and sex are human nature." The ancients also said, "Boys should protect themselves in front of the camera." The ancients also had clouds. When a girl becomes lustful, there is nothing a man can do. Most of the people who like to chase stars are girls. Those who like to follow talent show variety shows like Youth Group are mostly girls. If we say that these girls like Xiaozu, it is because they appreciate her dance and recognize her singing. Now the purpose of Sidiyu's madness is much simpler. So simple that it is indescribable. Although some male audiences do not approve of Sidiyu's striptease performance, there are too few male audiences and their influence is too low. There was no way to suppress the excited comments from the sisters. It was not until Jiang Tianming helped Sidiyu put on his clothes and took Sidiyu off the stage that the comments in the live broadcast room gradually quieted down. However, Sister Lin, who had been watching the live broadcast room in Weibo, knew that the quietness in the live broadcast room did not mean that these sisters had stopped. Instead, they took advantage of Sidiyu's departure to shift their positions and went to Weibo to post photos of Sidiyu and the editing of this song. Many netizens who had paid attention to Youth Group before but did not watch today's live broadcast became interested when they saw that Sidiyu, who had acted silly before, was actually having so much fun today. The number of viewers in the live broadcast room is constantly increasing. Director Tian took advantage of the large audience and said, "Dear audience, the first place contestants from Groups A and B have finished their performances. It's time for you to give your scores to the contestants. Wait for the voting machine to appear, and everyone is welcome to vote for your favorite contestant. Each person is limited to one vote." After Director Tian finished speaking, a voting machine was brought out from the live broadcast room. All I saw was that Sidiyu's votes were rising at a terrifying rate. Almost instantly, the gap between him and Xiaozu widened by several times. Some viewers who had not watched the previous live broadcast and had just entered the live broadcast room were a little dumbfounded. What's going on? I've seen Xiaozu before, and she's also very talented. So why is the vote gap so big? Yes, Xiaozu is good at singing and dancing. So she shouldn't have such a big gap in votes with Sidiyu, right? Is there a conspiracy or some trolls? At this moment, some of Xiaozu's fans started to speak in a sarcastic manner. "If I want to please girls, I will take off my clothes." Nowadays, fans are so happy when they see male stars showing some flesh. These votes are all fake. Zuer is so pitiful, she has real strength. But she has to lose to such a despicable method. Xiaozu's fans are so sarcastic. Those passersby who had just entered the live broadcast room and didn't understand what was happening were led by the rhythm. Subconsciously, everyone thought that Sidiyu Quan won so many votes through unfair means. For a moment, these viewers who had just entered the live broadcast room actually felt united in their hatred of the enemy. While voting for Xiaozu, he also did not forget to join the trend in criticizing Sidiyu. But before they could finish criticizing, the program team played the replay of the performance of the two actors. The first performance to be played was Xiaozu's. The performance of Xiaozu, who is good at singing and dancing, made the new audience feel that it would be a pity if such a Xiaozu lost. He even felt that Sidiyu Sheng was unjust and his methods were despicable. So more new audiences came to vote for Xiaozu. All of a sudden, Xiaozu's votes were fully recovered. It turns out that these viewers had just voted. Sidiyu's replay performance was then brought up. At first, it was Sidiyu's signature opera too. Just the same old three. You only know this, and you think you are better than Xiaozu? If you don't have any talent, you can only rely on selling your body. This is the level of Sidiyu. Then, when Sidiyu sang rock music right after opera 2, and then sang dolphin sound to rock music, the climaxes one after another stunned the audience who had just arrived. Although Sidiyu basically did not have any dancing performances. But this song is really explosive. Especially since Xiaozu's gentle song and dance had just finished. Sidiyu's song seemed even more powerful. So much so that when Sidiyu, who was sweating profusely while singing, tore off his shirt, the audience who had previously criticized Sidiyu for selling his body to win votes hardly felt anything out of place. Unlike some handsome young men who can only win the favor of girls by relying on their skinny bodies, he looks like a general who has just taken off his armor after returning victorious from a fight. Who told me just now that Sidiyu's votes were all fake? I voted for Xiaozu by mistake. This part was obviously explosive. This isn't called selling sex to solicit votes, right? There's so much tension on stage here, I think it fits in pretty well. Luckily I haven't voted yet. I was almost fooled by Xiaozu's fans. Us looking at the continuous high notes in the beginning. How many stars in the music industry dare to say they can sing it? Just based on this song, Sidiyu will definitely crush Xiaozu. I just have one question. Why didn't you take off your pants in the end? Did I wait in vain? After the video was played, Sidiyu's reputation turned around again. After the video was played, Director Tian invited Sidiyu and Xiaozu to the stage. Now that the voting is complete, why don't you two guess who got more votes? Director Tian asked with a smile. Sidiyu scratched his head and said, "It should be her. I think she sings and dances very well. But I can only sing and not dance. But you can take it off," Xiaozu suddenly said. Although Xiaozu's singing and dancing are relatively gentle, her personality is not at all soft. Although Xiaozu felt that she could not compare to Sidiyu in singing, Sidiyu's final action of taking off clothes really made Xiaozu feel awkward. She knew she was bound to lose, but she felt very frustrated. So now that Xiaozu knew she was going to be eliminated, she started to be sarcastic to Sidiyu. I originally wanted to confront Sidiyu and leave him speechless. Unexpectedly, Sidiyu asked with a dull look on his face, "You don't know how to take it off, Xiaozu?" Xiaozu's face turned red immediately, and she glared at Sidiyu and said angrily, "What are you talking about?" Director Tian also quickly said to Sidiyu, "A contestant Sidiyu, please be careful with your words." Sidiyu scratched his head in astonishment. Did I say something wrong? But I've been able to dress and rest by myself since I was 3 years old. Hasn't this sister learned it even though she's so old? Xiaozu said depressed. Lie, when I said I can't take off my clothes, I didn't mean I can't take off my clothes by myself. So what do you mean, hair loss? Sidiyu tugged at his hair again. But I don't seem to lose my hair either. What I said is that I won't take off my clothes on the stage in front of the camera. Don't you understand? Xiaozu said angrily. In the end, Sidiyu still didn't quite understand. Are the steps for taking off clothes on stage different from normal ones? Why can't I do it on stage? Xiaozu, can you please stop playing dumb in front of me? I know I lost to you, but you don't have to act dumb to humiliate me. Listening to Xiaozu's angry tone, although Sidiyu still didn't quite understand what he had done wrong, he still decided to apologize to Xiaozu. He bowed to Xiaozu and said politely, "Excuse me, young." When Sidiyu was about to apologize, Zhang Jianning rushed up at the speed of a 100-meter sprint. Before Sidiyu could say the last word, he covered Sidiyu's mouth. Then he said to Xiaozu sincerely, "Beautiful sister. Don't blame him, he is not pretending to be stupid. He's really stupid." Chapter 250 to Kidnappers and Hostages. If Zhang Jianming hadn't come on stage to rescue them, I guess Xiaozu was so angry that she was carried away on a stretcher. Fortunately, Zhang Jianming was good at talking, and after a few words, Xiaozu was no longer so angry. But he still glared at Sidiyu several times. It seemed as if he wanted to completely imprint this damn guy pretending to be stupid in his mind. After seeing the situation calm down, Director Chen wiped the sweat off his forehead and announced the winner of this round, Sidiyu. Although Xiaozu, a popular contestant, was eliminated, Director Tian also felt it was a pity. But there is no way. He set the competition system, and once it is set, it cannot be changed. The failed Xiaozu left the stage early, leaving only Sidiyu and Zhang Tianming on the stage. Zhang Jianming also wanted to leave, but Director Tian held him back. Director Tian felt that if there was only one Sidiyu on the court, he might not be able to handle it. Zhang Tianming, the man who can control Sidiyu, cannot leave. Okay, now, contestant Sidiyu, as the winner, please give a speech and say something you want to say to your fans, Director Tian said. Sidiyu pondered seriously for a long time. Finally he said, "How should I express my gratitude?" "Just tell me who you want to thank," Director Tian said. Only then did Sidiyu understand. Then he said to Director Tian, "Thank you for letting me win." Director Tian said immediately, "Don't talk nonsense, your victory is all based on your own strength. It has nothing to do with me." Oh my god, if other people mistakenly think this is a shady deal, he would probably not be able to continue running this show. Sidiyu scratched his head and said, Then should I thank Sister Xiaozu for letting me go? Just after leaving the scene, Xiaozu, who was being comforted by Wenhua, almost rushed up again. Let your uncle. Just show who you are, right? Just show who you are, right? And Sidu Yu added, I also have to thank Mentor Li Mingyu. He was the one who taught me to sing that rock song. By the way, I have to thank Brother Tianming. Sidu Yu looked at Zhang Tianming. It was he who suggested singing, opera 2, mixed with rock music, and he was the one who asked me to take off my clothes at the end. Thank you so much for being so thoughtful and reminding me to take off my clothes. Otherwise I would definitely be very hot. Director Tian. Is he asking you to take off your clothes because he's afraid you'll be hot? But since Zhang Tianming was mentioned, Director Tian asked, let me ask you a few more questions. Can you tell the audience what your relationship with Zhang Tianming is? Zhang Tianming is also a popular contestant now, and Sidu Yu is also a popular contestant. Director Tian believes that many people will pay attention to this topic related to these two people. I have added Brother Tianming on WeChat. He is his lifelong brother. Sidu Yu sincerely repeated the words that Zhang Tianming had used to deceive him. Zhang Tianming quickly added, I rarely add people to my WeChat. Those who can add me on WeChat are all my good brothers. Your dad also has your WeChat account. Zhang Wanwan in the audience suddenly asked, is your dad also a good brother? Zhang Tianming looked at his sister bitterly. He noticed that Zhang Wanwan was staring at him. Zhang Tianming sighed in his heart. It seems that helping Situ eliminate the top players in Zhang Wanwan and Wenhua's group has made Zhang Wanwan dissatisfied with him. My father and I have no generation gap. We have a good relationship. As close as brothers. Zhang Tianming said finally. So your mother is also in your WeChat friends list, right? My relationship with my mother is like that of a brother. Your sister, I also have your friends. You and I are as close as brothers. Your girlfriend is also your WeChat friend. Zhang Wanwan suddenly smiled sinisterly. You and her are as close as brothers, so is your relationship a brotherhood or a love relationship? Zhang Tianming took a deep breath. Is there no true love between brothers? Zhang Wanwan rolled her eyes and finally stopped making things difficult for Zhang Tianming. Director Tian smiled and continued the previous topic by asking Sidu Yu, besides adding each other on WeChat, do you have any other relationship with Zhang Tianming? We still sleep together. Sidu Yu said honestly. There was a commotion in the barrage. Zhang Tianming hurriedly explained. Sleeping together means that we live in the same dormitory. Brother Tianming often asks me to take off my clothes. Sidu Yu said again. That's because he has bad habits. He always sleeps in his clothes. He doesn't take them off even when it's hot. He turns up the air conditioner, which makes me unable to sleep because of the cold. Brother Tianming always likes to hug me. That's not cold hugging. That's normal arms in arms. That's what brothers do. Seeing that Director Tian's eyes looked a little strange when he looked at him, Zhang Tianming spread his hands helplessly. Don't think too much. We are just good brothers. Is there no true love between brothers? Zhang Wanwan in the audience spoke again in a sarcastic tone. This is what young Master Zhang said just now. Zhang Tianming bowed speechlessly to Zhang Wanwan. Sister, I was wrong, please forgive me. Sidu Yu didn't understand why. And wanted to apologize with Zhang Tianming. Boss, I'm so young. Zhang Tianming covered Sidu Yu's mouth tightly. He swore that he would warn Sidu Yu after returning this time and never let Sidu Yu say those 3 words again. If Sidu Yu just said these 3 words to the camera, the only people he would lose would be his fans. But if I tell Zhang Wanwan, Zhang Tianming felt that Sidu Yu would lose the rest of his life. Sidu Yu and Zhang Tianming walked off the stage after the interview. However, until the next group of contestants came on stage, there were still many people discussing Sidu Yu and Zhang Tianming in the barrage. Did they really sleep together? Why do I feel like Zhang Tianming's explanation is an attempt to cover up something? They can't really be that kind of relationship. I think Zhang Tianming's covering his mouth is so natural. Do good brothers usually cover their mouths so naturally? I'm gay, let me tell you, gay friends wouldn't cover their mouths so naturally. What kind of relationship would lead to such an intimate action? Probably between the kidnappers and the hostages. Forget it, no matter what, I want to support this couple. Many female fans like the idea of two handsome guys flirting with each other. Not long after Zhang Tianming and Sidu Yu got off the stage, a CP super topic of Sidu Yu and Zhang Tianming was established on Weibo. The name of the CP is quite sinister, called Yuming. But Zhang Tianming didn't know all this yet. In the evening, Zhang Tianming coaxed Li Yuya for a long time about this matter. Just like when Shen Feng coaxed Zhang Wanwan. That evening, Zhang Wanwan sat at the dining table in the room. He turned his head away and didn't look at Shen Feng. Also try not to look at Shen Feng's table of food. Wanji, don't be angry, it's time to eat. Shen Feng picked up a piece of meat with chopsticks and fed it to Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan swallowed. But he still shook his head firmly. Don't try to seduce me. Chen Cheng said helplessly. Someone has to be eliminated if you can't bear to see Xiaozu eliminated. Can you bear to see Sidiyu eliminated? Zhang Wanwan was indeed not very happy because Xiaozu was eliminated today. Xiaozu's dancing and singing skills are both excellent, and she is the ideal candidate for the C position in Zhang Wanwan's mind. But now he was eliminated in the first game. Although Zhang Wanwan knew that Shen Feng was not to blame for this, she still felt a little uncomfortable. What, to be coaxed by Shen Feng? How could Shen Feng not know Zhang Wanwan's little thoughts? He put the meat on the chopsticks into his mouth. Zhang Wanwan had been keeping an eye on the piece of meat with her peripheral vision. She was a little angry when she saw that Shen Feng ate the meat himself. As a result, Shen Feng suddenly walked up to her and lifted her chin with his hand. He leaned over and kissed her, then pushed the meat into Zhang Wanwan's mouth. After feeding it, Shen Feng asked in a low voice, "Is the sweet and sour food you like delicious?" Zhang Wanwan blushed, and after swallowing the meat, she whispered, It's okay, but I'm not that easy to please." Shen Feng smiled. "I also think that just coaxing you like this is not enough." As he spoke, he moved closer to Zhang Wanwan's lips. "I'll keep kissing you until you say you've had enough. What do you think?" Their lips touched, and the slender person was embraced by the broad arms. From the dining table, coaxed into bed. Chapter 253. Little Bird. The third round of eliminations lasted for 5 consecutive days. After 5 days, there were only 8 players left in Group A of Shen Feng and Liu Mingyu. Zhang Tianming successfully advanced and stayed. There are still 12 contestants left in Group B of Zhang Wanwan and Wen Hua. In total, there are 20 people. Although Liu Mingyu used Sidiyu to eliminate Xiaozu, the best player from Wen Hua's side, at the beginning. But because Zhang Wanwan had the right to choose the team first, Zhang Wanwan's team was originally composed entirely of elites. In order to eliminate the problematic contestants in the program uniformly, Chen Cheng did not pay much attention to the average level of team members when selecting the team. As one grows stronger, the other shrinks. The overall strength of Zhang Wanwan and Wen Hua's group is higher than that of Liu Mingyu and Shen Feng's group. It is normal that there are many winners in the end. But the fact that there are few players left in Group A is not necessarily a bad thing. With fewer contestants, there will be less pressure when arranging music and choreography, and each contestant will have more opportunities to perform well. After all, what matters in the end is the overall strength of the two groups, not the number of people. After the third round of eliminations, Director Tian gave all the mentors and contestants a 5-day vacation. It was also announced on Weibo that Youth Group will no longer broadcast live in the next 25 days. Allow each group of mentors and contestants to enter a relatively confidential creative time. During these 25 days, Youth Group will only release some of the previous live broadcast highlights and private interviews with some of the contestants during the 20 days. This made many viewers of Youth Group wail. Although this show is not as interesting as Let's Start Dating Today, this kind of talent show has a fixed audience. Even without Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan joining, our ratings of Youth Group would not be too low. The arrival of these two people is icing on the cake. 5 days is not too short, so Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan decided to go home and take a look during the holiday. Originally they wanted to take Liu Ye back with them, but Zhang Tianming said that Liu Ye had to go home with him. Seeing that Liu Ye had no objection, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan did not stop her. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan were very pleased to see that Liu Ye was recognized by the Zhang family and found someone she liked. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan borrowed a car from the program crew and planned to drive to the airport. Sister Lin followed them and bought plane tickets for them. "Okay, the plane tickets are bought, you can go now," Sister Lin said. Zhang Wanwan, who had already gotten in the car and sat in the passenger seat, opened the window and stuck her head out. "Sister Lin, why don't you get in the car? Let's go. I won't go back with you." Sister Lin cleared her throat and didn't look at Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan frowned and looked at Sister Lin. "Why don't you go back with us? Do you want to stay in the base by yourself for 5 days? That would be so boring." As a result, Zhang Wanwan had just finished speaking. An extremely beautiful red sports car drifted and stopped in front of Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan's car. Then, a long-haired woman wearing a suit and sunglasses, who looked more handsome than the man, got out of the car. He walked to Sister Lin with a pair of long legs wrapped in trousers and took Sister Lin's arm. "Arlene, long time no see. QNMRQN?" Zhang Wanwan was stunned. King actually came to see Sister Lin in person? Wasn't she on a business trip abroad before and was said to be very busy? Sister Lin seemed a little embarrassed and rolled her eyes at King, but she still did not pull back her arm that King was holding. King smiled, then took off his sunglasses and greeted Zhang Wanwan and Shen Feng. "Wanwan, Shen Feng, long time no see. You are going to the airport to catch a flight later, right? Then I won't keep you any longer, don't worry. I will stay at the training base to take care of Arlene for the next few days." but outsiders are not allowed to enter the training base. Zhang Wanwan said. As a result, King King smiled mysteriously. Wanwan, it seems that your director Tian has not told you that the biggest sponsor of your show's premiere in 25 days is Mingyu Jewelry. King King had just finished speaking. Then Director Tian came running out of the training base happily and greeted King King and Sister Lin. King King still held Sister Lin's hand, but now her actions made it seem as if she was just a good sister who had a good relationship with Sister Lin. Director Tian didn't think much about it and invited King King to the training base. Someone was also sent to park King King's sports car. After everyone returned to the training base, Zhang Wanwan's little nose twitched and she sighed with some emotion. Chen Feng smiled and pinched her little face. Why? Are you happy that Sister Lin has someone to accompany her? Or are you sad that Sister Lin is not going back with you this time? Neither. Zhang Wanwan was very melancholy. I just suddenly realized that Sister Lin is so short. Chen Feng. In my mind, Sister Lin is always very majestic and intimidating. If she were in a female-oriented novel, she would at least be a vicious female supporting role who is the mastermind behind the scenes. I didn't expect that compared to Boskin, Sister Lin is actually a little bit more docile. As she spoke, Zhang Wanwan looked at Shen Feng. In the eyes of outsiders, I should also be the image of a female man if you are by my side. Will outsiders also think that I am like a little bird? Shen Feng did not answer immediately. Instead, he took out his cell phone and seemed to type a few words. After waiting for less than a minute, Shen Feng handed the phone to Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan took the phone and took a look. Shen Feng just posted a Weibo. Chen Feng, Wanwan wants to ask you, do you feel like a little bird when she is with me? It's been less than a minute and there are already a lot of replies. Does Wan Ji have any misunderstanding about the term little bird relying on people? From a physique perspective, I am quite petite, but from a personality perspective, I am at least as timid as a vulture. Conservative. Eagles start. Be conservative, the tiger starts. Ew, conservative. Tyrannosaurus Rex starts. How could our Wan Ji's character be so bad? Didn't he just cheat the teacher with a circle lock? Cheat Director Chen as a robber, cheat a street vendor owner as a bandit, portray Director Tian in a dirty way, and cheat Feng Zi in various ways. Is this a big deal? That's right, I wish Wanwan would bully me like this every day. This one is even more of a heavyweight. Look at the comments below. Zhang Wanwan narrowly avoided throwing her phone away. How could she be so irritable? She is obviously very kind and gentle. Okay? The more Zhang Wanwan thought about it, the angrier she became. Finally, he grabbed Shen Feng's arm and took a bite. Shen Feng almost laughed out loud when he was bitten. If you want to eat pork elbow, I'll go home and stew it for you. Why eat it raw? I just like to eat it raw. What do you care about me? Zhang Wanwan snorted. As a result, Shen Feng suddenly unbuckled the seat belt of the main driver's seat. He moved closer to Zhang Wanwan. He narrowed his eyes and said, if you want to eat it raw, wait until we get home and I'll give you enough to eat. You can eat wherever you want, okay? Zhang Wanwan stretched out her hand and rubbed Shen Feng's face. Then said with a red face, little rascal, hurry up and drive the car, or you will miss the plane. Shen Feng fastened his seat belt again and said with a smile, I can't tolerate being called a hooligan, but why do you still call me a little hooligan? Don't you know best whether I am big or small? Shut up. Zhang Wanwan stuffed the small cake that she had originally intended to eat on the road into Shen Feng's mouth. Chapter 250 For what? Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan first flew back to downtown Zhanghe. Then he rushed to Zhang Ziyiqi's house first. Today is the weekend, and Zhang Ziyiqi has nothing to do at the company, so he just rests at home. When Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan arrived, Zhang Ziyiqi was cooking in the kitchen. Su Yan was playing with a ball. Only when the ball came towards Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan with its tail wagging did Zhang Wanwan dare to confirm that it was their steamed bread. It seems that the food Wotu eats at Zhang Ziyiqi's house is really good. I'm almost too fat to be in good shape. I guess Wotu himself didn't realize that he has pig bloodline. Zhang Wanwan complained to Shen Feng in a low voice. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan are back, so Zhang Ziyiqi and Su Yan are naturally very happy. It has been more than a month since the two of them went to Sichuan City to record a variety show and have not returned. A month is neither long nor short, and you can see these two people in the live broadcast every day. But as parents, we all want to see our children with our own eyes. Zhang Ziyiqi made a bold statement and ordered more dishes for lunch. So Shen Feng went to the kitchen to help. Su Yan was holding the ball and chatting with Zhang Wanwan in the living room. At the beginning, Su Yan just chatted about some daily life topics. The mother and daughter were chatting and laughing. Gradually Su Yan's topic began to go off track. She sat closer to Zhang Wanwan mysteriously. Then he whispered to Zhang Wanwan, Wanwan, do you have it? Zhang Wanwan didn't hear clearly at first. I have rice? I have what rice? Mom, why are you still acting cute? Su Yan looked towards the kitchen mysteriously again. Then asked, "No, I'm asking you, are you pregnant?" Zhang Wanwan finally heard it clearly. With an unnatural expression on his face, he said, "Not yet." "Not yet. Why not? Isn't Fengzi working hard enough? I guess I need to urge him." "Don't." Zhang Wanwan almost jumped up to stop Su Yan. Now Shen Feng is almost making it impossible for her to get out of bed. If Su Yan urged Shen Feng again, Shen Feng would have even more reason to bully her. That little rascal is a wolf that can never be fed. Su Yan patted Zhang Wanwan and said, "Hey, why are you reacting so strongly? Your father and I, as well as Shen Feng's parents, are all waiting to have grandchildren. Besides, you two are not young anymore. It's time to have children. But we haven't even graduated from college yet. How can we be considered old enough?" Zhang Wanwan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Although to some extent, she is indeed not young, Feng Zi is already over 800 years old. But in terms of their real age, she and Feng Zi are only 22 or 23 years old this year. Still in college. "Hey, what you said means that you should have children before you graduate. But I heard that children of college students can add credits," Su Yan said seriously. "Where did you hear that? Besides, your daughter is a top student in school without extra credits. I think you're pretty good at being a school bully." Su Yan poked Zhang Wanwan's head and said, "Anyway, hurry up and get the baby. Oh, and I have something for you." Su Yan went upstairs carrying a pig and soon brought down some things. When Zhang Wanwan sighed, her eyes twitched. Pregnancy Guide. Tips to help pregnancy, how young people prepare for pregnancy. Collection of pregnancy remedies. Su Yan brought a bunch of brochures bought from a street stall. There is also a box of pregnancy test sticks. Zhang Wanwan was speechless for a long time. Finally, he looked at the other things Su Yan brought. A pair of bracelets. Finally, a somewhat relieved smile appeared on his face. Comrade Su Yan finally loves her daughter in addition to urging her to have a baby. She also prepared other gifts for her. Although this bracelet doesn't look very good. "It is a gift from my mother, isn't it?" Zhang Wanwan picked up the bracelet with a smile and put it on her wrist. Then he looked at another bracelet. "Is that Feng Zi's?" "Yes." Su Yan nodded. "You must make him wear it later." "Yeah, Mom, you're so nice, you even bought us gifts." Zhang Wanwan hugged Su Yan and rubbed her against him. "Of course, and I spent a lot of effort to get this thing. I asked for it from the senior monk in Beiyin Temple here. It was blessed by the senior monk at S8,188 for a pair." Although Su Yan didn't care much about the money, she still had to show her love to her daughter. Although Zhang Wanwan felt that it was a bit strange to have a high monk in a Taoist temple in Beiyin Temple, she still said to Su Yan, "Thank you, Mom. By the way, what kind of light does this bracelet bring? Is it for safety, wealth, or marriage?" Su Yan laughed and said, "I asked a senior monk to help me with this. It's specially for protecting the fetus." Zhang Wanwan immediately stopped, trying to get close to Su Yan. Nothing else to say. It's too outrageous to ask a monk to consecrate and protect the fetus. Zhang Wanwan would accept anyone if they found a nun, or even the owner of a force shop. Zhang Wanwan took off the bracelet silently. "Brother Wan, come and try this dish." Shen Feng's voice suddenly came from the kitchen. Zhang Wanwan put down the bracelet and hurried over. When she went over, Zhang Ziaiqi just came out of the kitchen. Only Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan were left in the kitchen. Shen Feng first fed Zhang Wanwan a piece of pork ribs. When Zhang Wanwan was gnawing on the ribs, Shen Feng whispered, "Wan brother, our mother has good intentions, but if you don't want it for the time being, don't take it as a psychological burden." Zhang Wanwan looked at Shen Feng. You heard everything?" Shen Feng smiled and said, "I heard it. Dad was just talking about this as well. A dad is quite open-minded. He said that our mom was a little too crazy and told us not to take it too seriously." Zhang Wanwan nodded slightly. In fact, she understood why Su Yan wanted a child so much. Due to family reasons, Zhang Ziaiqi worked outside for the company in his early years and seldom went home. Zhang Wanwan started living in the school dormitory when she was in middle school, and was later discovered by a scout and became a star. The time to go home has also become less and less. It can be said that Su Yan has been living alone almost all the time in the past few years. It was only in recent years that Zhang Ziaiqi's company became stable and he had time to spend more time with Su Yan. However, Su Yan still hopes from the bottom of her heart that she can have a grandson as soon as possible so that he can accompany her and make her life more fulfilling. Raising WOTU might be because WOTU was smart enough that Su Yan treated him as her own child. Moreover, Zhang Wanwan has never been opposed to having children. "But I never wanted to go." Zhang Wanwan was eating a bone and suddenly looked at Shen Feng. "How about you go for a physical examination?" Shen Feng was speechless. "Haven't you given me enough physical examinations tonight?" "Fuck you, how can that be the same? So let's go to the hospital when we're free in the afternoon. How about that?" although Shen Feng felt it was unnecessary. But after lunch in the afternoon, Zhang Wanwan still took Shen Feng to a private hospital with better confidentiality for a checkup. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan did it once each. The two people went there around 2 p.m. Finally, it came out at 2:30. When the results came out, Shen Feng happened to go out to buy milk tea for Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan went to the clinic alone. Then she asked the doctor worriedly, "Doctor, is there anything wrong with my husband's health?" The doctor looked at Zhang Wanwan. I looked at the report again. He looked at Zhang Wanwan again. Finally, she shook her head and said, "There's nothing wrong with your husband's health." Zhang Wanwan breathed a sigh of relief. "But you have a problem." Zhang Wanwan took another breath. The doctor picked up the report and handed it to Zhang Wanwan. "You're already pregnant. Why are you bringing your husband here for a physical examination?" Zhang Wanwan picked up the report form in a daze. "What? Chapter 255 Being with you is the happiest thing." Shen Feng came back with milk tea. But he found Zhang Wanwan standing at the hospital entrance. Holding the examination report, the expression on his face looked quite complicated. Shen Feng walked forward with milk tea and asked, "What's wrong? Did the examination really find a problem?" Zhang Wanwan nodded. She suddenly looked at Shen Feng pitifully. Pulling Shen Feng's sleeve, he whispered, "Fengzi, if there is something wrong with my examination, what will you do?" Shen Cheng picked up the milk tea, inserted a straw, and handed it to Zhang Wanwan's mouth. After Zhang Wanwan took the milk tea, Shen Feng stretched out his hand and pinched Zhang Wanwan's wrist, saying, "Maybe I will be happy?" Zhang Wanwan almost choked on her milk tea. "Are you happy that I have a problem?" Shen Cheng laughed softly. "Why, aren't you happy?" Zhang Wanwan looked at Shen Feng's hand that was holding her wrist, then rolled her eyes and said angrily, "I forgot that you know a little bit about everything. You can even figure this out." But she couldn't help but smile. Of course she was happy too. After exchanging a glance with Shen Feng, they both laughed out loud. Zhang Wanwan even hugged Shen Feng and laughed out loud. The milk tea in his hand flowed onto Shen Feng's collar. Doctors passing by the private hospital couldn't help but look at the two of them with strange eyes. If their hospital didn't have a psychiatric ward, the doctor would probably have suspected whether these two people were here to see a doctor or had escaped from the ward. On the way home, Zhang Wanwan sat in the passenger seat with a very proud look on her face. After glancing at Shen Feng, he said, "Fengzi, why do I feel like you don't seem that happy?" Shen Feng smiled. "Why do you think so? I think I am already very happy." No. Zhang Wanwan shook her head. "Your happiness has different levels. Just like the first time you saw me after your rebirth. And when you got the marriage certificate with me, you were the happiest at that time. You haven't reached that level yet, maybe you're even a little worse." Then Zhang Wanwan pondered and said, "Think about it carefully. Although you asked me whether I wanted a son or a daughter before, it seems that you don't care much about whether you want a son or a daughter. My mother urged me to have a child, and you advised me not to feel burdened. As if you didn't take it seriously at all? Fengzi, you don't want a child that much, do you?" Zhang Wanwan finally came to this conclusion. Shen Feng had already driven Zhang Wanwan back to their villa. Listening to Zhang Wanwan's words, Shen Feng parked the car and then gently hugged Zhang Wanwan. He smiled and whispered, "Wanji, I want to have a child with you. I am very happy and blessed. Because being with you is the happiest thing in my life, so it doesn't matter what I do with you." A long time ago, having a child was indeed a dream for me, because during the time when I was reborn, a certain Zhang Wanwan told me that she wanted a daughter. She liked daughters, and this was her wish. So, this has become my wish. Shen Feng sighed softly, but since my mother and mother-in-law showed me a lot of parenting guides, my thoughts have changed. Why? Zhang Wanwan blinked. Shen Feng smiled and said, "Because I think it's very troublesome. I'm worried that I won't be able to raise you well enough if I devote all my energy to raising you. If another baby comes to distract me, I'm worried that you, my great baby, will be neglected." He stroked Zhang Wanwan's hair gently with his hand. The long black hair is like a waterfall, smooth as silk on the fingertips. Pinching a strand of hair between his fingertips, Shen Feng said, "And I'm also afraid that if you have another baby, I'll be left out." Zhang Wanwan blushed slightly, and muttered, "You're jealous of your own child too, you always say I'm the jealous one. But I think you're the one." Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan moved closer. "I have never been jealous of others, because I am confident that no one can snatch you away from me. But if it's our child, I really have no confidence. Although I am excellent, my child may be better than me. It would be best if your child doesn't inherit your thick skin." Zhang Wanwan pinched Shen Feng's face with her backhand. But soon, she unbuckled her seat belt from the co-pilot seat and climbed onto the driver's seat. "Shen Feng." Holding Shen Feng's face, he whispered, "Fengzi, Don't think so much in the future. Don't even say you can trace me well. I'll be very angry if I hear that. I know how good you are to me. The food you cook is delicious, the tea you make is tasty. You take good care of me when I'm sick, and you make me happy when I'm unhappy. You always know what I want and what you'll do for me. You protect my little emotions, my wolflessness, and the mistakes I make. You are the best person to me, and you are the one I love the most. No matter if we have children, sons, cars, houses, dogs, cats, or anything else in the future, you are still the one I love the most. John Won said here. But I couldn't help it first. First my lips, and tears fell with red eyes. Chen Sheng helped John Won wipe away her tears. Then he kissed John Won lightly on the lips. Well, I don't want to think about it anymore. John Won sniffed and wiped her tears. Then he rolled off Shen Feng's body and got out of the car. By the time Shen Feng got out of the car, John Won had already wiped away her tears. She smiled and took Shen Feng's hand, and said as they walked towards the villa, "Why don't you tell me what happened when you met me during your rebirth? Okay? Do you want to listen? That might take a long time. Will it take 80 years to finish listening to it?" Shen Feng smiled. "It would take 800 years to finish listening to it." I returned to the villa after a long absence. Chen Sheng simply cleaned up the place and John Won helped. While she was on the phone, John Won's cell phone rang. John Won looked and saw that the person calling was Su Yan. "Hey, Mom, what's going on?" John Won asked. Su Yan asked hurriedly on the other end of the phone. "How is it, Won? Are the test results out? How did you know I went for a checkup?" John Won was a little confused because she didn't tell Su Yan when she went for the checkup. "I said so," Chen Feng said beside him, "when I went to buy you milk tea in the afternoon. Mom asked me if I wanted to go to dinner in the evening. I said no, we are in the hospital for a checkup and don't know when we will be back." John Won. She hadn't thought about telling Su Yan yet, but she didn't expect Feng Zi to be so talkative. After thinking about it, John Won mouthed the words to Shen Feng. The meaning is to ask Shen Feng whether he told Su Yan what to check. John Won breathed a sigh of relief when she saw Shen Feng shaking his head. And he whispered into the phone, "Mom, the results are out. I do have." Su Yan immediately became excited. "Pregnant? Really? How many months?" "The doctor said it's been several months." "It's been so long? Oh, then we should stop filming." "But I don't think it will affect the filming." "How can it not affect you? It's been several months, hey. Didn't you feel anything before? Like craving spicy or sour food?" John Won shook her head. "No, I always want to eat sweet things." "Sweet? Well, then are you feeling uncomfortable in any way?" "No, it just hurts." Su Yan was stunned. "Hurt? How does it hurt?" "Stomachache." "No, my tooth hurts." John Won said a grieved lie. "The doctor said that I've had cavities for several months. It's because I ate too much sweets, but it hasn't affected my acting yet. So don't worry, Mom." Su Yan, you and Feng Zi, are you going there to check for cavities?" "Yeah, what else do you think?" "I didn't think so. Bye." "Hey, Mom, I have cavities. Can't you pay more attention to me?" John Won felt very aggrieved. "You have a toothache and you ate half a pot of sweet and sour pork ribs for lunch today. If you don't feel pain, who will?" After Su Yan finished speaking, she hung up the phone. But not long after, Shen Feng's phone rang again. Shen Sheng took a look and handed the phone to John Won. John Won took a look and saw that it was Su Yan who sent Shen Feng's several articles on how to cure toothache. He also said, "Let her eat less sweets and let her rinse her mouth and brush her teeth more often. This girl is a worry for me." John Won smiled and replied, "Okay, Mom." Chapter 256 I only envy the Mandarin ducks, not the immortals. Why don't you tell the truth? After cleaning up the room, Shen Feng and John Won lay on the bed and asked. John Won said, "If my mother really knew that I was pregnant, I probably wouldn't be able to leave Zhonghe City. The variety show hasn't been finished yet, and then there's the principal's movie. I don't want to rest until these are done." Chen Sheng rubbed John Won's head and said, "I can ask the principal to postpone the movie matter until next year." No, Principal Wang has just secured investment and has prepared everything. Why wait another year?" John Won waved her hand nonchalantly. "Don't worry, if I don't look pregnant in the first few months and it doesn't affect my movements, I will definitely have no problem filming. You have to believe in my professionalism. I'm a movie queen." Shen Feng sighed. "I am not worried about the professional qualities of the actress, but I am worried about my elder brother's health condition. The actual shooting time of a movie is not that long. The time spent is mainly on various pre-production preparations, post-production editing, and publicity and promotion operations. Even in the film industry, some star actors only need 1 or 2 days from filming to wrapping up the shoot. But making a movie still consumes a lot of energy. especially for an actor like Zhang Wanwan who strives for perfection. She must work harder when performing. Although Shen Feng also knew that there was no need to be so nervous in the first few months of pregnancy, he still felt sorry for his wife. But it's okay, Wanwan is the heroine and he is the hero. Being on the same set, he can still protect Wanwan Dian. In the evening, Zhang Wanwan rarely asked for the meal prepared by Shen Feng. She planned to go out and have some fun in the evening and watch a movie with Shen Feng. The two of them had dinner at Kaifeng Kai restaurant near the cinema. When we first entered Kaifeng Kai, the two people were wearing hats, masks and glasses, and they didn't look like good people. So the waiter was alert for a while. Under the clerk's vigilant gaze, the two ordered 2 sets of meals and then found a corner to sit down. He took off his mask and started eating with his head lowered like a thief. Also, pay attention from time to time to see if anyone is looking here. Zhang Wanwan was eating when she suddenly laughed out loud. I suddenly felt like we were two fugitives. Shen Feng also laughed. He reached out and wiped the sauce off Zhang Wanwan's face, and whispered, "The desperate couple wanders around the world. Don't talk about Mandarin ducks. I heard that Mandarin ducks are not loyal at all. They will find several mates in their lifetime. They are not as loyal as the legend says," Zhang Wanwan said. She originally thought it was quite romantic to envy the Mandarin ducks instead of the celestial beings. Later I heard that Mandarin ducks do not seem to be monogamous. From that time on, Zhang Wanwan felt that those who said they only envied the Mandarin ducks and not the immortals were probably envious of the Mandarin ducks for being able to find several wives. If even the Mandarin ducks, who are supposed to be affectionate, start to choose one person and stay together for life, doesn't that prove that it is true love? Chen Feng smiled. "Ah, only you are so eloquent that you can explain it this way." Zhang Wanwan ate a French fry and said, "But why did the ancients use the amorous bird Mandarin duck to represent the love between husband and wife? Is it because the ancients practiced polygamy? That's not the case. Mandarin ducks were originally used to describe brotherhood, and then it became a metaphor for love. Brotherhood turns into love? The ancients were so open about it." Shen Feng felt that it was a good thing that Zhang Wanwan didn't stay in school much now. If she stayed in school, most of the teachers would have to resign. The remaining half were angered to death on the spot. After eating Kaifeng cuisine, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan went to the cinema. The two bought movie tickets before they came, and Zhang Wanwan chose an animated movie. Because they bought it late and the movie was quite popular, they both sat in the corner. Zhang Wanwan found a seat with popcorn and Coke, waiting excitedly for the movie to begin. 10 minutes after it started, Zhang Wanwan was discussing the plot with Shen Feng in a low voice. Half an hour after the start, Zhang Wanwan was yawning and blinking. 40 minutes after the start, Zhang Wanwan leaned against Shen Feng and fell asleep. Shen Feng looked at Zhang Wanwan beside him and moved as close to her as possible. In fact, Shen Feng knew Zhang Wanwan has never been very fond of watching movies, because Zhang Wanwan is an actor herself and has very high requirements for acting skills. Many of the so-called blockbusters in cinemas are below the passing line in Zhang Wanwan's eyes, and there is no need to watch them at all. Sometimes Zhang Wanwan would fall asleep while watching TV series and chatting with Shen Feng at home. Not to mention in a dimly lit movie theater where not many people are talking. And Shen Feng also knew why Zhang Wanwan suddenly asked to watch a movie today. When Shen Feng used Zhang Wanwan's mobile phone to book tickets in the evening, he noticed that Zhang Wanwan searched for something in the browser. For example, how to make your boyfriend relax, how to relieve stress with your husband, etc. Shen Feng knew that his elder brother wanted to cheer him up, so he searched various methods on Baidu and finally decided to watch a movie. Shen Feng also leaned his head on Zhang Wanwan's head, looking at the flickering lights on the big screen and feeling Zhang Wanwan's warmth. He smiled. When the movie ended, the lights in the theater came on and the audience left. Zhang Wanwan yawned and stretched. And she realized she had fallen asleep again. She said dejectedly, "I specially picked out an animated movie, but I still feel sleepy. I wanted to watch it with you." Listening to Zhang Wanwan's mumbling, Shen Cheng soothed him. "Aren't you just watching this with me? Do you think it looks good?" Zhang Wanwan asked. Shen Cheng looked at Zhang Wanwan. "It looks good." "Really? Real? Where is the best place to look?" "You look the best." Chen Feng said this and picked up Zhang Wanwan. Holding her in his arms, he walked out of the screening room. Zhang Wanwan wanted to struggle at first, but when she realized that the more she struggled, more people would look at her, she simply buried her face in Shen Feng's arms, being held by Shen Feng and not looking at the road. Zhang Wanwan had no idea where Shen Feng was taking her. In the end, she only felt a cool breeze and Zhang Wanwan thought she had just come out of the cinema. When she looked out, she found that she was carried to the rooftop by Shen Feng. The roof of the cinema is not very high, but looking down at the traffic from above, you also have a feeling of looking down on all the other mountains. Chen Cheng held Zhang Wanwan in his arms, looked at the lights under the rooftop. and said, "Brother Wan, you don't have to do things you don't like for me in the future." Jiang Wanwan knew that her thoughts had been discovered, and said awkwardly, "It's not all for you, I just wanted to see it myself." Shen Feng smiled, "Then think of it as for me, don't do things you don't like in the future. Okay? I feel relaxed when I see you smile, I feel sad when I see you getting annoyed, bored, or disgusted. So in fact, I may also be a very selfish person." Shen Feng said slowly, "I hope you can satisfy this very selfish wish of mine in the future. Okay?" Jiang Wanwan was in Shen Feng's arms, looking at Shen Feng. She could see Shen Feng's face. You can also see the stars in the night sky behind Shen Feng. After a while, she nodded gently. Said with a smile, "Good. Chapter 257. Nan Feng knows my intention, I am happy to be deceived." The next day, Jiang Wanwan slept in at home. By the time she opened her eyes, it was already past noon. She hadn't had such a good rest for a long time. So she stretched lazily. But he found that Shen Sheng had gone somewhere unknown. At first Jiang Wanwan thought Shen Feng was cooking downstairs. But when she got dressed and got out of bed, she found that Shen Feng was not in the kitchen at all. After calling Shen Feng, Jiang Wanwan heard the ringing of a cell phone coming from the study on the second floor. Without waiting for Jiang Wanwan to go and see, Shen Feng walked out of the study. "Are you awake? Are you hungry? I'll go heat up some food for you." Jiang Wanwan raised her eyebrows. "Why did you go to the study?" Shen Feng's usual position at home is basically bedroom, living room, kitchen. And he occasionally goes to the bathroom. Unless there is a special situation. Shen Sheng usually doesn't go to the study. "I used the computer and did some stuff," Shen Feng said. Jiang Wanwan immediately became interested. "Which companies backstage have you hacked into again? Or did you try to find out which paparazzi was behind this?" Shen Sheng spread his hands. "Can't I use the computer to do something positive? Well, how about hacking Fuyan's bank account? I think this is quite positive energy." Jiang Wanwan said. "That's against the law. It's as if it's not illegal to hack other people's companies." Jiang Wanwan walked to Shen Feng's side, took Shen Feng's hand and asked, "Tell me quickly, what are you doing?" Shen Sheng smiled and pulled Jiang Wanwan downstairs. "I stewed meat for you earlier, I'll heat it up for you. But wash your hands and get ready to eat." Seeing Shen Feng change the subject, Jiang Wanwan became even more curious. "Feng Zi, usually there are very few things hidden from her. Shen Feng is so mysterious now, did he just do something shameful in the study that even she can't know? Is he using the computer in the study to watch some indescribable movies or play some indescribable games?" Jiang Wanwan wanted to secretly go to the study to take a look while Shen Feng was serving the meal. But before she went upstairs, Shen Feng came out with the food. Jiang Wanwan smelled the rich aroma of the stewed meat. "Finally, I chose to sit at the dinner table." After the meal, Jiang Wanwan, who was supposed to wash the pot, pushed the responsibility of washing the pot onto Shen Feng on the pretext that she was pregnant. Then he sneaked into the study. It turned out that the door of the study was locked. The key seems to have been taken away by Shen Feng. The door is even locked. This is too mysterious. But Feng Zi be researching nuclear weapons in the study? The more Jiang Wanwan thought about it, the more curious she became. When Shen Feng came back after washing the pot, Jiang Wanwan pulled Shen Feng's clothes and said, Feng Zi, what on earth did you do in the study? You even locked the door. Open the door quickly and let me see." Shen Feng shook his head. "This is a secret, I can't let you know for the time being." "So when can I know?" "Wait until I finish my work." "So when will you be done?" "When I can finish it." Jiang Wanwan clenched her fists. "If you don't open the door, you will finish what you are going to do before you do it." Shen Cheng smiled and rubbed Jiang Wanwan's head. "Be good. It would be meaningless if I told you this in advance." Jiang Wanwan put down her fist. He stared at Shen Feng with grievance. He stared at Shen Feng for a full minute. It seemed that Shen Feng still had no intention of letting her in. Jiang Wanwan snorted, turned around and left. In the afternoon, Shen Feng drove Jiang Wanwan back to Qinglu County. On the way, Jiang Wanwan asked Shen Feng several times in a roundabout way what Shen Feng was doing. Seeing that Shen Feng still had no intention of saying anything, Jiang Wanwan could only sigh silently. She could feel that Shen Feng was being so mysterious and trying to hide things from her. And that this matter was probably related to her. But if Shen Cheng really didn't want to say it, there was nothing she could do. After returning to Qinglu County, Shen Feng and Jiang Wanwan were warmly welcomed by Shen Xiaojiyuo and Tang Ping. And Tang Ping also asked them all kinds of questions about Jiang Wanwan. Shen Feng knew that Tang Ping wanted to ask Jiang Wanwan whether she was pregnant. Tang Ping and Su Yan, both of these in-laws, want to have grandchildren. Shen Feng and Jiang Wanwan tried to fool people by saying they didn't have any children yet. They planned to wait until Wang Shanxuan finished filming the movie before telling both sets of parents about the child. By then, Jiang Wanwan will also give herself a long vacation. and go back to work after the child is born and everything is settled. One thing that is better about Tang Ping than Su Yan is that Tang Ping won't talk too much about children with Zhang Wanwan. Instead, he would chat with Shen Feng. So Zhang Wanwan finally had some peace and quiet. After Shen Sheng was pulled away by Tang Ping and reprimanded, Zhang Wanwan was bored and started browsing her phone. I found that the official account of Let's Start Dating Today on Weibo actually posted a new Weibo this morning. The content of the Weibo post is simple, but also very explosive. Let's start dating today, we've been waiting for it. And finally we meet. The official version of Let's Start Dating has completed post-production editing and filming, and will be officially launched on Tencent Video next Friday. So stay tuned. In addition, the Let's Start Dating CP Suite Highlights editing event is now online, and all viewers are welcome to submit their works and edit out the highlights of the best CP combination in your mind. And there will be big prizes. Event link. Zhang Wanwan raised her eyebrows slightly. The official version of Let's Date is about to be released? Why didn't Director Chen tell him about this? Zhang Wanwan opened WeChat and took a look. Then I realized that it wasn't that Director Chen didn't say it. Director Chen talked about this in the group early in the morning. Even Jia Tenan, Li Ting, Shang Wei, Meng An, Chen Lu, Xiao Qingshu and others were discussing it enthusiastically in the group. Even Shen Feng said a few words. Director Chen also tagged Shen Feng and asked him why Zhang Wanwan didn't speak. Chen Sheng replied, "She's not up yet." It was 11:30 in the morning. Zhang Wanwan. After silently closing WeChat, Zhang Wanwan looked at the editing activity behind the Weibo post again. She clicked on the event link. Inside, there are detailed rules for the event and submissions uploaded by many people. The rewards for this event are quite good. Director Chen seems to have found a partner. The first prize is a laptop worth more than 20,000 yuan provided by the sponsor. Although this Weibo post was only posted this morning, because Date was so popular before, many people have edited Date, CP highlights. So many people directly send in their original editing as submissions, hoping to get a reward or just join in the fun. At least Zhang Wanwan could see 7 or 8 videos that she had seen before just by taking a few glances. Among these edited videos, the Penghu Beidai duo Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan have the most videos. Next is the unpleasant combination of Li Ting and Jia Tenan, the mighty combination of Shang Wei and Meng An, and finally the Tianlu combination of Xiaotian Shu and Chen Lu. But the video that currently received the most votes is not the CP clip of Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. When Zhang Wanwan clicked on it and took a look, she was stunned. This video turned out to be a CP clip of Shen Feng and Jia Nan. All the interesting interactions between Shen Feng and Jia Nan in the show were cut out. Although most of the scenes were about Jia Nan being tricked by Shen Feng, with the author's spring and autumn editing method, pink filters, and all kinds of gay music, Zhang Wanwan actually felt a little sweet. For example, there is a scene in the middle where Jia Nan is cheated of money by Shen Feng. The author specifically wrote a sentence in the form of a voiceover. "I know you are lying to me, but I am also very happy to be deceived by you. I'm not smart, but I'm not stupid either. It's just that in front of you, I'm willing to let you control me." It's so corny. Zhang Wanwan also glanced at the comments section and found that there were quite a few loyal fans of Shen Feng and Jia Nan CP in the comment section. "Nan Feng knows my intention. I am happy to be deceived. Fengzi Xiaojia Yyds, the author, you edited it well. Although this video edited Xiaojia too cleverly, it is really like a bird eating candy. Sparrows eat sweets. The little bird pecks at the cow's butt, and the sparrow eats the cow's arse. Wow, I originally supported the Nan Feng CP just for fun. But now after watching the author's editing, I think they are real. What should I do? What should I do with my one brother? I suggest that Fengzi and Xiaojia be together, and I will take care of them every night. Then leave the listening to me. Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan felt so numb watching this. Then I forwarded the video to their WeChat group. A few minutes later, Jia Tenan, Shang Wei, Meng An, Xiaotian Shu, Chen Lu and Director Chen all sent out a string of ellipses. Only Li Ting. After a while, he showed his head and said, "I actually cut this. How is it? Does it look good?" The screen full of ellipses instantly turned into a screen full of question marks. Chapter 258 From a professional perspective. Li Ting quickly confessed the truth. In fact, she had been editing this video for a long time, and she just thought it was fun at the time. After editing, I found out that Director Chen actually organized such a submission activity. Li Ting just threw it over. I didn't expect that it would now be ranked first in the voting list. Zhang Wanwan, she is indeed a talented lady from Peking University and Tsinghua University. She is also a great editor. Although Zhang Wanwan was speechless about this couple, she had to admit that Li Ting's editing skills were indeed high. Jayet Nan was particularly difficult. 1-1, before you praise the editing skills, can't you first express your dissatisfaction with this couple? Jang 1-1, I'm not dissatisfied, I think you two are a good match. Jayet Nam is particularly difficult. Jayet Nan is particularly difficult. I took a screenshot and will send it to brother Shen right away. Shenfeng, no need to send it, I'm watching it. Shen Cheng suddenly sent out a message. Zhang Wanwan looked up and found that Tang Ping seemed to have finished her lecture and released Shen Feng. Shen Feng sat next to Zhang Wanwan with his phone in hand, leaning against Zhang Wanwan and whispering, Brother Wan, do you think he and I are a good match? Zhang Wanwan coughed lightly. The weather is really nice today. Shen Feng smiled, picked up his phone and sent another message in the group. Shen Feng, listen, it's a good cut. Li Ting Ting, thank you brother Shen for the compliment. Shen Feng, don't cut it again next time. Li Ting Ting. Seeing Shen Feng sync Li Ting Ting, Zhang Wanwan asked in a low voice. By the way, what did mom say to you just now? It's pretty much the same as what my mother-in-law told you. Shen Feng said, but my mother did say that if your career is on the rise in the next few years, you can wait and have children. Zhang Wanwan stuck out her tongue.